займаюся тим, що мені подобається, і я дуже щасливий. Моя найперша спогадка про PUBG. Напевно, мій перший топ-1. Я пам'ятаю, як зараз. Це було на Мірамарі в 2018 році. І так, це найяскравіша емоція. Я пам'ятаю, що я хотів досягнути топового рівня. І потім це переросло в більш професійний рівень. Найбільша емоція, мабуть, з PUBG Global Series 10 у цьому році. Це коли я вбив 1-4 17-х. Це найбільша емоція була.
Getting on NAVI, but Hakatori aware of it, keeping him at base. Good peak shot. Really nice stuff from Hakatori.
У мене дуже багато знайомих, які мене підтримують, сім'я підтримує, і після цього моменту вони всі писали «красава», «молодець». Минулий рік ми дуже грали добре міні-турніри в ТПП, і зараз наступний сезон переходить у ТПП уже в основні турніри. Останні зміни, які були, насправді ніяк не вплинули на мій плейстайл. Напевно, що я ніколи не буду крисити, завжди буду пушити. Дуже приємно, що фанати слідкують, і я б сказав, що мене мотивує показувати добру гру, бути в топі по статистиці. В майбутньому я б хотів би стати найтитулованішим гравцем у PUBG. На наступний сезон у нас більша ціль звикнути до TPP, і це все. Ми будемо показувати максимальний результат, і нові зміни – це лише краще. Слідкуйте, вболівайте. У 2026 році я хочу виграти PGC. Неважливо, які будуть зміни. Я стану переможцем, це стане моїм роком.
I don't dance, I don't do push-ups, I don't do anything. No, I don't know how to dance, but they know.
Hello everyone, welcome to another day of shooting challenge here with me. Today's guest is Twisted Minds. Hello guys.
Hello.
Hello. Hi, we have the chap joining us for a special edition today. Well, we will give you 3 bullets. Smaller bottle is 2 points, big bottle is 1 point. Okay, and the winner of this challenge gets to decide what dance or what ceremony the loser has to do. All right, are you ready? Here, I grant you the right. Oh, oh, he's ready. Okay, it's harder than it looks.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Okay, close.
Okay, I'll try.
Okay.
Definitely dancing. Okay.
Who's next?
Who's next? Oh.
Оно так заряжается? It's random.
Whoa! Yay!
I aimed for small one.
He is currently in the lead with 1 point. Oh, that was close.
I lost the
You
bullet.
lost the bullet?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Whoa! Whoa! 3 points. Good job.
I don't dance, I don't do push-ups, I don't do anything. No, I don't know how to dance, but they know. Тектоник все танцуют.
Twisted Minds, thank you for joining me today, and I'll be looking forward to that surprise dance. What is it called again?
Tectonic.
Tectonic? Okay. I hope you guys win today so that I can see the dance.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Where you win this, Tig sent the C4 in. Immediate peek and spray from Tig.
Hi, my name is James Gazen, aka Tiggleton. I think for the last 7 years, PUBG kind of has been my life. I moved away from my family. We travel a lot, play it every day with my teammates. I think you would be hard pressed to find a group of people that have spent more time together over the last 7 years than me and my teammates. The first time I ever played PUBG was expecting it to be very realistic, and in my very first match, this naked guy landed on a roof next to me, and I got a pistol, and I was like, he's dead. And he ran and jumped off the roof, and it fell 3 stories, landed on the ground, and kept running, and I was like, it's Superman. He just fell 3 stories off a building and his legs are fine, what? I ended up falling in love with it after that. For me, PUBG always gave me the most adrenaline. My very first couple games, I felt like I was gonna die in real life if I died in the game. At the very end of the game, I'd be shaking, my heart rate would be I guess I've just been chasing that feeling my entire career. I finished my high school and I got into a university course, and I was pretty happy with where I was, but I didn't take a gap year, and I felt like my whole life I'd just been kind of going with the flow. And then I got the opportunity to fly to California for this tournament called NPL Royale, because I got picked up by an American team. And that was good fun, but I still wasn't taking it too seriously. But I met this guy there, Bizzle, and he basically said to me after watching me play a little bit, he was like, I'll get you a visa and you can come to the US. And I was like, really? So I just full sent it at 18. I went to the US. I took a gap year off university and then never ended up going back. Well, I want to start by saying that I think anyone can be a pro player. That's the beauty of it. For me, being a pro player is about discipline, practicing with a purpose. Like when you boot up the game, you kind of have to switch your mentality from being, okay, I'm here to have fun, to how can I improve the best? And you need to be very mindful of the way that you're putting in the hours. The word change to me obviously brings a little bit of fear and a little bit of excitement, because with changes, there's always a bit of uncertainty. No one likes uncertainty, but in a way, it kind of feels like an advantage because I know that I'm willing to adapt, and if someone else isn't, then I have an edge on them. One thing that's not going to change, I think for the most part, it'll be the positional play. Like teams will still play for the good positions. If anything, it's going to become more important. And PUBG's always kind of been like that. It's all about teamwork. It's all about position. So I'm expecting that the good teams will still be good. To the fans watching in 2026, we love and appreciate every single one of you guys. It's really important to me that you guys feel happy. I don't think anything matters more than the fan sentiment. Obviously, there's some big changes on the horizon, but hopefully we can all just trust the process. It's people at Crafton, it's their job to think about what they can do to make our lives better. So just gonna trust them and see where it goes. I think that you guys will still enjoy watching. Like the esport was in TPP initially, and we saw a PGI 2018 that is still fun to watch. It might be a little goofy, there might be some chaotic moments, but I think it'll still be fun. It's still PUBG. In 2026 at PNC and PDC, I hope my team name will be called. And I hope my name will be called. Even when the battlefield changes, I want my wins and my hard work to speak for itself. I hope it'll be my year.
See, oh, incorrect C is gone.
Thank you. One last dance for Circuit 2 and one last opportunity to be able to put some guaranteed PGS points on the board here. Only 5 matches between you and advancing to the grand final.
That great hole from their initial hole will come out, and Money will go through the top though. Quizzy gets good stuff. He's right in the middle, but Tito applies so much pressure and puts them both down. What a play. Kick steps up.
But at this point, it's become all about the soup, baby.
Yeah, Supers will try and get that flush out. Sees the body there, goes down to 1. Human's going to be the final player here, and it's going to be nice out. D and Supers will take game number 1. A big game, actually, guys, but look at this, though. Falcons, James. They took out all the Americas, and now the last one standing for that team.
No, the mini just knocked him. Levante steals him with the arm. That's a stealing machine right there.
Oh, no. Oh God! Hey, hello, my bad here with the P90. How do you deal with 2 of them as these smokes and everything is causing them some problems? A second one, a huge nade, and Levante is going absolutely crazy here with this P90 as well. Falcons tries to make the move across. It's not going to be enough. Vitality, what a win.
It is time to float like a butterfly and sting like a bee, because, honey, this is the time to make your moves.
It's critical for them. Gen G, they want to go aggressive. Now they start making the push. Rimsy has to turn back the other day, but Tig's got the Panther. He finds the opening. He looks for that confirmation. He gets it as well. And for now, Tig goes again. Comes around the top. Lyrics, though, hits the spray. There's no one will go down. Hazel go down. It's the final one, and the Rabbits come running. They come chasing. It's a 17-point game here, Trophies. And E-Arena just need to sit, watch, and wait.
Well, it's match 4. It's Rondo. It's survival stage. Come on, they know where you are. Gas can. Come on. Oh. Come on, Pong Pong. Do it. You're going to go around the right. Looking for a little bit of opportunity here. Tambu swings on around, but Pong Pong's done a lot of damage to him as he transitions into that smoke, and they just shoot straight into it. It's a GG. E-Arena, back-to-back. Congratulations, boys. That's your qualification here from this one.
It's time for the grassy pastures. Last game of the day. Desperation coming from Furia. They can wait this out. They can get 1 position point from seeing the Raccoons go down, but that means then they have to get a knock and flush.
He cannot give points away to Furia. He knows if he receives a knock here, it's going to be catastrophic, but it doesn't go away. It goes towards T5. It's a head-to-head battle. And where is Furia going? They're looking for the second.
No!
Here comes the flush. Have they made the count? Is the count right?
Wow.
Okay,
It's
they're
not-
9.
Oh my
It's not-
gosh.
It's 1 point.
It's not the fact they were looking at T5. They didn't actually account for the expendables.
That is... Oh. What a wild day, and especially the finish. Oh my god. Well, it has been a day of survival stage here for the Global Series 6. What a way to end it. But now we've got to look forward to a best of 15, $300,000 on the line, plenty of PGS points on the line. That's going to be happening tomorrow. Same time, same place. So join us there for more PUBG action.
We got next, we ready to flex, we're ready to rock, headed to the top. We got next, can't settle for less. I'ma need your best, so give it all you got. We got next.
Take me to the front line, better get your head right. You ain't gonna take my pride away. Take me to the front line, put me in the limelight. You ain't gonna take my shine away. Take my shine away.
Day number 1 of the circuit finals. It is going to be spectacular. Wall-to-wall great PUBG action. We've got 15 games across our next 3 days to determine who the champion's going to be. Careful crossing that road as the players arrive from Seoul, South Korea to be able to get this rip-roaring adventure well underway. And it's $300,000 for all of these teams to be able to compete for. My name is Kalaris. Joining me is Avenger, TWIS, and Mark Power to be able to get things a-rolling. Avenger, it's a good old time to crown a circuit champion.
Yeah, it is. We've got triple the prize pool, double the PGS points, and all the teams are ready to smash.
Yes, they are. TWIS, I think fair to say here when you look across the board as well. This is a great 16 teams to be able to go for that big old smash across these 15 games. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, I think it's a good 16. I think yesterday was I mean, there were some good teams, but it felt like the top end was really running away with it because there were so many stacked 8 already in this lobby. So I do think we'll probably get one of our best finals in the entire PGS cycle this year so far.
なんかサーキット
I think
フ
so,
ァイナルって
because
言っ
of
てる
course
け
we
ど
do have drops as well,
まあ
which is always
PGS6
exciting that
の
people can
グランド
tune
ファイ
in
ナル
for.
一応
That's
名
good
目
stuff
上
there for them, but I want to focus on this. I
この
want to
サーキ
focus
ット
here on
全
the
体
circuit
の
final. These
チャ
16
ンピ
teams
オ
as a
ン
whole. We've got a great a
決め
litany
る
of wealth of
3
kind
日
of
間
quality
になりま
across
す
all of
ね
these regions as a whole. Who are you looking out for? It can't be EMEA. I want
今日
you
の
to
天
choose
の
a
声は
different one.
Well,
河原ジョン・マイケルと
you've got to look at the history here. What's it, in
よろ
PGS
しくお
2,
願
we've
い
had
しま
it's
す
all survival stage winners from that point as well, so you have to look at that.
昨日見てた人たちね
And I don't know
分
what
かると
Toffee
思う
done
け
to
ど
me
す
yesterday. I
っ
might be
ごい
swinging
悲
more
しかっ
towards
た
the Falcons because
ほ
they
ん
had an
と
outstanding day yesterday.
フューリア
You
の
might be able to pull it up if history in the making.
Hey, yeah, if trends
Yeah.
continue, that would be exciting topics. I mean, considering that they
計
looked
算間違いなんだろう
amazing
けど
yesterday, of course, as they were able to do so well in the first games, and then later on, they have huge influence on the lobby here. So maybe the
フューリア
Falcons
からのなん
can
か
continue that survival stage run. What do you
ツイ
think?
ート
It
と
would
か
be
ね
nice. I mean, okay, so, and I'm going to
なかった
say
の
the
か
next statement with
Post-op.
reservation because this is a very big event with the best teams in the world. But they were still the best of the worst, if you really
あ
put
とは
it
何
into
回も言いま
context,
すけ
right?
ど
Like, that was the survival stage.
ウォ
They
ッチ
only
パーティ
played
ー同時
5
配信
games,
なんで
but
ミ
they
ラー配
looked
信なん
dominant.
で
They made smart plays.
コメント
I
見れ
didn't
ま
have
す
time to
な
go
んで
back
リア
and
クショ
watch
ン
all
も
of their
全部できるん
calm
で
videos, so I would love to know more about like
一緒に見
what
てい
their
きまし
communication
ょう
sounded like in the background. Because I know that a lot of those guys are streaming. So I think that is something that if it seems like they're crisp and clean outside those big moments, then yeah, I think this transitions really well to the finals.
何万ドルだっけ
I was I
1位
woke
10
up
万ドル
very
だっけ
early to watch the entirety of Falcons comms. I watched all 3 hours of it this morning, and it was quite impressive to say the least. Because again, every time we check in with them, it sounds a little bit chaotic, a bit crazy. But as a whole, across yesterday, Martin, it was very clean for the most part. Yes, there's some moments of like everyone's talking because you know that's what happens in PUBG, right? Things do get a little bit chaotic, and you've got to flow with it.
Yeah.
Kickstar looked great alongside that as well here with the numbers he's able to put up, Martin.
Yeah, great to see the 2 top players from yesterday. Levante, absolutely amazing performance with 20 kills in 5 games. But yeah, Kickstart has his says when it comes to the newcoms on Falcons. And I kind of like what I heard from some of the stuff you said, and also some of the links we heard and got yesterday. There's some interesting moments, but then again, like when you get 41 kills and you push through like they did yesterday, it was mostly about having fun in the last 3 games and just pulling up, getting damage. And as Gustav said, they're going to go animalistic today.
Did he say that? Animalistic, you say?
Yeah, to
okay. What's that in Danish?
I think it was this was more of a softer translation, I think.
Okay, so you're not giving me a... Okay, I'll rest on. I'll rest on. Of course, PUBG Nations Cup is coming up as well here as Denmark are going to go animalistic in that potentially here alongside Avenger. Scary stuff indeed. Of course, as we lost some animals yesterday in the form of Furia, who lost by 1 point. It bears repeating, Toffees, because it was a sad moment. So we did lose some teams too in some scary moments.
Yeah, why gotta bring up old stuff, huh? Yeah, we lost Liquid and we lost Furia, so most of America's in the bin at the moment is only Falcons Advance, and Furia did it in a way that I think will be talked about for a very long time, and to me that's the worst part for them, is I think they probably would have been eliminated either way. It was an almost unwinnable situation to have to get 1 if not 2 knocks plus flush. That said, though, because they self-denied and ended up doing their math wrong, like that's what everyone's going to remember. So that, I think, probably one of the most brutal decisions I've seen in a very long time. On the other side, Liquid, like, I don't know if you guys saw Kurt's tweet. It summed it up perfectly. It was you could smell the sadness coming off of it, and understandably so. So I think that was devastating. Maybe a wake-up call for these two teams, because looking at this prize pool, $300,000 in the total. Like, you needed to be here. You needed to have that cash. And this is the total earnings so far. Teams like Virtus Pro are really just taking too much.
Yeah, it's a tough one, especially with these best of fives, right, leading up to the finals every single time around. I think it's unbelievably stressful for these teams, and it will take its toll on these teams, especially if you don't get yourselves to these finals in the end. Of course, we lost some animal logos, and we've also, of course, gained some animal logos across the board here, Mark, because you've got your polar bears, you've got your pandas, you've got your tiger on 17 Gaming's logo, you got your E-Arenas with the bunny rabbit, the falcons are flying high. So there's plenty of strong animals here and creatures to be able to play into this grand final.
Well, bumblebees. What about the vitality? They've done well yesterday. They've got some money on the board as well. We can't deny them. The pandas. I think all eyes will be on VP, really. They obviously got to see
同じ反応だ。バイタリティのロゴってあれ8なの？
You know, they're good over of a best of 15. And arguably, as you just saw a minute ago, they're also on top when it comes down to the prize. So I think all eyes will be on them. But I'd love to see another team potentially claim a victory.
Martin, do you think Virtus Pro is going to be able to rise to the occasion and claim 2 circuit finals here in 2026 already? What do you think?
Imagine if they didn't. It was the 2 big finals, right? Sure, they're on the top right now when you're looking at the PGS points here with the 91 points. But they need to keep it steady here. It's actually quite close. We're all the way down to 7th place. It's only 21 points different. And it's 60 for first. It's 48 for second. So they need to get a top placement here to hold on to this PGS slot that's going to be given to their home region, obviously. But yeah, in terms of the total prize, who's going to be able to kind of hold that in, I feel like whoever wins today is going to get in that first spot. Because there's so much money given out already.
Yeah.
That, like, statistically and mathematically, that should be the case here. Is it gonna be VP? It depends, man. It's a BO15, so it's not gonna be as random as we've had in the best of 5. So yeah, I'm really curious to see how they approach this. If it's just a copy and paste of what they've done so far.
Yeah, the vast majority of teams that are already high up on those PGS points are here in the grand finals yet again. So we will see if they can actually launch themselves towards that Virtus Pro #1 position so far. And of course, there is the MVP title on the line here as well for this best of 15. We've had some great MVPs across the past couple of tournaments, of course. We had the unfortunate moment of Shen getting it just as he was pipped at the post for a grand final win, which is or a stage final win, even, I should say. So that was a bit of a shame for him. But today, 5 matches coming on at you. We've got double Erangel here, and of course, later on, I think the double Tagos will enter the fray once again as we take a look across all of these teams that have always been in finals so far, Toffees. So there's been extremely stalwart defense by these 7 teams, looking fantastic in the finals.
Yeah, I mean, some of these teams, it's statistical. You have to win the thing with this many final options for you.
Yeah.
But it's not lost on me that a lot of our best champions have continued to make it to this point. Now, as we talk about survival stage magic, this is one that we should touch on, because after the first one, and we can maybe say that's because it's the first time, Petrichor wins that. Every other PGS so far this year, the survival stage has birthed the winner. Yesterday, the only 2 teams that really looked like they could pull something off would be Falcons and Team Vitality. And my issue with Vitality is what Martin just brought up. You said there were 20 kills on Levante alone. They had 36 total. That means it's a one-man wrecking crew right now. So I think Vitality worries me in that context, whereas Falcons looked pretty strong. And based on the magic, they're my pick to win.
サバイバルステージから上がってくるチームの方がチャンピオンズになってますよっていうスタッツが出てますね。で、海外のキャスターは、まあ、そのサバイバルステージの中で、まあ、目立った2チームといえばファルコンズと、バイタリティ、この2チームなんだけど、バイタリティは少し心配なのは、レバンテ選手だけで20キル、チーム全体で30何キルしか取れてないから、まあ、レバンテ次第になっちゃうんじゃないかっていう心配が勝ちますねって言ってる。
Holy moly, they're throwing a lot at us here. Not only are we taking a look at the circuit
優勝予想
and everything going on, EWC,
いや、むずっ。
we've got PGC. There's so many kind of knock-on effects.
ちょっと、これ今の調子、まあ、昨日の試合だけ見てね。基本的にファルコンズがすごい調子よく見えるけど、でもあれはファルコンズに関しては全チームその5試合しかない、ベスト5だから5試合しかない中で真ん中取って真ん中取ってできるだけポイント伸ばそうっていうチームが多かったから、真ん中特感が多かったから端のファイト、端のアグレッシブのファイトを選んでたファルコンズは結構楽に動いてたんだけど、これ15試合あるって考えると、まあうまくいくかっていうとちょっと微妙な気がするな。だから安定の VP を選ぶか、ナビか、VP ナビ、そうね、ダークホースでバイタリティ。ワイニュアレジェンズ。
I mean, both of them look in qualifying form. Anyone's Legend looked really, really good.
まあ、俺の予想はじゃあ、あれで、ナビで行こう。ナビかファルコンズで行きたい。ナビでファルコンズで。無駄に昨日のフュリアの悲劇から抜け出すと言いますか。いや、誰も抜け出せないあれ。あれはね、もう。
Yeah, I would say anyone's legend if we're looking for a close call winner to rise up.
ちょっとね、昨日のキャスターも言ってたけど、ブラジルじゃん。だから前 PNC でやらかし、ブラジルやらかしもあったから、これ2個目やんみたいなことを言ってたから、多分ずっと話されるんじゃないかな。歴史的やらかしだからね、割と。
The survival stage, and now we have the world's best 16 teams here for the final showdown. And this fiery race for the trophy doesn't end here and will carry into this summer. From June 23rd to the 28th, PUBG Nations Cup 2026 will take over the Changchun Arena right here in Seoul. For this massive event, the top 8 countries from PNC 2025 are already seated in the grand finals, leaving the remaining global contenders to battle out a fierce 2-day survival stage for the remaining 8 spots. Make sure to join us for the full 5 days, and I'll see you then as well. And before we drop into the server, for those of you that missed it out yesterday, Icon Bearing drops news. The PGS6 Grand Finals Twitch Drop event is officially live. By tuning into the broadcast, you can earn exclusive tier-based rewards depending on your watch time. So keep your eyes locked on the stream, as these rewards are limited to once per account. And please double check that your Crafton ID is linked to your streaming platform ahead of time. So get your drops and enjoy today by watching the world-class matches that's about to happen. And we are finally gonna go back to the real deal. There is no room to hide and zero room for error. Through the opening matches of this decisive weekend, we're gonna find out which team is going to seize the early momentum and take their first step towards the trophy. Welcome to PGS6 Grand Finals Day 1.
And that's the last player alive for anyone's legend. Can 17 pull off the impossible here at the end? 17 gets the win. The points for taking the victory. Give them
我们队这次拿冠军之后，我们队拥有了3个 PGS 冠军啊，很开心。我们跟别的队不一样的，我觉得是我们打得比较稳健吧，打得比较合理。天天来了以后，我们的战斗实力增强了很多，然后我们大家的機會也變多了。我們爭取把 TWIS 的4次 PGS 冠軍的記錄給破了。
Với tư cách là đội trưởng của team L thì mình rất hài lòng về cái màn trình diễn của team ở thời điểm hiện tại. Nếu mà về vũ khí bí mật của team em mà team khác không có được là sự ổn định và những cái sự thể hiện mà đột biến như HIMAT thì em nghĩ team khác không có, chỉ có IEL có thôi.
Obviously, I want to win and be at the top, but I think we're a lot better than what we're at. I want to show that we're not afraid to take fights and we're willing to do what needs to be done to win the game.
저희 팀의 운영도 운영이지만 그래도 교전 쪽에서도 잘 싸운다고 생각하기 때문에 PGS 6에서는 압도적으로 이기는 모습을 좀 보여드리고 싶습니다.
So PGS 4 and 5 was a build-up for us winning next upcoming PGS 6. I have a lot of trust for the team and I believe we can also win the next upcoming PGS.
ก็ที่ผ่านมาเรายังเล่นได้ไม่ได้เต็มร้อยเท่าไหร่ครับเรายังไม่เอาจริงส่วนรอบนี้เราจะมาเอาจริงแล้วก็เราจะมาเอาแชมป์ PGS 6ครับ
Basicamente a gente não vai deixar nada para trás, vai se esforçar ao máximo, se dedicar ao máximo dessa final e basicamente é isso.
Hepimiz bireysel olarak çok yetenekliyiz, çok güçlüyüz ve bunu bütün lobiye göstermek istiyoruz.
Если мы говорим о... Нет, на самом деле, на любом турнире любое место важно, потому что это еще квалификация к PGC. Поэтому вне зависимости от того, далеко ты от первого или нет, ты все равно должен до конца играть.
Мы будем направляться к победе.
Chúng tôi sẽ cho các bạn thấy cái sự mạnh mẽ của team L và gửi đến cái đối thủ là ai sẽ là người mạnh nhất ở những giải đấu này.
真正的决赛现在才开始。
All right, ready to lock and load. We've got our 15 games here. Whoever will be walking away with the championship will be etched in gold once again. TWIS and Mark, I want to ask you some questions because it's going to be me and Avenger casting this first one to get things rolling. Mark, on the other side of it, of course, we talked briefly about the potential for those repeat performances, those repeat winners. Out of the ones that have already won, who do you think has got good chances here for this circuit final?
Got to go VP. You have to.
Yeah.
Not just the money, not the prize pool. Their performance recently has been really good. They like a best of 15. Their game, their point average is strong. So as long as they start today number 1 well, I'll be back in VP potentially for a second.
How about you, Toffees?
I mean, okay, yeah. So when you look at the stats, you got to agree with that, right? VP has been putting up these great numbers. They consistently show up. The problem that I have is that NAVI tends to just have these big blow up days, right? Where all of a sudden they just come out strong. They have a huge day one or last day, depending on what their magic feels. And I think that is on the board right now. Hackatory consistently owns that MVP spot. And when you talk about sort of seeing that development of this team getting stronger and stronger, I just feel like Navi's time. We've talked about this. You guys even mentioned it last week while I was gone. Twisted Minds is at this point where everyone's chasing, and I'm starting to think that if I'm Batulin, I'm genuinely scared of the chase from the region. These guys, this Navi team is a bunch of hungry kids who would love nothing more than to rip Twisted Minds off of their perch, and I think they're on track to do that.
Yeah, of course, as we take a look across our winners here as well. 17 Gaming won the last one. Anyone's Legend was close. But actually, Avenger, I want to address a little bit of the elephant in the room here for PGS 6. 2026, and we're yet to have a Korean champion, despite both of these circuits happening in South Korea. That is kind of wild.
Yeah, where's the home turf advantage at, right? You know what I mean? Yeah, it's not been there just yet. I could see T1, I could see someone, DN Supers, I could see them do it, but yeah, it just hasn't really come to fruition. The team that has stayed the most consistent was consistent in the big final as well. My eyes is mainly at looking at, okay, how did it actually pan out the last time we had a PU15? I just would look at the DN Supers here, and like, sure, Virtus Pro was up there, but T1 was looking good, 17 Gaming was looking good, and I think once we get into kind of the role of things, looking at the last finals, T1 didn't really feel it too much. I think we are not going to be having a repeat winner. I think there's the chance for anyone's Legends to step up. I think with the 2 second places and the 4th place they had so far, this is their chance to strike and to get a new winner of the PGS.
I mean, the teams that haven't won are teams like Anyone's Legend, 4AM, who's been so close each and every single time, Twisted Minds, who's been able to win it so many times, Vitality, who, again, a lot has been resting on the shoulders of Levante, but I mean, hey, if they can all gel around him, maybe that's another potential winner. But anyway, let's get to it. It's the first game of the grand finals here for PGS 6. Thank you very much, TWIS and Mark, for joining us. We'll get in with you after this game. It's going to be Erangel to start off the best of 15 here. $300,000 on the line, and there are so many teams that can take this trophy. Avenger, joining me here for our first game.
Yes, let's get things kicked off here with starting an Erangel. We're finishing an Erangel. It's your time to build that foundation, to get that snowball rolling on day number 1 here. Looking at 17, obviously clutching against Anyone's Legend at the last fight, the last moment at our last finals, and they're able to clutch PGS 5. And they're all saying it, they're all talking about it, James.
Good luck,
their
have
focus
fun.
and their eyes were on PGS 6 finals, and now we're here. Now it's their time to go home to Pochinki and try to get one more little plank for the little trophy we have inside the fantastic studio that the players are sitting in.
What a playing path to start things off, right? This is great for all of these teams. The majority of them, even teams that need to stretch a little bit further, yeah, they're going to find themselves cars. They're going to get driving. They're going to be good to go. This is the perfect playing path here for us to begin this grand final. That's undisputed. And I think that, again, you know what I mentioned in that pre-show as we watch all these drops do go down, I am still a little bit flabbergasted that we do not have a Korean winner just yet. There was a lot of bluster coming into 2026 about South Korea and how good they were at TPP. And to pull the curtain back a little bit, if you didn't play in that region, there were times where Korea was practicing TPP a lot more than the rest of the world because of the way in which the servers worked. And it has not materialized just yet for them. On home soil, I think that's a bit of a letdown so far, Avenger.
Yeah, that home turf advantage should have been more effective, especially considering how much they've been in Korea already. We're only just gotten into June here, and they've already been there almost 2 full months, so yeah, should have come.
これでも多分本当。
And again, looking at it, is it T1 that's going to have a shot at it? Is it DN Subas? Is it crazy recruitment? Wouldn't that be insane? Or is it Gen G with that new roster?
That would be insane, yes. I don't know if that's going to happen as we look back on yesterday's gameplay and stuff like that. I sincerely hope for Furia. But, I mean, the thing is, we're watching some great Furia moments, and it all just fell apart towards the end. It's tough to kind of repeat it and what actually happened there.
昨日ぐらいじゃないやれるの。
Yeah, they were so close.
そんな序盤の戦い起きないはずだから。
Everything that happened yesterday was obviously awesome to see Levante, Hello My Bad pop off, especially this moment here. Double P90, clutching like a racer on the road here, and they couldn't do anything about it. Toughest 20 kills is insane considering they had 36. What's more insane is Hello My Bad had 11. The other 2 guys had 2 and 3. They were just absolute sponges yesterday, and yeah, what a great showing. And for this moment here for Furia, obviously they had some great vibes. They got some teams out in the game, but that deny was actually so rough. Yeah, and it's going to be rough to win this once again.
For sure. There's the moment, of course, that everyone was talking about at the end of yesterday. As they were on 5, it didn't really even matter if they got themselves the win. Furia thought they had enough, but it was just 1 point shy. They would have won it on the placement point tiebreaker as well against the team in 8th place. A bit of heartbreak. You could always come back and say, yeah, but it was 2v4. Do you think they would have really been able to make something happen? They could have tried, right?
They could have tried.
They could have tried.
They could have had a chance on a shot.
近いよ、近いよ。待って待って。
Yeah, but it's man. That's it, and that's how it is. And now we're in the best of 15 here. Sure, they can enjoy the time off, or they can watch how the teams are playing it out here. Pia standing with MP5, trying to maybe lurk onto Nurens. He's got full info on him.
本当に多分誰も見たくないよあれ。
Once with the circle here, I'm crossing my fingers. We might have a gas station ending here with the lyrics holding down that on the other side of the bridge.
よかったね。
That close to water, you'll be
Save,
holding
save,
out hope here for quite a while, I think. This is going to be, cheeky, for sure, if this does occur. This is one of the teams that I do have concerns for in a final like this, though, E-Arena. Of course, yes, they've actually had multiple back-to-back wins on this stage, like, the stage that they're actually playing on. But every single time it's happened, they've not been big wins. And they have also been circles that have come their way, or they've carved out a side where there's not been many people coming in from a certain direction. So as much as they've been able to post quite a lot of wins overall, they've not been big ones. And I don't think E-Arena's actually like in the challenge for, I would even say podium in this kind of lobby, Avenger. I'm gonna have to be harsh and real about this.
You don't think so? No
E-Arena?
podium even?
No, I don't think so.
Oh yeah, we can say that, and they need to, because considering everything, they need to get points. They need to get that place secured. They need to get to Esports World Cup by the grades of this tournament. They are not locked in for it. They're currently on ninth. So if they get top 8-ish, top 7 maybe, they might be able to lock that spot down.
True.
So let's see what happens with them. It might not be a podium that we're going to see from them, but a top 6, yeah, that'll be enough. That could put them in there. And it would be cool to see. It's obviously a very veteran roster. We've seen them so much and so many times throughout the years. We're cool to see them in Esports World Cup and get the representation again from the Thailand guys.
As you can see here, Falcons checking the very edges of these positions as for the glider kind of acting as bait. Perfectix able to open up on it very, very quickly.
これは
And for Kickstart, that is
やるか
a
もしかして
kick in the teeth. Twisted Minds camping this out, laying the trap, laying the bait. Brutal start.
Yeah, they know that
Snaker.
fond of the gliders
Snaker.
recently, so laying a trap like that is huge.
Oh,
Beamy
意
finds
外と多い
Beam.
な、ちょっと序盤
That's an
の。
absolute destruction there, and VP starts kicking off this one as well, locking down that side here. And this is not prior to Reign at all. It's more info that they're getting from this and potentially getting some points from. Soul spots some, and gets some shots at them as well. Connects just a little bit.
All right, hear me out. Stop the count. All right.
Yep. Stopping count. Okay, yeah.
Stop,
I like it.
stop
I
the
like it.
leaderboards here. We're done. GG. It's over. That's the tournament.
Imagine if us end up with this one here. So let's see with how everything lines up. Are you willing to sacrifice Navi in 13th and Vitality in 16th for a twisted VP 1 and 2?
It's fine.
Okay,
I'll
see.
take it.
Your colors has been shown now, my friend.
うわ、マジか。
Oh no, and the blue chip. So sorry, Kickstart. Oh, that's rough. Now, the thing is about this is that I do think that Twisted Minds has done a little bit of their homework considering what Falcons was doing yesterday, right? They were lingering around on their drop and waiting for kind of little movements going on over on that side of kind of the shoreline, as it were, during the survival stage. Of course, yes, a glider is always super, super important for not only Falcons, but also Twisted Minds as well. So for them to have these kinds of information, just be able to take a free point here and there. That's what Falcons was looking for yesterday. They were effectively looking for some free points on those wide eastern rotates. So now that's kind of come back to bite them a little bit with Twisted Minds doing the same.
Yeah, they did a few times in Cerberus. We saw it again on a wrangle. And now Example is actually holding down potentially some info or getting some shots towards DN Supers. Good info here. They could be driving closer towards Lou. Actually taking a turn here. I like that from DN Supers. I don't know if they've spotted anything. It might be the burning car off to the side here. So them going a little bit off to get a little bit more high ground is actually fine. And they're going to have a path in towards that circle. I like the car running here from them. Now shots are coming in from Lou here, 4x. Nice shots connect actually from the MK. Silence. Hard to hear exactly where it comes from too.
Wild to think we're this many tournaments deep on 2026, and as much as Twisted Minds, yeah, I think in the back of people's minds is always considered a favorite, right? There's just so many strong teams that you're like, yeah, but what about VP? Yeah, but what about 17? Yeah, but what about this team? What about this team? What about this team? Right? I don't think you'd have come into the like mid 2025 or early 2025 thinking to yourself that Twisted Minds had so much competition on international soil. So that makes it really exciting for me, Avenger. The fact that all of these regions and all of these teams have been able to step up and compete with someone as consistent as Twisted Minds.
Yeah, and I guarantee you that Zulus is kicking himself for not having won that PGC in that last era before switching over to TBP. That was the last little diamond in the crown of them being, yeah, I would still argue that, still considered the best team to ever have graced the game. Obviously now with the new era, we're gonna have to redefine that.
そうだね、
Information's
本当
coming
側
in
大
here
体
from
言ってる
Tulis
ね
with the glider.
みん
It's
な
good information. Circuit is closing. It's very spread out here. I feel like a lot of teams are edging their bet that this is going to be north, with only Crazy Raccoon being on the southern side. But we could see a crazy shift, so teams are not willing to put all the eggs in the same basket just yet.
Gustav not best pleased with what was going on near him. Taking a few shots here and there, maybe just a little bit of peacocking, but for the most part here, TWIS is going to crash in on just south of Lumberyard as DN Supers was rotating south side of that. I think of all teams on that east side, it really is DN Supers that, as you say, is kind of hedging their bets, right? They've got people on the coastline. They've got the people a little bit north of that in some of the compounds as well. So they do have options if for some reason the worst comes to effect. And so does Vitality as well. They're setting up an e-pickup just in case they have to make the big move.
Like that, that's smart. And as you see this circle
Here we
closing
go.
here, it's a really good path as well for it actually to, if it goes south or anywhere, it's still really good here. So I like that. I like the idea of it. To pop it early is important here. Shots coming in. And if NAVI finds raining here, T1 going down. Korean superstar roster here losing raining is actually massive. And also going to get way more congested just north of that farm, west of that Milta area. So much congestion, so close, so early here. Falcons having lost one. It's going to be hard for them to do greedy splits, but they have so far.
Feels like a while ago since we actually watched the teams coming in from the grand finals top 8, but it's really only been a few days. It's just that, you know, the start of PGS 6 or every 3, you don't actually start.
Wow, みんな抜くね。マジ移動中。
Take down Duck Juice as quickly as that. As of course we have from Duck Juice in that interview at the very end of yesterday, giving commiserations basically to Furia.
Oh, Lil Go's also connecting. Gorg gets Levante down. That's a big name. Our top fragger from yesterday. 20 kills in 5 games. Now taking down here Vitality. Losing players now, and they're just inside that circle. 17 not prioritizing any central location just yet here. Red zone smack bang in the middle as well. Losing the Vante.
無理やり中に入る人たち多くなったね。
11 out of the 36 they had. Very impressive performance from those two. Mainly off that clutch on Miramar, obviously with the P90s, but still extremely well executed by those two yesterday.
Yeah, listening back on the Falcons comms against that situation with the 2 P90s. Falcons obviously wanted to go for the 3-1 and then pushing over and realizing that they're running into 2 P90s. That is the words.
If I could, what did
they say exactly? They're like, what are you gonna do?
車からの
2 P90s, and of course Levante was extremely warm, having hit
ルックっ
everything
て
in
で
the
きるじゃん、
entire
周り
server
も。
with an orm before that as well.
だから空いてる場所ってやっぱ分かりやすいから思ってる以上に中に入っちゃう。それによって抜かれる確率が上がったみたいな。ヘリクスの気はするけど。
Not having a lot for it obviously makes it extremely difficult. We actually have a chance to listen in to VP as these guys drive in, so let's listen to what they're saying.
Kill him, pull up on him. Just run up, look inside. Yeah. Come. Reset. Could be one more.
Yeah, there's.
Where?
Upstairs left.
No load. Okay. They're regrouping. Take out the barn. Very good.
Oh,
they took no load. I'm taking the dog.
Can we smoke?
Yeah,
they're gonna crash.
Okay, just chill. Like they're not being sandwich. No, they're not getting. They're going fast. They're taking damage.
Can we get the other barn?
We can get the not barn. No? We can go under gas.
Yeah, they're gonna push same time. I think we get it.
マジソロ普通。
And you see at the very beginning of that as well, those are the kind of decisive moments that are going to lend you a potential championship here. Just straight away, very aggressive, no BS. And at the same time here, a lot of potential going on here at the same time. Crazy Raccoon tried to hold down on this compound here. Petrichor Road moving on forwards, did take down Glaz and PO. So can they get a little bit more? It's only Guyon here to be able to keep this going in the circle. That's a lot of water left in it here, Martin.
Yeah, so much water still active.
うわー、ちょっと待って、
50% or more.
多いな。
Next
だ
circle
から
gonna
今
go away from
変わん
water,
な
but
い。
still, it already limits. It already basically puts us in circle 4 for this one.
Yeah.
VP continues to make moves here. I like that the idea that they're gonna push into the
状況
gas
的に
station
はあん
and
ま
saw
変わ
that
んない
there's
か
not much activity and potentially
ここから
someone
先
leaving it. So them getting
ワンチャン
locked in and
ナ
getting
ビ
their space taken
の
down
と
here.
こ
Sure, it's gonna
外
go
れ
away
る
from
か
water
ぐ
for
ら
the
い。
next one here. They're gonna have to continue to make moves, but this is gonna be a little bit of a stalemate for them. Now Human, 6 shots as well from the Gen G guys
う
coming
わー、
in.
乗り込んだ。
Asserting
よく
themselves
取
in
れたね、こ
close to
こ。
Milta.
まあまあ真ん中だよ。
Not taking any casualties there. Oh, the nade doesn't get posted through either here. Gen G with a little bit of a reprieve for a moment. That one does get posted though. Good stuff by Human. Maybe they can push on this. I'm not sure though, because if they try and cross the road, then that is going to be very dangerous itself. But Human is going to try and make something happen himself here.
Tries to go for the pre-net here. Human goes
It's
for the
crazy.
flush. Gets soul down. Well played. Good flush here to get in. Then kind of engages and disengages immediately here. Now waiting for someone to make a play on it. Rex is on the other side. Good angles here. Crazy comes out in 16th.
Yep, Tian's back. That's what we're taking from that straight away as he opens up here. Day number 1 of this grand finals to get himself a kill on the board. Gedrox is going to get Levante back up. That was a good recovery on that blue chip. The only problem though is this is slowing you down a lot as Vitality. Where are you going to enter? They might look to try and wide wrap and say, okay, well, we're expecting the west side of the circle to be busy. Let's try and gamble on a Milta, see if we can crash in, because at least that would afford you some cover from even other teams that were potentially in Milta as well. But we'll see. I think it's going to be hard for them to make an entry point here.
Yeah, I like that. That's good idea from it. But also, yeah, it's no matter what, this circle is not entirely figured out. Sure, it's going to go northwest, but it could go a little bit further north, could go a little bit more west. It really depends. There's still so much water in play here. Now he also gets a rest off onto Ferris here, sacrificing some time after having lost the Shakfin. Salute finds Salute, and it's geez, being burned alive right now with the Molotov hitting him. Just 1 stun grenade and 7 bandages. Not a lot of loot here on D and Gen G.
Yeah, no, they're going to be hunting him down now, weeding him out, kind of cleaning up their
投げ物を
buildings.
いなさないといけなか
Going
った
on
んだけ
pest
ど。
control here against D. And Human going to flash on forwards as the push now comes in to try and clear him out. He actually does get flashed, but that's D down. That is Gen G gone here early in this game to start things off. 2 DN Supers holding down that west side of Millie strong.
Yeah, well executed by them. That's how it should be done. Notice anyone sits in northwest side here. They've got farm locked down. Let's see. Oh, that's a mortar coming in.
Oh, 17 might take a casualty. Vitality has opted to just go straight at the circle here, having scouted out this compound. But that said, though, Zhao Wu takes Gedrox instantly. The other 2 here are going to be moving on around in another location. Levante's going to have to parachute on down now. He's coming in from that res, actually. But Zhao Wu's just destroying him. A one-man army here. And Tian with reinforcing shots. This is Vitality getting absolutely destroyed.
Yeah, Vitality's gonna be third Navi pull up here. I like that's like such a smart pull up here. Damage done already to 17, and now Xiaowu's gonna have to try to defend.
Yeah, this is perfect because they knew from where the shots were coming from that this was a split by 17. So charge on this to try and get this done as quickly as possible here for Na'Vi. Not bad at all. Trying to send in some mollies as well as nades. I don't think they fully know exactly that it is only one person, considering where all that utility was going. But Na'Vi should exploit this Hakatory from the roofs. Wembo down as he tries to reinforce going onto this little bit next to them. It's a good start here for Na'Vi to try and dislodge them, but Zhao Wu is still a thorn in their side here. Moved out of the compound smartly into the smoke, denying some of this attack.
That blue zone's gonna delay them quite a bit here or push them off. Hakatory with the nade, he sees them, he knows where it is. Gonna be an underhand. Good nade, lots of damage done to him. Surely 52 connects, 1 more in hand. Spirit finds him. Now Xiao Wu, he's gonna get stolen again here now. Gonna get it. Nice. Good flush here for him. Lost the Wenbo flush to Cloris. So important point already going out here.
I mean, the problem is you got to get a wriggle on, right? Like that compound's not in now. Like maybe they use it as the checkpoint to try and hit farm if they realize that the farm split is quite wide. But again, you're going to need the information from that. As Destroy is charging up a mortar over there as well. Falcons kind of a tussle here against the teams on this checkpoint location that are trying to move on in. 4 AM now doing quite a bit of damage. Knocking Tiggleton, and then he drops a nade in hand. A bit of a disaster there.
奥に投げようとしたグレーだけど、ティグルトンがグレーピン抜いた落として手前に途中で投げた感じかな。 タイミング的に。
Yeah, maybe they're worried for a third party here, so I kind of like the disengage. Oh, Chan.
おー、C1 って分かったからもしかしてこれ。うわー、すごい。
You're trying to clear out the rest of them.
あ
Chan finds boosting
あ
with a defensive.
そういうこと
Secretary got little goes.
?C4 仕掛けたんだ C1 が来ると思って。
For Navi.
Tian, he's going crazy! I cannot believe it here as he just absolutely destroys them, not only with nades, not only with C4s, pulls out the AUG, starts going mental as well. Here and now, Hakatori versus Tian. Yes, please. More of that. Let's see what actually happens here, though. As Tian kind of stuck on this roof at the moment, having to negate some of the damage coming in from this blue zone, just backpedals a little bit.
いや中央側の人たちやっぱ動けないね。スペンダブルズもここ入りたいんだろうけど、とんでもない車線通るからな。VP も
next wave is going to pop here and then start moving shortly. VP has moved back to the beach side here, taking lots of damage from the arena and from the other teams. We actually go east for this time. Southeast, lots of water in play, and that whole water side is extremely difficult to lock down. And Twisted Minds has already done so.
うえ回収しに行くま。
Supers haven't taken and locked down the northeast side.
キルポイントユーザー。
Priorities to be played here. VP pulls up and Tanwu finds Lukarooks.
Quite a little bit of a shot there coming on to try and help them out. Hakatori does shut down Lukarooks here, and Tian takes Beamy, so Virtus Pro, as much as they did make this move, that is 2 solos you do not want to have to deal with. Kirexi will take it, though. See if he can get a little bit more from that. That is, what a wild scenario here on this west side.
FPP だったらあれだけど、きついな。E アリーナの西側空いてんだけどね、一応ね。でツイステッドマインズの取り方強欲すぎて、ここ誰も行けたいねんな。すごい東側の海岸全部取れてるから。
A heal play to get into a better spot.
Yeah, and what you were saying as well, if people have got the map open as well, which I do highly suggest that you do, that
Expendables これほとんどキルパクじゃないから。
over on the west east side of it, that's massive. To be able to control that area, and nobody's vulnerable at all from those spots. Very, very strong indeed. Heather's going crazy against anyone's legend. Where is that? That's up towards the north of this circle, northwest at the moment. Tian still beeping. He's now losing all this, and he will be going down pretty soon, I think, here, as Chewie did quite a bit of damage to him. I don't think he can heal through that, and he is gone. 17 gaming in 13th place.
Yeah, and all he sees that in the kill feed, so Crix
まあちょっとあれだね、キルがまばらになってるね。
And as with the next circle here, they can still contain water as it's not circle 8 just yet. So
もうグレネード系はほぼない。
playable space inside west of the road to be taken out here. Now Falcons 2-man push here, try to get things.
うわー手前当たった。
Great shot here from Gustav, finds the explosion onto the Panzerfaust. Sniper the drive out, hits him in, finds him, and continues to try to get more damage done here. Tries to get Falcons down and helps come in from heaven here, and Falcons out in 12th place.
On the other side of things, Type's trying to finish off anyone's legend. T1 has come down thanks to the mortar from Scappy, who's doing quite a bit of damage to them as well.
ちょっとファルコンズ序盤から微妙だったね。難かった
also needs to move, but they get shot out here by an awaiting E Arena who has such a lot. They've been in that compound for the majority of this game. Obviously, they got the gas station before when you mentioned it, when we still had military in play, and they've just moved north a little bit. They're sitting pretty, sitting happy.
まあちょっと TPP 強すぎるよね、このアンチは。
And let's see if we do go west or east or keep more water in play here, James. It's going to have quite an effect of free driving for him. Actually, it's the best case scenario.
メイデンタイランドのとこはとりあえず広いからプッシュすることはできるよね。貼り付けた1枚は取られた。守れるかどうか。いいグレじゃない？あ、これはキルパクか？
great grenades. Now seeing if they can get this clean up here would be fantastic for them. It's actually a full clean sweep. MiTH, what a great hold here as 4am really had the wolves biting at their back because they had to get into these compounds quickly, otherwise other teams would look at them and shot them as well.
Vante Has player from
あんまり
Vitality
使い
off
が
this one here, trying
使
to
いたくな
defend
かったな、あの
and
タイ
push
ミング
in
で。
from that eastern side. Correxy, a lot of heals. He might actually be able to get in behind Portugal Road. I don't think they expect the guy to be healing and getting in behind him here. 10 more.
また
He's
遠く
going to
な
have
る
to
よ、こ
heal
れ。
every single time, so he might be able to try to maximize points here.
一個増
Obviously
えるのか
already
な
in placement points
いや
here, but
ー、増え
one
な
or
い
two
ね、
more
これ。
points
プレ
or
スメント
getting
ポイ
in
ント。
behind Portugal Road here could have a massive effect.
Yeah, he's going to have a very small window to be able to do any damage because he ain't getting to the blue, that's for sure.
No.
It's too far away.
It is, yeah.
So we will see if he just wants to
Two
go
points
for
to
a
work
quick
on,
flush.
unfortunately.
But even then, when you go for that quick, you kind of want to follow up somebody else's knock, right? Like because of the iframes that do exist between knock and flush, you probably don't have enough time to be able to go for both against a single target. So we'll see if he gets an opportunity to do that. As Destroy actually did knock Chewy. That actually might open up a window, to be honest, but.
Well, the Twisted Minds guys, they're going to be trying to obviously lock down some of that eastern side here. They still have a little bit of an edge to play, but eventually they're going to be fighting with DN Supers that still has space
お、
inside
2枚見えてるよ、これ。
the arena.
ワンチャール、ワンチャール、ワンチャール、ワンチャール。
Road. And the Anyone's Legends teams are going to be the next one. Shots are coming in here. Damage done. And he's just going to go down here. Not much more done here, but still they got to 8th place and he got placement points alongside with some of the kills that Virtus Pro was able to get here. Difficult game for them. A lot of circles gone away, considering how many moves they made. First on the Navi spot, then okay, Levante goes down in 7th. Wow.
Yeah, of course. Let's check in on the Twisted Minds comms as well, since things will stalemate a
Twisted
little
Minds
bit
の
here, and we can get a little bit of a window into what they're
コミュニケー
thinking.
ション VC 聞けるらしい。まあ、何言ってるか分かんないだろうけど。
Ну, мы смертники.
Ну, мы смертники. だいぶむずいけどね、これ。
Вот сюда вот опять-таки на тройку. У меня 1-2 в утилити, типа нечего даже раскинуть.
У меня 5.
1-5.
У меня 3-4.
メイリンタイランドの方は行きたくないし、手前寄ってくんのを願うしかないよね。
Я не могу раздать. Мы в другом месте. Хорошо, мы хорошо. Вот сейчас вот хорошо.
おー、寄ってるね。ギリ使えるんじゃないこれ手前。
Oh, they're going to be very happy about that shift there. I think they were really deliberating. Obviously, I don't know Russian, but they were probably like looking at their pings, deliberating. Okay, how are we going to get across this road if it goes that way, as well as pinging where teams are. They know DN Supers is there. They know E Arena is down the way on that road as well. But this shift gives them a little bit more time to work with, still including some of that other side of the road.
時間稼げたね。
The worst possible
怖いのは
circle
ここ
for
だよ
me,
ね。
the worst possible circle for anyone's Legends and Petrica Road. That's inevitably going to be fighting.
まあ、西側の人たちはだいぶきついね、これ。
Pressure onto Twisted Minds to keep them
イア
away
リーナ
or
は
just disengage
スペースは
completely
とりあえずあるんじゃない
and
か
maintain
な。
that
西側
northern
はこれ
side
も戦
hold
う
that
しか
they
ない。
currently have. Now the push coming in for Destroy here gets a huge knock onto Chewy with a headshot from the AUG here.
Trying for a bit more. Considering the damage T1 did to anyone's Legend, they've done pretty well to keep themselves alive here on this northwest side. Now they're moving down west here to try and do something. 0-4 though. Already had one on the board earlier. Quite a bit of damage, so trying to go from that suppressing fire, and does that finish that up here with I-26v6, but at the same time Destroy takes him away. But Chewy will finish it off against Destroy. So Petrichor Road still alive.
まだ生きてる。
Pushes on to the arena. Myth, lots of damage done to 0-4 and B. Shui is going to get spotted. Yeah, okay. Oh, damage done to Kiss actually.
ナイストライだな。
Arena away here.
そうだね。今のノックしてたらワンチャン貼り付けたかもしれないけど、まあ、きついのは変わんない。
Maybe not going to flush on some of the guys coming in.
0-4, walking up in plain sight, like the road that leads up to the compound. Just don't mind me. It's kind of in that little divot between the walls. But it's actually working out. He's still alive at the moment. I don't think he's going to be able to get in too much further, though. As Twisted Mind's still kind of deliberating. How are we going to make this play occur? Obviously, there he goes. He tries for the double blue zone and then instantly gets found. Yeah, you can't be walking up there, mate. That's trespassing.
And Chewy goes down as well, but 5th place for Petrichor Road still decent here. 3 placement points to come their way, and now DN Subers 4, Myth 4, E Arena 4, and Twisted Minds 4 here. It's gonna be a big fought-for battle here. I hope it goes dead center. Every team's gonna have to make moves. Actually benefits DN Subers just a little bit, but all the other teams has a little bit of space to play here. A lot of utilities gonna be having to be played here to survive for all the teams, James.
で道には穴作れないから、本当だった
looking forwards a little bit. Close lobby though to start off match number 1 of this best of 15. That's for sure. As a lot of kills separated across these teams. I don't think it's going to be a ginormous win for whoever's able to come out from it at number 1 at the moment. But Myth with 7. They've had arguably the best compound up until now, right? So it's understandable that they would have the lion's share so far.
穴作んないといけないと思うけどね、イアリーナも。
It's not a bad spot for Batulians. He's inside the circle. It's going to have an impact onto Arena eventually here. But
むずいよね、グレ。
Kind of play later, it feels like. Next circle goes dead.
グレのダメージ減らしてさ、
obviously, but
軽くしたいよね。
They have cars, they have cover,
こんだけ
they have dips as well. They've got some
穴作るのに使うんだったら。
dips too. So a lot of playable area here, both for Arena and
掘削グレネードとかあってもいいかもね。
Twisted and for DN Supers eventually.
こんだけ作るんだったら。
Imagine if Myth was able to end the circuit as they began with a victory.
今モーターとグレネードしかないから。
In terms of PGS4 and then being able to move it on further, that would be insane. The tab looks on a little bit hesitantly, I would say, considering that I think Twisted Minds knows that they still have quite a mountain to climb in this game. The percents, I don't think, fully tell the tale of the tape at the top, because once this circle, if it does not go directly hard shift southeast, it is going to be a little bit difficult to make any kind of crosses across this road. They've got cars prepped, ready to go.
武器欄一つ使ってくっさっきでかないくっさっき
There's the dot we get the next one here, so they're gonna have to pull up or do something crazy onto the arena. They're super stacked. One or two
投げ物じゃない？
so much
ギリ
damage.
許されるの。
Having to cross the
投
road
げ
as
物
the
か
only team here makes it extremely difficult.
あれだ、ハンドガンなん。
I thought the
いい
game
ぐ
was
らい。
earlier than that. So yeah, now they really do have to make the move, don't they? Jeez Louise, this is almost impossible. They're going to get absolutely smashed.
わあ、いや、もういや、きついよな、これ。
Hey, it's a big nade. Those are massive nades. Oh, Perfectix, what can you do here, mate? I don't think much. As now they just spray into the smoke. E-Arena and DN Supers know exactly what they have to do to shut down Twisted Minds.
ドリルグレネードでもいいし、そのハンドガンランになんかドリル入れるとか何かしら。それだとツラッシュの意味がなくなるから。なんか穴を大きくするなんとかグレネード、掘削グレネードとか何かしらあった。
When you have three teams that has 4 players alive here, it's about being that third party in factor and not being the team that's being engaged on. So MiTH is trying to play slow, trying to play aggressive on the side when they have to. The Arena and DN Supers are throwing everything they've got at each other.
Laris gets knocked by the actual blue itself while this blue was pressuring them. They didn't actually have any room to be able to walk into. This is amazing utility usage. Oh my god, but at the same time, it's Scappy. Once again for Made in Thailand himself, taking some of these kills away from DN Supers.
Made in Thailand と有利グレネード。
Oh my god, Made in Thailand is exploding. South Korea Yumin though, just replying kind here with the M4 down Scappy. Can he do a little bit more? 2v4? No, it's not going to be the case. Made in Thailand takes the win from the compound. And it's a clean one from them as they are able to take game number 1. Let's talk to Mark as well as Toffees to talk about this one. Mark, that is Made in Thailand. Maybe running it back. Ooh.
Could be a back-to-back. We didn't even talk about them, did we?
いやあれちょっとだけどあれだね TPP の悪いとこ出てたね。
Too much. They did have the compound for so long.
でもやっぱり韓国は TPP の戦い方慣れてるよ。プッシュするときに木ロードを作って木まっすぐ作って前行ってそこから横に広げてで相手が顔を出したタイミングで木抜きみたいなほぼほぼ木の中から撃つっていうのをしてるからめっちゃ慣れてる感はあるね。
And the guys just handled it. They passed off. Jacob opened. He's transferred out. They let another player step in. It was just beautiful. MiTH is defending champions from past PGSs. I think this could signal very, very big moments for them. Twisted Minds got to the top 4, but they only walked away with 2 kills, which I think is a symptom of them getting some of the best circle shifts I've ever seen in terms of how long can you stay on that little ridge line on the coast. But what I'm most excited about, gentlemen, is seeing that circle and knowing that at PNC we're turning off water ratio.
Oh yeah, oh my days. Imagine. It gets very wild indeed. But that is scary. Let's take a look back at some of the highlights though as well. And Martin, I mean, when it comes to that very deep late game, right, you could really see all of these kind of apprehensions that the teams were pushing towards. It's so open in that area. Very difficult for them to play.
Yeah, it was desperation time for most of the teams getting into this one. This was one of them. 17 trying to defend all of it, of course, here. But yeah, what a hard game to play. And also with that Eastern shift, there's just 4 or 5 teams that's all right. Okay, well, I guess we're not getting any more placement points, guys. Let's just try to focus for kills. And that's why we see the pull-ups. That's why we see the drive-bys, especially as well from T1 and onto anyone's legends here, trying to make the most of it. But they still survive for quite a while. But yeah, again, we have to give the cadeau to MiTH. They had to fend off so many pull-ups, so many third parties, so many attempts from teams 4AM, Petrico Road, all these teams trying to get into compound. They survived as a full 4-man, managed to get tons of kills from it, and also then getting into the late gaming and winning it. That was beautifully executed by them.
And you can see the fortress that they did have, right? I mean, the lines of sights that they had during some of that game as well, the mark means that they got to shoot a lot of stuff, where I also had my reservations. I was like, okay, yeah, but how much are they actually going to get to shoot at? And turned out way more than I thought.
Yeah, that compound can be either a hit or miss sometimes, right? You either get crashes, you get that momentum that you can build off, or you don't. And lucky enough for them, they had that defense in the zone play. They back across towards the east, and then they started getting those kills, and that's when they ended up and actually bagged that game with 23.
I'm going to say it again, DN Super's 14 points here, but it is still, where is our South Korean champion yet for 2026? Maybe it will be DN Supers, as of course here for their roster and the kind of heights that they've been able to attain on international soil. Toffees has been higher than most of our Korean teams in the past couple of years, especially after winning PPMI at the end of last year.
And if Survival Series Magic holds up, they are one of the teams that is favored, right, to come out on top of this one. Soup looked pretty good yesterday, but not as good as I'd like to see them. MiTH was strong, but I think MiTH worries me in the same context that anyone's legend worries me. I feel like the more games that I add to a series, the more I start to lose them in the average points per game. I think that these guys have really big moments and really low moments, whereas I think this 15-game series is going to favor some of our more consistent teams, right? Like Twisted Minds only got 2 kills, but it fell into their requirement for averages. So I will track that throughout the day today. Does MiTH have another big moment in these first 5? And if they do, then yeah, I think they're on track for a repeat.
That's a good question, considering that Made in Thailand is normally one of the kind of slower starters, I would say, to some of these tournaments, Avenger, and for them to be able to get this one off the bat is pretty sizable.
Yeah, the storyline of maybe getting a repeat winner might come into effect here, but the fact is, last time around, they got 9th. They had 86 points, and the winner had 136, which was Virtus Pro. As we see, Scabby, man of the match here. 5 kills for him is huge. The thing is, though, last finals, besides Virtus Pro having 35 more points than second place, we had 10 teams that was within 9 points of each other. And that fact is that all of our teams are have a potential to win things, but you need to get that ball rolling and get that foundation built today here. If you don't have a little bit of a lead or is in the top before going into tomorrow, you're going to be left behind in the dust.
Some of our teams as well.
I will temper that for just a second, because when you look at that list, the top 3 teams in our last final really had bad first 3 games. So there is, because we're going to 15, a little more flexibility in there. And a team like MiTH or EA, who both had really kind of crappy starts last time, could potentially be back in that mix a little more effectively.
Oh, we compare Perfectix to Scappy here. Scappy had a bit of a blinder of a game here for this one, Mark. Perfectix on the other side of things, yeah, there was, what else could they have possibly done from that ridge line? I think that they knew, you know, as soon as the circle's moving away from them, like, okay, yeah, our game is done, but we'll try and do what we can.
Yeah, but let's look at the start that Twisted Minds had. They denied Falcons from that glider bait at the very, very beginning, but it's been a key part of that as well. Very cheeky, but very well VOD reviewed, should we say, and they understand actually how they're going to move. Look, Twisted Minds got a lot of zones there. They had to hold a lot of space on that coast. And yes, when the zone eventually shifted away from it, it was always going to be quite difficult. But even down to those little bits of play that I've seen from Twisted Minds, I think it's going to be a good final for them.
You'd hope so, considering... Go on, Toffees.
I want to talk about 17. I love Twisted Minds, but can we talk about that Tian hold? Because I feel like we missed it in the highlights a little bit. Like the preset Claymore, the pre-nade crash, like their ability to stop NAVI, who was one of the biggest banger teams in the world before they even had a chance to activate, was incredibly smart, right? And so we got to see Hakatori, Tianjin, a little bit of 1v1, but at the end of the day, like that's the key to success, is I think teams like 17 knowing prep and strength on entry makes everything even. And so I loved seeing that out of 17. I thought some really good moments. I'm looking forward to seeing what else they pull together as we march forward on this one. because that was awesome.
I think I have to agree with you, right? Like I think that you look at it and right, they were split when they're making this hold happen, and yet they're still individually able to make these things occur again, especially Tian. So I think not only you're going to watch him be able to have a blinder of a tournament here, you're going to get to watch it at PNC as well, Avenger. And I think you're probably concerned about China's roster in PNC.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. Not thinking too much about that yet. I really want to see how things line up here for this one for sure. I mean, best of 15 is important here, but the fact is that you have to have absolutely insane days to show up and get the points that's needed to win tournaments like this.
All right, game 2, let's rock and roll. It's going to be Miramar, and it is going to be, so far, made in Thailand. Will they run it back from PGS4? We'll find out across these next games as we give it over to Mark and Toffees.
Well, dry land is not a myth. In fact, it's a desert as we head to the Dusty Dunes for game number 2. We heard a little bit of insight. That was my favorite thing so far, Mark, was Martin. Analyst hat, he's got to agree, but as the coach for Denmark, he's got to be like, no, I'm not that worried about that roster. China doesn't look that strong, just in case the boys are listening.
Yeah, mind games. It's all mind games. This flight path though for game number 2 is a northwest down towards a south, pushing towards that southwest. So we are favouring the west side of Miramar. But I do want to pick back up on your point, that 17 gaming defensive hold. And if you break it down, it was such well played. The pre-grenade, the launch with the C4, and he was on the other side of the building. So to be able to just look at the team coming in, understanding that they were going to crash and it was going to be their target building, and having a game plan, you can't drop the ball on 17 gaming.
Yeah, I mean, the fact, so often we see the stop down scout before the push, right? And TP allows you to see that from a defensive position. For Tian to be on standby, to plant that C4 and go, all right, I see them scouting, I know what the next step is. As his team calls that for him, I think it's just really next level. So often C4 is considered an offensive weapon and so rarely used in a defensive way. And I think with the nerfs to C4, that perhaps is one of its strongest functions right now. In the same way that Warders have almost pivoted from purely offensive to slightly defensive with the way they can dig holes for you before you make pushes. So I think they're re-examining of how these patches have changed effective use of strategic weaponry, and seeing teams adjust to that has been a pretty exciting part of these quick changes.
Yeah, I agree. I'd even say not even slightly. I think we've seen Mortarfire become primarily a defensive play now. Teams stacking up. We saw yesterday Tiggleton had 10 mortars in the vehicle ready to go. Now they were either going to be used from a defensive. Yes, we saw him play a bit offensive, but it's becoming more and more rare seeing that being used. Don't forget though, you can pick up though the PGS, get the drops. All you need to do is watch, and based on the time you watch, is what you get. I really like the watch out.
Dude, I love that spray. I'll be honest. I'm going to be honest. I'm not usually a spray guy. I don't have time for sprays. I'm busy running around trying to kill stuff. But the watch out spray is great because every time that Poro dies to nachos falling from the sky, I can now use that to mock him by spraying it on his box.
Well, not even picking him up, just leaving it down there. Watch out, he died from Dorito death.
You don't pick up Poro. He prefers life this way. He says he refuses to drive. He misses e-pickup so that he can just quietly rotate. This is the way of Poro.
You sound like a Chuck Norris. Like, you don't pick up Poro. Poro gets picked up himself.
Poro picks up himself.
He picks up the game. I love it. Absolutely love it. Look back some of the highlights though from game number 1. It is a best of 15 now, the final. Some of these teams need to obviously manage those points average and maximise what they can out of every single game. Obviously, we did see Twisted Minds obviously getting closed out from Circle, and obviously from the Myth off. From Myth. It is a strong ending. Made in Thailand though was preset for that match quite early on, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, Made in Thailand was in a good spot, and I think at the end of the day, Twisted Minds kind of suffered from that, right? Like, Twisted Minds was given a spot by the Circle and told by the Circle, you will be allowed to enter the top 4, but there will be no more for you. Because at the end of the day, like, that rotation was almost impossible. You can't dig through the road. If you could dig under the road, then sure. As we jump back to the Dusty Dunes, where Petrichor is sneakity-dinkity up here towards
Sneakity-dinkity.
Yeah, this is the high ground. This is a hole. This is going to be so critical, not just for the information gained from this side, but if they can clear, that means they're the only team up in that north section. Come to breach on the top. I think they've got the intel. Yeah, they've got the information. It's now trying to piece that puzzle together as Petrichor Road, where they look for the crash in the corner.
There it is. They're going to come in from more than one angle. This is a new feature coming from TPP that you have to sort of aggress from multiple spots in case someone's watching you. Hongeth here is on defense. He's got a little bit of backup coming, but not very much as he tries to lock down this door. He can hear their opponents coming from the left side, gets the gun out. They would have heard the swap and an easy spray down by 04MB as he is just eliminated. Nothing they could really do there.
No, look, he knew that window was going to cause some issues as well, like the move over, but I think you're right. That sound cue from that swap to the shotgun, and that would have been a potential final piece of that puzzle. Petrichor Road made their crash.
Yep.
Fortunately for the guys, now they have to disengage and they go back north.
Yeah, they get sent north, and you see 04MB goes out and shoots a couple of rounds to say, and stay out, like an old man on his yard as he chases off the boys. But that's what you do. You want to come in aggressive, you want to knock and flush, so there's no point in trying to mount a rescue. As we talked about mortars, let's take a look at some mortars. This is Scappy dropping it on top of T1's head.
Yeah, look, this is them trying to get points. They're in a centralized position. They haven't had the crash. This was key. This was the kiss of death. I know Scappy launched a grenade, but the information that he would have got from Kiss at that point was like, look, launch a grenade. It's on the corner of my building. Just lay it right next to him, and you'll find yourself a kill.
They're going to keep going. It was a really solid game, honestly. Big moments from all of the players here, but Scappy really stepping up. 5 kills in that match, or easily earned the mom. But it's nice to see how diverse the team is in terms of who can step up, who can make the big plays, and who can kind of lead the team in those exceptional moments. So I'm looking forward to continuing watching them march forward. Jacob been a great pickup, and we'll see what I think their year's only going to get better from here, Mark.
Yeah, I agree. We're coming to that sort of halfway point now, and everyone's setting themselselves up for that second half. And I think you're right. They've got the balls rolling, the engine's firing on all cylinders now. So it'd be interesting to see how they close this kind of 2026 year out.
APAC teams win PGCs, apparently. We've learned that recently, and I feel like MiTH, it might be the next one on the list in terms of where we're going. Now, that said, maybe PGC's in a different location, so a different home field advantage, but I've been very impressed with the teams out of that region when it comes to the end of the year, and I think everybody has. So, MiTH, if that's the track they're working, keep an eye on them.
Yeah, I agree. Most teams now obviously on the rotation in. A few of these teams draw on the outside edge. NAVI being one of them. They are moving their way in from the southeast corner by Minas Generalis. They're going to mostly go around towards that north side. Pretty much free for them. All water treatment in that northeast corner is pretty clear. 4 AM is late behind them, so there is another team potentially contending the same rotation. On the other side of things, though, we do have Gen G and E-Arena here, Toffees. They're in the southwest corner. They're coming up that Death Valley. It's got to be cautious for them. There's only a few avenues you can kind of make your way in, and it's going to come down to timing for both those teams.
Yeah, I mean, there's 63 players alive. This is too many players right now for the amount of space. Like, everyone's going to be jamming in here, and I expect when Shift 2 happens, we're going to see a big kerfuffle because everyone looks like they're in pre-port locations. The idea of everything you want at the end of Circle 1 is like a scout line. Good lord, guys. That's it. What you want to do is you want to hit these stopping points. You want to see who's available, and you want to be prepared for a quick move on Circle Pop. The problem is going to be a lot of teams prepared for that, and so I do expect to see it pop off pretty quickly. NAVI playing methodical on this zigzag push towards the middle. They're clearing everything they possibly could on their way in.
Here comes. I'm going to go back to NAVI in a bit, but let's pin that for a second. Gen G on the other side, that southwest corner, they had stopped, so they know there's limited kind of avenues in which you can come in. And obviously, they've now got the information. Stu's got one side, Bean's on the adjacent side. They're waiting for these guys to get in the cars. They're clearly sharing something out in the trunk. But what they don't know is E-Arena. I think they're coming in late. They have no idea there's a trap set.
They don't know. E-Arena is doing an incredible job of sort of skipping their way across this entry. I think they suspect trouble. Maybe. Nope. They're just going up high-low. Here comes the spray. I don't think D knows that can he take this surrounded?
They are split. They're going to get shot from behind. D goes down. The shot comes on the top. It's an exchange. Norwich will put him down, and he has to take to the dirt.
It almost felt like a counter trap, but it's not, as Larix now tries to get involved here. But Thompong, the only one down. Salute puts in a little bit of work as well. And EA maybe decided we're going to stop and try to make a counter trap, but Gen G's just too spread out.
EA just reactive to that ability. It was so quick. Really well played from them. They are now trying to figure out where the players are. Obviously for Gen G, they are going to be split, but the 3 remain. Bean is backed up against the car. Monic's going to be too short. He has to jump across, but it's not going to be enough. Lyrics will put him in the dirt.
I honestly feel like they spotted a head or something and stopped to prepare for this fight, because this is a very aggressive push attack by E-Arena and actually is working out in their favor as they're only down 1 player. Gen G already down 2.
Gen G, you got to give him an A for effort, but the execution is not there at the moment. Salute might be getting the call to disengage. Gen G have to potentially fight another day, but they know they've got bodies knocked. He's going to use the smoke to his advantage as he eats his way forward.
Oh my goodness, Opons is waiting. They're everywhere. The call is coming from inside the house. They thought they had a trap, but they end up being the ones surrounded and boxed in.
It's got to be a disengage now, surely. Gen G, white flags up, and the rabbits kick him to the dirt as he has to make out. One more hit, Lewis, and we'll put Gen G down.
Tuck your tail and run, boy. We're watching E-Arena 4 strong. 3 kills in the hopper, and I salute you as you run away. Anyone's Legend taking some shots here at the Crazy Raccoons, but that was awesome, Mark. EA. Shut them down, man.
How, Toughies? How? Gen G had it set. They split the road. They had their high ground. They had the low ground. All they didn't have was luck on their side. Zone shifts away back towards the northeast. And E-Arena, the reactive speed to be able to underpin Gen G's hold was outstanding. And for them, look, claim the blue chips, put them in a car, say goodnight.
All right, boys, it's time to stop trying to play on controllers. Switch back to mouse and keyboard, Gen G. I don't know what you're doing, but that's the only explanation I can come up with, because that makes no sense.
It doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
네,できたね。
Now we have found their way in towards zone. Obviously, zone has come back their way.
やっぱドロミドロの戦いは強いよ。
Tanfu finds Boostic as he tries to find safety.
No, you've lost the Boostic. That is a huge loss for NAVI, as I don't know if they can get up there. And they are going to push in there and try to go for the rescue. The Expendables are just tossing everything they have at them. Hackatory, I'm not sure this rescue mission is tenable, man.
No, it's, again, use the train to advantage, get out of there. Spyro White trying to get the hold, has a little bit of high ground. Ferris, though, holding the compound further afield. A really strong compound, especially for these style of zones. So wouldn't be too surprised other teams, like we see from VP, taking the hillside around. They'd be happy to team it there, but they need to keep them at bay.
Yeah, this is that stage of the game where you get the nom-nom boys, the ones who think they don't have a rotation. They're going to start to mess around on the outside and try to make a couple of pickups here. It's all about average points per game when you talk about these big finals with 15 games, especially on day one. You want to kind of have a good, solid day one so you're in that race leading into day two and kind of set your strategy based on that. So we do see a few teams choosing to walk away from fights that I think they might not have, that they would normally have taken, and vice versa. Gustav for the Falcons, newest member of the team, drives right into a water container. He's normally a better driver than that, I assure you. And then we jump to VP, one of the favorites to win this one, Mark.
They will be, especially in that position they have now. They have a 2-2 split, but one of the other really strong positions, actually Team Falcons. They're on that south side. They'll be waiting for a zone shift back their way, but I can say what we can give him now. Gustav, couple of shots. Let's listen on the Falcon comms.
Yep, I think it's the fourth player Falcons on now. Okay, I have a full safe spot on me. It's like really good. We should, Gustav, you should apply pressure to the yellow the entire game.
Yeah, well, they're split 2-2 yellow
split?
waypoint.
Okay. Just keep fucking shooting them. Sure, you need to give early info. If
Pressure.
crashed, or if a team's even
Pressureずっと与
I'm
えと
playing
け。
roof right now. I'm looking for aggressive info. I won't know really though.
If we want to progress, if this goes north, we need to kill yellow first of them. We cannot kill the far team first.
I won't know really though. I don't think.
If we want to progress, if this goes north, we need to kill.
Wow. Talk about the communication there. Not just being able to understand what a VP are, they're on a 2-2 split. And some couple of key takeaways for me here, Toughies. Applying pressure, number one. And number two, if the zone shifts north, and there is a big if, because they have an opportunity, it might come their way, they know where they want to go now.
My biggest takeaway was just keep effing shooting yellow.
Don't highlight that.
Right? But I mean, I love that, Cobbs. I love that Kickstart's giving here's our cover positions. Bring me info. Shrimzy's feed was really good. He said, here's what I have, but I don't think it's that good of information. He said a little bit of a surfer style, but I get it. And then you go back to Gustav, who says, here, I see your call, and I raise you. This is our win condition. And so that's what you love to see. That's what this roster has been doing very well as they've gelled closer and closer together. And with that shift, they're going to have to make those moves. That's the call from Gustav. We got to push north. We got to clear through yellow.
Yeah, and that's the big thing now, right? They're looking, they can see Supers though coming underneath, so I think they're just sitting, waiting, watching, see how much they want to try and apply pressure. They have disengaged here, so Falcons have to look about the entry point here, but let's jump over towards 4 AM. They do have that BRDM in hand space. Man will obviously apply pressure for those teams from T1 that rotate their way past. This is about holding the east side.
TWIS goes ahead and gets that pre-nade set up. We learned this trick from 17 as he moves down the hill. They heard T1 coming up. They try to set a trap. Twisted Minds rotating elsewhere, mostly uncontested at this point. They're going around the Crazy Raccoons. They got shot at by Anonix, so they've shifted off to the left side. Meanwhile, the Soup has found the Polar Bears.
HPP では使えなかった場所が使えるようになる。
I don't know if they know they're on a split. Luke Rux though, did looks to put the Panzer away. Here's the but Tingleton lands a mortar.
もう一個もう一個。
The Falcons from this spot are just
BB も落ちた。
as Tianchan then takes BB out. What's even happening? VP was fine. They scared off the bad guys. They
うわー、2つとも取れた。
They are denied. Lynx. Oh my god, guys, we need to push yellow. Forget about that. Tig said, I got trigonometry.
これすごいね。フリーで取れたよ。
Pressure yellow what now? As they jump in the car and start to move. That was crazy. VP thought we turned back Soup, and Soup was like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad we didn't push that.
Nearly two for the price of one.
に対して
They have pushed towards
プレッシャーずっとしとけってい
as they
う
will
の
look
は
on
関
towards
係な
that
かったらし
position
い。
though. Vitality not too far away. VP did collapse there. 2-2 splits there. Tig has still got that mortar fire in hand. He could find
まあ一応見えるっちゃ見える。
He waited for them to gather together to go stop that push, and he was like, "Hey guys, they're
これ味方のピングとかもあるから。
top of that hill. I've got a plan."
正確すぎるんだよな。
Links. This is stupid. All right, let's jump back to Twisted Minds, who are still traveling. It's the story of their game so far. The first game was about sitting and waiting. This one is about chasing and chasing.
Can't out-rotate the rotation. Twisted Minds, big brain plan. They're going to come on that north side. Not many teams up here. AO, anyone's legend doing the same. They are ahead of him, though. Might have. And obviously VP understanding that their location, while it has been made, has been compromised. They've got to make a bit more of a salvation. Nixie gets the knock, though. As it goes works through. Nixie obviously works his way. Now, unfortunately for him, it's all about survivability.
I mean, you get killed by Shrimsy, Tiggleton, Hackatory. If you're going to die, die by the best. Hopefully Nixie gets picked off by Tianchan right now or something like that, just to really make it the quad action as he locks into the shed and just holds up. Now, the good news for Nixie actually is that he's in the middle. There's no reason for teams to push him until the next circle shift, so he will be able to hold on and kind of make adjustments. Maybe get some meds.
I pray he keeps getting his own shifts. He finds the next one. Falcons do eventually move into that position. That Tig exploded. Obviously for Navi, remember they lost Boostig a little bit earlier. They're in the compound, not too far away. They should agree to disagree in that location, just sit tight. Everyone else, though, has to try and fight, especially this north. Where do these north teams enter into this final zone?
Right, and because a lot of these Twisted and Anyone's Legend only just got here. Now Gedrox takes the spray on 17 as they come in. The tables have turned, and the crash is 17 coming in on someone else. Slides up to the side. Now they're going to push the tough building. Comes in with the Panzerfaust, but they've got accuracy through volume. There's the opening spray. Oh, my bad. Tosses to nice. And loops around to the right side. Maybe as Tianchan is down. The raid boss is dead. Now's the time to push.
It is the time to push, but we know Vitality like holding locations like this. They've been able to do one, but they've exchanged. Jedrox, though, has been confirmed. As that confirmation comes in from Little Ghost, though. Grenades come over the top, try to find off one, but oh my god! Hello, my bad! Finds a helmet!
He's been studying with the Purd because he came out and gets the double. Now the push is on as they sweep around the outside. The res is going off on Tianchan. He's up. They've got a Panzer foul. It's a Panzer down. Hollow my bad drops, but they come back around the corner. 17 Gaming is flushed and sent back to lobby in 16th Vitality with one heck of a hold.
They hold. VP will fall after as well. Irina, they kind of come underneath, but also we see Anyone's Legend doing the same. We see him on that mini-map here. Irina have to try and deploy the smokes there. Vegetable Road on the defense. Oh, it's the doink! You know what? Nah, he destroyed his own player.
It was chaos as all of these compounds are under pressure. Anyone's Legend goes in aggressively, but this is my worry for them as they don't do averages so well and they go out in 14th place. Petrichor Road will get that res and holds. A lot of pushes, a lot of crashes. That's just phase 4 life, my man.
It's just phase 4 life in Miramar. Tiggleton still keeping an eye on that kind of Vitality section. Everyone else obviously went for a little bit of a full set. Twisted Minds came in that northwest corner. Not as I suppose, populated as some of the other parts of this zone. But we'll give an opportunity now just to scout forward. They're going to gain some information. Obviously, the compound ahead of them has been taken. And Shrimsy, 5 shots left. He's got NAVI in his sights.
Oh, man, gosh, I love that gun so much when it's in my hands. He gets to scout from the top of the hill, lets his team know. It seems like they're very focused, the Falcons, today on information gathering above all else as they work on this side. They're in a good spot to keep NAVI locked down. They'll keep rotating along this ridge, and if they can run this ridge all the way up to where the Expendables is, they should be able to guarantee at least 1, if not 2 more circles without too much contest. They just have to convince NAVI not to come up this ridge line when they have to move.
This is one of my favourite endings, actually, in Miramar, this terrain. And now with the update, the adaptation that you can make around that sort of mountain that Falcons are is huge, right? If the zone pulls back their way, they can really fortify this location, and it does. So Gustav Kick's area, they can fortify now. Keep an eye on NAVI, because NAVI have to make a decision. Do they rotate in towards Falcons? That's an uphill battle. Or they go round, and they haven't got the information. What's on the other side?
Just for a second there, we got to see the triumphant re-arrival of Salute as he limps in from the ambush down south, and he's actually coming up behind the Falcons. Shrimsy would have no idea that he's here right now. Oh, he got a car.
I think he did.
No, he just sat in it. He hasn't started it. It's just a heal. It's a heal option. Oh my God!
It's an option.
Look at he's got
this
all
could
he's got
really
bandies.
destroy.
He's got bandies.
This could destroy Falcons' game, though. If you got to think he's going to hear this car coming. He's got an eye on Tickleton coming his way. You would not be expecting Tickleton to look into that car, so he should go past. At what point does he jump out? At what point does he jump out and cause them problems?
He didn't have the. He's like, you know what? This is not my way. My way is to heal and wait. But no, he's gonna walk up here, and there's no rule. Like, Ting just drove this whole skyline. There's no way that they know he's here.
No way, no way. The only saving grace, maybe Team Vitality, who have a compound, who are on the west side, may see him climbing the mountain.
He hears the shots. He knows that Shrimsy's taking those right side. The upside for Shrimsy is he hasn't fired the links because he's being safe with the bullets, and that's the only thing that hasn't told Salute that he's there.
Woo.
Oh, now he knows.
Oh, saved the bullets with their headshots. Ferris, the IGL goes down. He's got 3 more shots remaining. 1, 2 for 2. Hakatori will fall.
Shrimsy. More grenades. There's a red zone falling on the Doritos, but Salute is looking at him from behind. Falcons came to play. They're hot off of the survival stage.
いろんなとこに撃ってるけどこれサリューとこ
He has to try and hide this one.
怖いこれ
4 a.m. Well, they go as they try to aggress on towards that kind of myth location. And again, I'm concerned. At what point does he just sort of pop up and activate and catch Falcons not looking their way?
While we were at this, worth noting, MiTH, who won the last game, just wiped 4 a.m. like that. So that was an impressive play elsewhere as we continue to watch Falcons engage with NAVI and see what Salute chooses to do.
久々に見たなここなんちうわ手前だそのグレが奥だったらな
One better bounce would have been perfect. Twisted Minds would have been in trouble. Batulin going to go ahead and cook, tosses it in the door, gets down for cover. Twisted Minds with a really tough push from the only angle it's possible. They do manage to clear the first building, but they're already limping it too.
They're limping. They had to go for a slight delay. Great smoke use utility. Perfectus is down. Pretorius holds into the car just to avoid those mollies that are coming in. Has a little bit of ability to get the reses back on. Spyro, unfortunately, will go down. Kicks molly, will finish that off as they charge down the mountain. But salute for Genji, storing the wings.
They are doing that. Meanwhile, E-Arena has actually backfilled on that MiTH defense earlier as MiTH tries to fight them off. Here's the sound. He's nading. It's a history repeats itself. Salute to the high.
Oh my
no.
Yeah, boy.
Why? But the Vitality, no Falcons are pushed off here. Salute has to try and deal with a fight on the other side. And for Falcons, remember, Tig went that way. It was completely clear for him. He's king of the hill. And now he has to deal with Vitality on the other side.
Are there any bullets left in the legs? He's now on the high ground. This is absolutely brutal. Vitality pushes from behind. Meanwhile, Twist Allied still buried with the soup. And Petrichor uses that time to slip in from the left. Lou goes for the spray. It's just both teams limping after this one.
Yeah, limping. They have lost the zones of time. for these teams to get moving. Salute is down to 7 HP. He's got some meds. He's had the opportunity now to get some more utility. Levante trying to charge his way forward with pop a smoke. That's going to deny the line of sight. Salute uses it to his advantage. He goes forward, looks down, gains information, and launches the one.
What a legend. So he gets 2 extra points and a whole lot of survival plus some placement off the back of that early game ambush that he just barely got out of. I can't believe that worked. He literally sat in the car like me hiding from another speeding ticket until they had passed and then ruined the game for the Falcons.
Only if you can hide from speeding tickets that way.
Sure you can. You pull off the road and park on a deer track.
He's on the high side. Launches double blue zone, but they are pretty bouncy. They will bounce away slightly from kicks. So he gets a bit of a breathing space as he has a trench to play from. Vitality taking the higher ground. It looks like our Raccoons, well, they also follow that same path in now on that southwest corner as they will look to try and take an element and apply pressure to Team Vitality.
Oh man, guy, what Falcons? How the tide? I mean, it switched so fast. They were feeling so good from the highest high to the lowest low, as now they're locked in on the edge of the circle. I'll tell you what, the Expendables feeling really good about their localized location. Vitality up on top of the hill. They've got a good aerial spot, but that's not tenable for the circle. They have to move away from it.
They do have to move away.
Expendables 1枚ないなくなってるけれど、
こ
れだったらみんな集落を避けながら戦えそうだから、別に集落が圧倒的有利とかではなさそう。どうにかなる。
Crazy Raccoons have a pretty decent little spot down there. Vitality is playing very, very smart. They know it's the Falcons. They don't want to mess around with it too much. I like that. Keep their heads down.
There's a difference, right? Falcons extended to try and get the kills and be aggressive. We saw that, yes, they worked for Falcons. The other side of the coin was if all 4 of them stayed at the top here, that might have been different. And it's a mining experience here for Pensacola Road as they are all a digging.
Dig, dig, dig! And the Expendables up on top are just watching it happen. But here comes Vitality. They had to make a little set. They do manage to get forward because the Expendables were watching them, looking to get that spray on the attack. Kickstart continue to move forward. He's really worried about how Vitality's up here on the left side.
いや、いいぐらい、いいぐらい。もう一個。
But he hits that nade, and the push is on.
惜しい。あ、当たってる。やばい。これでレバンテ落とせれば3ポイント。
Kick though obviously was down by Scrappy, but for Myth, they haven't got the compound, they haven't quite got the line of sights. They still also have to move in.
Crazy Raccoons wants to try to come steal these kills if they can, and you do see them pushing up immediately as Guyon gets that hollow my bad. Baron's going to finish off that flush with kick, and honestly, that's going to be frustrating for Shrimsy because those extra 2 kills would have been huge for them if they could have gotten away with those flushes. PO from the Crazy Raccoons made a good call, though, swept in and grabbed a really nice spot here on the circle.
Shrimsy laying down, watching. Levante, top of the hill, has to get moving. Obviously has clicked dry. Levante gets the line of sight, can't get the connection that is needed as he continues to go for a full set. He goes in between multiple and lays back down. Kick toward his line to the kiss of death.
Oh, and they go out in 7th after an incredibly powerful start due to the shenanigans of Salute, and the game marches on as the Expendables fire up against Pensacola. They do hold the line, but they're left with 1 player plus a lane.
この状況。
And now he's full again.
Dangerous.
あ、も
now he's
っとでも参加したいけどな。
Myth though, big rotation. They've taken that southeast corner. That's going to give them some height advantage and potentially for our Crazy Raccoons. They might not know that team is backfield. GTE, they definitely know, and they've got their long distance shots.
Glorious took that windowsill apart. But he did let them know we're here, we have guns, don't push. I think that was the main goal there, is made in Thailand up on the hill. Baron, Scappy, Kiss still running strong. They won the last game. They're sitting in the top 4 for this one. Maybe it is time for a repeat. Myth with 8 is absolutely lambasting today so far.
There's a world that they go back to back. There is a world that go back to back today on Chicken Dinners as well. That position is good. They have to deal with the Crazy Raccoons, but they don't have the advantage. It's currently a 4 versus 3 versus 2 versus 1, and you'd expect the big dogs to fight on the south side first.
Yes, sir. As they kind of look around, they've only got 3, though. It's going to be a very tough road for them here on the outside, but back-to-back wins would be an incredibly strong way to start this bid, especially with how they did not start strong last time around in these big 15-game finals. So to start here with these amount of points, no matter how it ends for them, is going to be a good sign of success. Another team, Crazy Raccoons, they're in a good spot. They're digging holes. They'll likely have the dot, and they're a team that has to start strong because when they're ahead, they stop caring. They play crazy, and that is what works for them. So having a good game now could blow them open for the entire event.
It's a dumpster dive effect for them. They have to try and hold. All eyes on MiTH though. They have to try and find a way forwards, and they're going to use that ridge, keeping Crazy Raccoons at bay so they can't expose and come over to the top. GTE, on the other hand though, has to try and stop this push. It's going to come down to if they can make the ridge low.
I mean, honestly, big push by Scappy, the bob, the weave. He gets down there. If you're buying stock, buy MiTH now. All right? Even if they lose this is a hold that is only going to go bigger and badder. They look good today. They've got confidence. They're outnumbered, outgunned, and they're still making strong cover moves forward. They look really tight.
He's got no helmet. He's like playing peekaboo into the eyes of the danger. And GTE denied yet again. And MiTH find all players back in zone.
That's crazy. They were edged out. They didn't have a shot. They got in here by covering their man on the push and then holding the Expendables back. Basically, once he got up front, Scappy could keep them from peeking. Expendables is playing this way too scared right now. Passive peeks, hoping for top placement, and then running the circle at the end. Crazy Raccoons feels similarly, except they know they've got good prio on the entire circle, so they're all just going to lock down and wait to see this thing close.
And I think that, look, from Crazy Raccoons, for me, that's a follow-on from game number 1. They finished game number 1, 0 points, early, out. So they need to maximize on this second game, so not as aggressive as expected. You say, when they're ahead, when they're leading the charge on the leaderboard, this is not how they play. They would be applying pressure towards the MiTH. Well, phase number 9, a pressure is going to be applied, and that's from the blue zone. As unfortunately, some of these teams are going to have to move quite soon. I think the MiTH will wiggle their way in. All eyes might be on the compound.
Yeah, MiTH might start digging and pushing forward slow and steady. CR's got their access to the middle point. This really comes down to how do you get out of the building. Gam the Expendables slow played this, and I think maybe a little bit too long. They tossed some Doritos out. You also have that one member of Soup playing Stabby back as he kind of is going to try to backfill a la Salute.
Yeah, I know he's here as well. So just need to, again, which way did they come out? GTE got options, and they've been trying to keep MiTH at bay. They've missed the shots, and MiTH able to come underneath the radar. It's going to come down to timing, because they will be edged out as well.
Come on, Scappy. They got a good crew up. Jacob's down, but Scappy, Kiss, and Baron are all legendary players with great tenure deals. Going to go around the right side. He takes that blue damage, slides back in. He's playing the edges. He's playing aggressive. He decides to go in and try to get that backstab. Gam the Expendables is so focused on MiTH that may cost them here.
Might cost them. Obviously, a lot of smokes can deny some of the information, especially running around the outside. I think they have figured out exactly where he is. He has checked off the MiTH, so going back on the inside. Now comes the MiTH. They want to go head to head. The smokes will go out. The nades will fire in the blue zones straight after that. Glorious looks back the other way, and the damage is done from the grenade. Puts him down to 15 HP.
So he's going to live. Well, that might buy him a placement as MiTH and Raccoons decide they're going to go head-to-head. Pio Gyun has pushed off, but they're only leaving Iononics on the flank, so it's essentially a 3v3 on the engagement. Baron goes down, and just like that, Soup is out, so now we're down to 3. Placement points are gained. Scappy, the last man alive. Crazy Raccoons had the utility and just locked him in place.
Someone dropping this guy a helmet. He needs a helmet, needs a vest, and quick, please. You're not going to get the resin. Give this man something to fight from. Oh, down. Let's go back to back. They fall out, though. It is going to be a fair place for them. Made in Thailand, though, are fallen. It's a 4 versus 2. Glorious dodges round the other side. It's a 12 kills at the moment, but can they find more?
The Crazy Raccoons held this good. They come 4. They stop MiTH. They get backstabbed by the Expendables, and now they got to fight. Glorious looks like he's got some skill. Pulls out the double barrel to the right side. They don't know that he's there. It might work out as he's going to push this forward. There's that back shot. He doesn't get him. He gets stabbed in the back. That is down. One player, Duck Juice, hopes to do it. Gets 1, but it's not going to be enough. He's down to 1 HP. Happy sprays for 2. But cannot manage it. The Raccoons come out with the win. They've got a little trashy at the end, but that is where they thrive, Mark, as they come out with a win.
Wow, they put it down to 1 versus 1 at the end. What an explosive map, though, for match number 2. It's Muma. Welcome back in, No Martin. Welcome back in, James. What do you make of that final circle?
Oh, no doubt a close call. Yeah, and we have Crazy Raccoons who effectively should have won that game, considering those final circles. It gets a bit dicey here, Martin.
Yeah, it was close. I hope that he actually managed to clutch that off, but he was just too low HP. Just one more bullet, and Crazy Raccoon could lock this one down here. But what an effort! What an attempt! What a great set of little peaks there. But Crazy Raccoon, gets a little bit of damage down here as Glass says. God damn!
Did you see
win this game?
Did you see that they blocked his line of sight at the end as well? They were clawing at his eyes so he couldn't get those final shots out. They were like denying sacrifices from the Raccoon.
Yeah, good shutdown of MiTH as well, though, over on that side of the east, as PO and the boys are able to do it well here, being able to lock down some of the hills of Miramar, and an important one as well, Toffees, considering MiTH, man. I mean, they had a lot of kills coming into this late game as well. You need to slow them down after that win.
It wasn't lost on me that the second they got that first knock, both teams said, oh, it's MiTH, and then charged them from two sides, right? They decided to eliminate MiTH from the equation. Just like we saw Salute eliminate Falcons from that equation. That was such a crazy camp at the start that they tried to ambush E-Arena. E-Arena somehow sniffed it out. I don't know what kind of tech they're working with, but that was impressive. And they turn it around, and only Salute gets away. And then for Salute to have such a high impact on the end of this game after that is actually really impressive.
Yeah, I'm so torn on the Genji situation, because it's like, okay, yeah, they got themselves the second place after MiTH was able to take first there, but that was like off the back of 3 amazing games in that finals, and then everything else was a total dud, Martin. So I'm still very concerned for this Genji roster, honestly.
Yeah, a little bit worried for them for sure. Again, looking at the roster, you just think it's such a legendary roster that they should be able to make moves here. I like the Clarice push out of this one here, but what a way for Dog Juice with 1 HP getting 2 guys down. He made it down to 1v1 with Glass, and obviously the clutch is there. Oh, such a... You guys lost your mind, but I did too. That was such a cool one.
Clawing at his eyes.
They're like spinning around next to him. It's like, get out of the way! 18 points.
I stopped bullets for you, boss!
Jam the Expendables with 18 points as well. That's an important one here from this compound mark, as they're able to try and push up a bit as well.
Yeah, and it was really hard to hold. A lot of teams obviously crashing in there to try and defend multiple. We saw in the highlights, actually, the drop shots that went in. But they were able to claw out those kills was massive. For me, back onto the Crazy Raccoons, they had to have a salvation game. Yes, they got 18 points, but they dropped the ball game #1. So that kind of puts them back in the fight here. As Toffees, as you said, mate, when they're at the top of the leaderboard, they play very differently. I'm worried now at their position.
Yeah. A huge start for the East here, Toffees. Look at that.
I mean, they went 16 to 4th, so good for the Crazy Raccoons here. The Expendables, so they're going to get a lot of kills and an insane amount of damage, but that's because they had the only compound going into the end game and just sat him on the roof hurting people.
It's not just Tambu, also Duck Juice does 1,000 damage as well.
Yeah, and Corey's got 5 kills. They just sat there, though. Like, they had such a good spot with such good roofs, Martin.
Yeah, it was insane. But yeah, here we go. Glass smash with 3 kills, and P also gets 4, but they could have gotten more out of it, I feel like. Again, it was the same case as we saw yesterday, guys, where a little bit too passive to ensure they get the win rather than taking space and making sure they can get more kills. And those extra few points when you're already kind of secured to get the win. Sure, Glass went up against Dog Juice in the end, and yeah, of course, this is going to be the man of the match. 1,286 damage is insane.
Is that top? Or didn't Hakatori beat it once? I can't remember, Martin. I'm trying to recall off the back of these PGSs.
Hakatori had way more. He had like 1380 something, 14. Just like it was
but he probably did with like 26 kills too. Like that's
no doubt.
He goes big. He goes big.
1v4 lobbies. Like, okay, all right, mate. Calm down, Hakatori. But that's a huge result from the Expendables. There are a lot of damage being done. If we were playing fantasy right now, Mark, that'd be a lot of points for us to be able to soak up if we're chosen those boys. Oh,
100%. You've got to put with your team. Good game. I really enjoyed that. I think that's going to set the mood definitely for day #1. We've had 2 explosive games, and obviously teams kind of warming up. So interested to see if they can keep that sort of momentum going, especially from that left-hand side of that lead.
All right, it's time to go to a break. And when we return here, we are going to get things rolling with game at #3 for this grand final of the circuit stage.
So like 12 hits durability for a pickaxe, and we're good to go.
Hello everyone, welcome to our first edition of Patch Talk. I'm joined by NAVI's Ari, Falcon's Gunner, and Liquid's Extreme. Hi guys, hi.
Hello.
Well, we're about to talk about some business, you know, some patch updates, you know, the newest edition, Destructible Terrain. I want to know, what was your first reaction when you guys saw the updates?
I think it's a good change because, as you can see from these games, people are able to play positions normally that they wouldn't be able to play. And like now they have to plan for it. Like some teams are using mortars to create dips for themselves or using their own grenades to create dips if they don't have a pickaxe. So
Destruction can just even everyone, like everyone will be on the same level regarding terrain knowledge. But actually it brings some enthusiastic, some interesting plays, some spontaneous positions that never played before. So I think it's creative and it's good. But I also agree, like pickaxe doesn't add to that. From what I know right now, it's about 12 hits to get as deep as possible. So like 12 hits durability for a pickaxe, and we're good to go.
Seems like you guys have been using the update to your advantage, right? But when you're facing other teams like in the server, what makes it tricky for you then? Like,
I think actually one of the trickiest parts is if you want to go and mortar somewhere in the zone, then there's a chance someone steals that from you. Like they can see the mortars coming in,
you can see it, yeah.
And then they'll take it in front of you, and then that could be a big problem there.
did someone else some good?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And now let's switch gears and talk about Dragon Knowledge. What was your first reaction to it?
Yeah, when it first came out, it was really strong just because of the one tap headshot from like 100 meters or so. But then they nerfed it, I think, too much. And then I think they buffed it, maybe like 85 meters or something. We don't typically use it very much, just because the 5.5 DMRs are still like just more accurate, and it's also you can carry more ammo because it weighs less.
I think it's hard to find the balance with this weapon because usually in PUBG we either have DMRs which are consistent but low damage, you cannot headshot with that, or you have SRs with one shot, one opportunity. So Dragunov is some kind of between those two, and yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining me. That was some beautiful insight from the three gentlemen, and I hope to catch more of you guys later.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, which team's going to be able to lead themselves down the correct path as we now move into game number 3? It will be Taego here, and so far, so good for Made in Thailand. Man, if they can make it happen 2 times out of 3 here in this circuit, that would be magic. Joining me, I've got Avenger Toffees and Mark Power to be able to talk about this one. Mark, this is so far so good for them. The Expendables, though. Jeez, I cannot believe the amount of damage that they did in this game.
Oh, a huge game for them. Puts them in second place now as well. So they're in clutching distance. And again, if they can keep ahead, they can keep their foot on the gas, and that keeps them rolling the right direction. But there are teams sort of biting at them. So I'm interested to see how Supers do. They've been kind of thereabouts, unable to convert late games. So interesting to see maybe today if they can try and get a win. That's going to inject inject them into the conversation of topic, because we are a best of 15 and these guys prefer it.
Yeah. Well, let's listen in on an interview with our winners just from the previous game. It's Glaz from Crazy Raccoon.
Hi guys, it's Bella. I'm standing here with Crazy Raccoon's Glass. Well, top of the day for you, starting out great today. Definitely changed up things for match 2. How is the team feeling? I know this PGS has a lot of pressure on the team. 이제 두 번째 매치에 분위기 전환을 확실하게 성공하신 이제 크레이지 라쿤인데 팀 분위기에 대해서 좀 들어보고 싶어요. 이번 PGS가 상당히 부담되는 것도 알고 있긴 하거든요.
막 경우에 저희가 지금 EWC 진출하기 위해서 좀 하고 있는데 경우에서 따지면서 이렇게 하기에는 너무 좀 부담스럽고 오히려 더 좀 힘들 것 같아서 그냥 1등 아니면 안 된다는 생각으로 그냥 1등만 하자 이러면서 얘기하고 하고 있어요.
I mean, we definitely want to qualify for EWC, and rather than thinking about all the probabilities that we have, I was just thinking with the team, hey, maybe just think of winning this and just keep our eyes on that as well. All right, well, thank you, Glass, and I'll see you for the next one as well. 안녕, 감사합니다.
갓겜.
Oh, a generational flub there from say the word.
Say it.
But I mean, it's understandable why they might be concerned about EWC, right? 16th place in PWS Grand Finals. That did not lend them well at all. But anyway, let's get into game number 3. Toffees and Mark will get you back in after this one. It's going to be me and Martin to do the Tego thing as we do rock and roll for game number 3. It's going to be tough here, Martin, for these teams to be able to get over to the west side of this circle, that's for sure.
That's not how you introduce this map. You say, it's time to Tego!
Bosh, bosh, bosh.
Bosh, 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 bosh. We are starting over by Shipyard, James. It's going to be northeast playing down to the south. It's kind of difficult to get into your area. And we've seen before some shenanigans of, you know, DN Subas trying to get into Go Dog and some of the other teams trying to get to Palace. So let's see how the teams end up trying to enter their looting area. Some amount of circles we've had up here in the northeast. We've actually had quite a few up where we include both shipyard and airport and all that kind of area around the two rivers that are splitting into the smaller one here close to Yeongcheon. So big benefit so far to VP and to Twist the Mind for those home turf circles. Let's see where we do end up. I do hope we're gonna be close to some, you know, maybe a hospital, maybe an old gang. Maybe change it up just a little bit.
You say that. We had so many of those south circles for a while, and then it went
north.
Yeah, but
there was more Songam, no?
We had some Songam. We added down to the bottom southeast as well every so often. Right. It was a little bit crazy, but yeah, I mean, it's been quite diverse since those circles, so it's not too bad at all here for PGSs, as now here, Crazy Raccoons very much in the focus for this one. However, they didn't quite do the same damage as the Expendables did. And I still have, I was saying whilst we were watching that match here, Avenger, I think that, yeah, it's great that Crazy Raccoons can get a win on the board. And the circle kind of favors them here as we take a look at that as well a little bit. But I don't see them as a team that's going to be able to...
フィッシングキャンプあたりまでは行かないから、中央から右側にはなりそうだね、アンチは。
Yeah, I respect that. I do think we see a lot of games where it's like Crazy Raccoon is, and I said it as well on the desk here, I don't think they take enough space. I don't think they, you know, grab that opportunity to get the points that they need to take. Yeah, like sure, they just won a game, but they're 4th and 18. Our leaders after these games here with Mist on 36 points, like they doubled that. And sure, they've had a very good game, but still, like when you win a game, you should be up there. You should be close to first place. You should be within a striking distance, but they're just not proactive in a lot of their findings here. Sure, they have legends on the team, and as the guys obviously through this one here only got 8 kills, I feel like there was, you know, maybe 2, 3, 4 more kills kind of open and kind of available to them. But they're so focused on staying 4 guys alive and making sure that late game was theirs.
Understandably so. Some difficult terrain for them to actually have to move on through here for this game, as well as obviously they were sometimes on some of these transitions they were open a little bit to the Expendables, but they were able to deny some of those shots coming on forwards. So fear for Crazy Raccoon. Maybe I would love to see these teams that I keep saying, yeah, you're not going to get podium. I'd love to see them prove me wrong. Go and do it. That'd be fantastic. Because it means that we just open it. Yeah, it means we just open up even more to like inter-regional success, right? Like more and more teams from all of these regions are going to be able to play up to a higher standard and a higher level.
No, more shenanigans happening over here with the Expendables.
止まってるよ。
The Falcons boys, shots are coming in, nades are coming in.
おー、いいグレー。
Done here straight to Wang F. Kickstart gets that, and he actually drops the nades with the confirm immediately on it. Now the other guys are disengaging. Just
もう一枚いるのは分かってるからね。
These two guys, they just dropped double.
車同士の戦いもあるよこれ。グスターボ落とされて。
Dogjuice finds him with the ace and the headshot.
Yeah, not bad.
バーティクルトンも落とされたが、この1枚は早めに倒したい。いやもうマジでいいグレー。すごい。これまあ疑似的な1対2の連続。この車落としきれればでかい。もう瀕死ではある。うわ落とした。これ2対1。
That's very important. It's all on Duckjuice now to be able to make something happen, and then Falcons could potentially get the entire reset off the back of the Stiggletons now. All good to go.
Yeah, super well executed by them. Well played by them here with the pull-up. Kickstart doing so much, yeah. From hero to zero. Sure, they got a second place, but still, they got a lot of points in that last game here. 23 points.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
In
your book, they might have won. In your heart, they might have won that last game after what we saw. But
when I see two players doing 1,200 damage and 1,000 damage, I'm like, yeah, that kind of makes a ringing kind of in your head. Definitely. But the Myth now being the third party here does throw an extreme spanner in the works, and they're circling them here, Avenger, like sharks.
Yeah, sharks in the water. Now we need to see Falcons get rid of Dogjuice. Or maybe have another fight with Myth. I like the idea from Myth here that you're able to third party from a distance, get your DMRs or your bolts out, do a little bit of damage.
Duckjuice is going to be dead right soon.
Oh, okay. Spotted. Easy peasy by Kiss. 16th place here for Expendables.
Very nicely done. Man, is Myth suddenly, I mean, I say suddenly, but like, they look dialed in to start off today.
Wow.
Rephrasing completely as Winder takes down Himas. Oh, jeez. Anyone's legend.
勘違いだからね。まあ待っとけばいい気がするな。で起こして、まあムーブ自体は遅くなるだろうけど。
Looks like Winder's going to go for more damage here.
3ポイントと思えば。
Nade forwards. Good connect.
3ポイントだと。
Really good util from Delvin.
1枚
fragging IGL here. Stolen away from Expendables last year to get him into this roster now. And sure, Tanwu's going to be joining them as Destroy will be taking the bench for PNC. Now, that's a Panzerfaust and it's him in his hand. That's a great Panzer. Oh, he actually missed him. He went for the shot onto him instead. Shen finds Destroy here. That's a little bit of a blinder, actually, for the boys.
I'm going to be honest. The Panzerfaust for the individual shot is psycho. That's crazy. SMMA is down now, though. Delwyn just... being an annoyance. Big turtle right now, moving on around slowly and causing some big damage. Yeah, what can you do, Shen?
Spaceman also very capable of getting some damage done. He slows it down to half HP. Still have a BRM in play. More shots come in here. Has to jump back into the BRM now. 4M is circling to try to get SMM back up here. I don't think it's going to happen, though. I think Delvin finds the flush on him shortly.
Interesting conflicts going down, right? The Falcons one being stuck where they were, going up against the Expendables, and now this one as well. Quite uncommon that you get these kinds of run-ins into each other early in a tournament, early in these game phases. Delwyn circling. Wait a minute. Okay.
I mean, eventually it's just going to be a rest on SMM, no?
You think so?
We'll see. He's down to 40% HP. That's 40 seconds. So Lozzy's going to try to get him.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? As much as Delwyn is keeping Spaceman in check, Spaceman's also keeping Delwyn in check. So Lozzy coming along, though, for that counter. And goes for it. Oh, Delwyn with the sword off jumps out just as the drive-by comes along. So yeah, they were kind of keeping both in check at the same time, but anyone's legend with the smarter play in the end. And that's what a BRDM will afford you, right? Big nades move forwards, though, against NAVI. First Pro stuck in this as well. They're trying to dislodge some of NAVI at the moment. Craters have already gone down, so there was some more ordnance coming down before all of this, before we actually joined onto it. And another one. Oh, bounce down! Disaster!
pull up on NAVI. Corrects
わー
down
な
off spot. She gets spared
でも
down.
まあいい
Hackatory pull
トレー
up
ド
gets
か
her, corrects it down.
スパイラーは落ちる必要な
No,
か
a
っ
lot of
たけど
damage
ね
done
今
on
の
both sides here. They're gonna get the confirm. Hackatory on. A lot of damage done. 28 HP down. Hackatory now as he gets the bleed out. Nixie tries to get this damage done.
It's interesting. Whoever wins this out, they've got
Oh,
crates
it's
outside as well. Tiantian, though, is joining for a third party. This is scary stuff here. Ferris now gonna have to duck into the corner.
いやいいグレ
cars to try and keep himself safe here. Can't go for the save either. Goes for the steep swamp to try and go for it. Nice stuff here against Lukarux. But here comes the reinforcement. Surely, where is the next person? Okay, Ferris takes him down as well. There's no way. Is he gonna go for a triple? He tries to no. Nixie will take him down in the very end. That was way too close for comfort.
That got way too dicey here. He's going to go for a heal, and the other guy's going to get rest out. Shots coming in from the side, but I feel like it's not going to be enough time here for DNS to get human. He's pulling up above the compound, but a little bit of a slide in. Run res comes off. I think they're going to be able to defend it, but Supers, I like this idea here. They know that VP is a strong team. As the pull-ups happens here, and they're actually disengaging completely here from it.
I think that's kind of smart there. You got to cut your losses there at Verse Pro. It's going to be difficult to get double res off in that moment when they know which building those fights are in that send nades forward. Shen Gong Delwyn in the kill feed, doing good work against him here, but DN Supers put the nail in here against Virtus Pro. I will say again, Ferris seek swap and maneuvers there. Fantastic stuff. He's really come into his own alongside this roster.
Yes,
really well played.
So unfortunate. Third party comes in from the side. Is that 17 hitting shots onto DN Supers? BB's just going to bleed out here. They expected an aggressive pull-up. They could have been 3 guys alive here. 17. The aggression is not coming in.
Yeah, I thought maybe 17 was looking for extra angles here to be able to put some pressure on. And Nate goes forwards for Rex. That is a big shift here for Twisted Minds. As now for this fight, they kind of need things to finish up soon-ish. I mean, of course, the circle still has them in at the moment, but like you don't want to have this potential third party of 17 just shooting down on you after maybe you take some casualties as well.
すごいね。穴の量がえぐいけど。でもこれでわかるよね、その障害物がある時のどれぐらいまで掘れるかどうか。結構でかいね、判定。
Not been the best of showings for them so far. It's been salvage game on salvage game so far here, James. They've gotten the kills, they've gotten the positions, but the third party from other teams is having such an effect. Sure, Navi's down too, but still.
の周りはここまでしか掘れないってことでしょ、これ。
Championship potential from.
Yeah. It's created a weird situation as this game already, right? Because there's been so much fighting early on that teams like Falcons, for example, that got the blue chip on board just now, they're coming in late, but they're coming into a game where there's way less teams and players normally compared to this normal circle. So they might actually find some room later on. DN Supers going very aggressive on the left-hand side here. Nixie, though, does start things off. Lukarux gets hit in the back there as they both peek the same angle, and that's the cleanup for DN Supers. Unfortunate mishap there for Virtus Pro. They know that that's not great.
今ダイエル間ね。キルポイントを狙いに行ったけど取れなかった。
Stand up for the guys. I get that. That's an annoying third party as well, but that's just so smartly played here from DN Supers. And that's what happens if you're in early game and you're not able to quickly fence someone off and you have a prolonged fight. Teams are going to be looking for that third party. As Gustav flies back in here, he's going to be able to get back in onto the northern side of the circle here as other guys are going to have to get in. And Opons is just below him. He potentially sees cars here, but if this compound is open and free for grab, he's going to be able to get a little bit of loot, and the guys can get in and actually get inside that circle, backfill that northeastern side. Crazy Raccoon Vitality close to each other here, though, James.
They're creating themselves a landfill in the middle of the circle. Crazy Raccoons, these cheeky guys, alongside Levante as well. All of these teams, you know what? They said to themselves, yeah, we know that there's probably a team over the hill, and I'll keep looking each time I go for a swing, but you know what? Let's just dig our own holes and live peacefully amongst the trees together.
So, with some shots towards T1. Oh, connecting just a little bit here as he's fending T1 off. They're actually getting towards the circle, towards Petrica Road, towards Crazy Raccoon. Soul finds Heather. Big name to take down with a headshot with MK12.
Still slowly rolling up on them, and they're still taking a lot of shots of Genji against that position. Hello, my bad, still watching Crazy Raccoon's spot. As, you know what? Okay, I've got the perfect way to make the pickaxe balanced. Actually, this is a terrible idea. Just make the audio cue extremely loud. Like, it'll have no effect on it whatsoever. But yeah, exactly. Every time. Bosh!
OP すぎるから、まあナーフの仕方分かったわ。
I don't think so either. I mean, they always
音をめちゃくちゃでかくしようって言ってる。
times where you don't have it. Anyway, Levante with a good nade here. Damage done to Yu-Young. Ooh, he's somewhat low here. The guy sees the angles on him. They're gonna be putting some pressure on him. Great nade from Levante finds Yu-Young here now. Crazy Frog under lots of damage here.
ファルコンズ、今やっと中に入れたね。
Yeah, throwing down some smokes, being aggressive on it as well. Let's watch out this fight, because then afterwards we can take a bit of a pivot elsewhere. As Nays go forwards against Gu, and let's shut this down for Vitality. This is perfect. If they clean this up, I don't think there's reinforcements coming here for Crazy Raccoon. I think they realize that they're stuck. Wait a minute, hello, Arena, where are you trying to fly in across the position here for Twisted Minds. They're going to take some shots against them, but they're dying past all this. Where are they going? Come back!
Get back here! What are you doing? As everything lines up for them. Oh, okay, drives around like that. I like it. I like it. Okay, Arena trying to get a lot of space taken down and locked down early on there. Not really certain of where they want to end up. It's just going to be cars against rocks and get the pickaxes out. They don't have a high ground. They don't have more cover than that, but it is somewhat of an off area here northwest of Buksansa.
Yeah, no doubt. Let's get some more digging going on. But while this is all going on in the center, this will lay low for a moment. Let's check in with the Falcons comms and see how they're going to enter from this east side of this circle.
Falcons no VC.
Slightly low presence here and try to get info.
Yellow's really low presence. No one's shooting. I don't see any cars. Can we just drive scout that? Check the backside?
Yeah, looking.
Can you drive scout it?
Doing it. I'm doing it.
Go on the north, honestly. Don't go uphill to the south.
I think the south
is good. By blue. Okay.
No, but it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be south. South's good. I'm good.
I think we should be hitting this as 4, boys.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, it looks so low presence.
BRDM's driving into it. Or
I don't see any. It's max 2 inside then if it's myth.
Yeah, BRDM is on the north side of the street.
I'm hitting left, guys.
Gas station team.
少しずつだね。
Well,
本当に情報ない
compound,
って
they
感
had
じ。
no information, but in a previous circle or a previous game where it had more players in that compound would almost certainly be taken. But they've been fortunate to get in there. Nobody's there. There's just been so much death already in this game, Avenger.
Yeah, that's been laying the hammer down. A lot of rest has already come in here, and only Gen G is actually locking down that Books on South. It's very congested to the northern side of this road already here, James, with Petrichor Road obviously locking down the central side of where the secret room is, and the 3 guys is in the middle. Arena also spreading out. There's gonna be so many moles. There's gonna be so many holes that's gonna be dug out towards that high ground and ridge area. That's a good mortar towards Pew. Now he's got a cover. Put the car in there and you're safe.
Well, Tian was the one sending those mortars forwards, and then Tian Super decides to knock him when he tries to go for a little bit more. So a little bit of a reprieve here from one Korean team to another. Not bad at all. Wait a minute, Heaven has a mortar as well. Where's he going to plant this one, actually? This is going to go for one of the double splits here from 17 Gaming. I think he really wanted to try and follow up the knock. But obviously it's going to be a little bit delayed with that shift north. All those teams in that hillside in the forest gonna be so happy with that. I think is 17 gonna move?
I mean, oh my god, look at that. Anyways, this is coming in, going all the way over to Buksansa here. Genji's potentially gonna pick a lot of that up here. If you're trying to dodge even more of that mortar fire, it's actually a really good circle. You've seen similar, not a lot of high ground cover, not a lot of hard cover as well, except for the Twisted Minds area.
うわ、落としてるぞ。2人?
Yep, the 2-2 split here for 17 Gaming. I mean, technically, yes, they are able to have 2 alive because they're not all in the same spot, but now they're going to try and reinforce that 2-2 split. DN Supers is taking some shots out of that car as it does move that way. Another shot from mortar range all the way down. Can they get the recovery? I don't think they can get one up at least, because that will be bleed out very soon here unless they move right now to be able to get it going. Okay, smokes. Maybe we can get on Tiantian. It's going to be quick. But DN Supers is moving around here on the backside of this here. Maybe they can get a little bit of a spot to be able to shut this down.
Yeah, you'd assume so.
See
how they move up and move into this one here, though. Oh, it's a little bit rough on the western side here. DN Supers is taking a lot of space on the southwest outside the circle, making sure that they're going to be that only team to get in now. Human taking a lot of the shots towards the 17 position here, trying to get space created.
Off angle. Here comes the off angle. Can he find him though? The problem is those dips that have been created by those mortar shots give him a bit more cover to work with. If those weren't there, yes, this would be open here for that rock to be able to shoot at, but not the case at the moment. Falcons on this east side now knows that Twisted Minds, or at least their team, is ahead of them up at the top. And Gen G also, you know what? Seoul doing some work against T1 in the kill feed, so not bad at all. That is a little bit further down in the south, outside the circle though.
Resurgence of Gen G in this game, potentially. Soul's down there, man. He's flushed by him as another legend in the kill feed. Raining finds him as well. So much action here. It's very, very congested towards that central position. Crazy Raccoon is in there. The arena holding that southeast spot. Twisted Minds has the hard cover, and they have high ground positions with fortifications, with holds dug out here. Heather drives straight in. Actually, so unfortunate for T1 here. Last time they were able to do so well in PGS3, they got third place with 93 points, and now they've gone out earlier, and they're the last place team currently. Talk about 0-0.
Not what you'd expect for sure. Not happy with that one. And now, as this circle continues to bear down, you got a feel for Crazy Raccoon, who lost Guyon early. That means, of course, it kind of stifles a little bit of their growth in the middle of this circle at the moment. Heaven, this is the replay here from this mortar shot, showing just how easily they were able to take with 17. But 17 recovered, and DN Supers just had to bail from the off angles that they were trying to take against 17. They didn't think it was worth it. And this circle once again. All right, this is the game where the West fights back, Martin. This is an opportunity for them for sure.
Yeah, we'll see Falcons probably shifting on the southern side along this ridge here, as we see teams trying to move in here. Lane was with that. That's a great ult up at the Pong here, getting straight out of that mole hole and getting damage done here. Jacob also had him impacted just a little bit as Myth is going to try to make moves here. Opoin's got obviously the confirmation onto Delvin here. Glass is open to get drugs. Vitality. There's so many dog out holes here in this whole circle, James. It's going to be difficult to get entered.
Yeah, it's tough. If you start doing what Arena somehow managed to do from the north side, where they just drove all the way from the north, like, that's going to be deadly, right? There's just so many little traps set up for you in a circle like this now. As DN Super is going to reposition some of their vehicles on this west side. They have kind of forced 17 Gaming to go all the way around on the north there because of the pressure they were putting on earlier. And for some of those teams in the middle, man, I think they've been waiting for this defense for a good 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah, they know exactly how to set up the lines here. Gen G falls out in 11th place, second last place currently, 6 points total so far. But look how close it is. All the way up to 8th place is only 8 points. So one good game and you're flying up. See Gen G's cameras on that side. We have Falcons entering. They're going to be getting in and kind of getting involved with this Myth and Arena fight potentially on this southwest side. They also have a team in between them. It's anyone's Legends Destroys in there too.
Yeah, still the BRDM, right? Surely. So they're just sitting there, and I guess Falcons kind of has to ignore it. Or is it actually? I can't even see on that right-hand side. But anyway, still Falcons looking to find another angle against all of this. Singleton takes down Example. Okay, he's kind of the one that they left behind to make sure no backfills happen on from that north side. So putting a lot of faith in Tiggleton to be able to do something. If you take down Example, not bad at all.
And get him involved. Myth, look at that. Dude, him actually having such a great... Oh, I thought it was cooked even better. Pong would have taken more than the 41 damage he did. Monitz is coming in. He changed the hole, and it actually worked out perfectly for him. Though now the hole is even bigger, and he can actually crawl in. Involvement from Falcons is happening now, though, with the third party onto Arena and Myth.
Yeah, they might be keen for this one. At the same time, though, Destroyer's on the back line here, and I don't think they fully know exactly where he is. He's being slow about it. Tiggleton's going to reinforce that position, see if they can shoot some shots downrange from them, see if they can do some damage here to E-Arena or Myth. But Twisted Minds is actually shooting towards Falcons as well, so they've got to be a little bit careful about the lines of sight. And they find Destroy, so that is going to be him gone here as Gustav's able to take him away.
That'll be huge. Gustav gets that confirmation on him and gets the point done, and it's a central circle here. Look at the amount of teams on the western side that's gonna have to make moves though now. Petrica Road, it's D and Super, it's 17. Vitality's gonna creep in, it's gonna be fine. Eventually we're gonna see a fight with 17, potentially with Vitality as well. I see Super's potentially third partying that fight too, but let's see what Petrica Road does once it comes to it. MiTH Arena not inside the circle, and Falcons really looking to pounce this fight here. You can see how they're trying to set up a potential line for a third party, James. It's actually kind of perfect.
Definitely been some slower late games in these three. Oh, ball 3 completely missed the mark and go over Opons. That's a shame. But yeah, slower late games for these three, understandably so. Triple the prize pool here for the circuit final, as well as huge PGS points and the ramifications that come with that as well. So understandable that all of these teams are biding their time, being very careful. Lou taken down as 17 Gaming lords over the fact that they've been able to get rid of him. Now actually pushing around. I think they realized that was Twisty Minds and they've already lost one in the kill feed.
That's so smart. Such a smart third party. Jumps on the roof as well.
Wow,
not a lot of damage done to him. He's going to be able to heal if Perfectix jumps out. Then glass breaks. So can have information here now. Sees Platoon is on the roof here. Shots are coming in here. Actually gets him down. Shrimps is taken down. That's a big name to get off the kill feed. Great underhand nade here from Gustav. Does not connect onto him though. Xiao Wu finds Platoon. So third party from 17 is also happening here. They have so much base in the north now from the disengage. Oh, huge nade from Perfectix. Finds the confirmation onto Shrimpsy and gets Tickleton knocked down with a nade.
Even if it's only a 3-man of Twisted Minds, you cannot take them lightly at all. As much as this was a really smart move from Falcons, it's not gone well in the slightest. As now, obviously, Twisted Minds wants this fight done fast so they can try and get to Petulins as quickly as possible. There will be no reses here in these moments. They've got to try and deal the damage that they can. Perfectix takes down Tiggleton. They need to find Kickstart. I think he might have seen him on the right-hand side corner there. Was he peeking through the smoke? Yes. So throws a nade forwards here. I don't think they're going to find time here to be able to get this up and running. It's just the 2-man now. Here, Xiao Wu shutting down some of this as well. What a third party here from 17. If they're able to get something big off this game, 17 Gaming, considering what they came in from on that west side.
That really talks to how important it would have been to get an example out earlier, but you know, here we go. For sure. 17 getting space, taking space, being proactive on that northern side. That's all I'm talking about. That's so important. And it does damage to both Falcons and Twisted Minds. Two very big names to get out. D and Super is out in 6th place as Heaven go down to Nurens here. The Arena really been surprised to be able to survive from that northern side, considering the crunch they were under, as they are 2 guys up. And Opons finds Pio.
You'd really think as well in a circle like this, with how many people are alive on each of these teams, Vitality is licking their lips at the moment.
Oh my god!
But at the same time, Opons goes crazy here for Arena down on the south side here, cleaning up everything over there. So that is big. Vitality's going to move on that. They realize that that south side might be cleaned up a little bit more. That will open up some room for them to be able to take some of this hillside and then have a little bit of leverage against anybody moving in the north. It looks like they don't want to take the fights just directly to 17 Gaming just yet, but would rather play for Circle, and I think it's smart.
Yeah, very, very smart here. Now with this circle going in this direction here, Twisted Mind's gonna have space here. But let's see what Vitality does. Being a 4-man alive, if they have good kill feed, they know that they are the stronger team. They're gonna have to take on a 17. Lil Ghost finds Levante, the top fragger of the team, taken down. That's such a big name to take out, and getting involved is huge.
ちょっとあれだよね、リスク管理できてなかった感はすごいけどね、遮蔽がなかった。
Being very concerned about what 17 Gaming is bringing to the table at the moment. 17 wrapped in north side of Vitality, was able to come in on that north side and still put on a massive pressure against Twisted Minds. Now he's putting pressure on here against Vitality as well. As much as they had this central spot for such a long time in this game, 17 is such a thorn in the side for everybody.
Are they gonna get the res on him? He gets to hard cover behind the tree and smokes are out. 17 might have thought that they're going to be able to get involved and then go back to the other side. Now Samuel also another big player to get involved with here. Let's see if 17 can actually make this happen. Twist is mounted down to just a 2-man here, James.
If you're Arena right now, you're just watching this or hearing this going down across the way and thinking to yourself, just wait for this to all unfold.
FPP だったら消してもいいけど、そうそう。TPP の場合は目付きの方がいい。こういう見方するから。
Example takes down Little Ghost, who was able to do so much explosive damage to Vitality earlier on. They did recover though. Nurens now does see Twisted Minds.
Wow!
That nade from Xiao Wu!
集めたのはいいアリーナなのに CG が潰した。
Yeah, Xiao Wu, huge nade to get that done here. And Arena's 8 kills, and Opons have had such a big game. they have spread out on the southwest and the southeast side to put pressure on both teams, maybe trying to fend them towards each other here. Vitality very, very passive, considering that they're a 4-man alive against 2 teams that only have duos here. I'd like to see more proactivity from them, more aggression, maybe move as a full 4-man to try to get a team out of here. The other teams are definitely going to try to turtle their way into late game here. They've got the lay of the land right in front of them. They actually have such good space though, James. It's looking like a Vitality game and a Vitality chicken dinner for sure.
You'd think so. Crazy scenario though that I'm like still concerned for a Vitality who, you know, we watched them 2v4 Petrichor into 2v4 Falcons. Now they're 4 alive against 2 duos. And it's a quieter Vitality, right? I mean, of course, they've been able to play down a lot of terrain, place down a lot of deployable cover, and they still have a lot of util available to them as well. But there is a world where maybe a little bit of a sandwich could come back to bite them here.
See Harusen and Mr. Talk and that Vitality seat there. It's getting very hot here. They're hoping for that chicken dinner to get in. And of course, with how everything is lined up here, it does look like E-Arena and 17 is kind of going towards the same direction. And if you're those 2 teams as well, James, you're thinking, if I get those 2 kills, that's obviously 2 points for the kills, but also the placement guaranteed. That's where I would take my fight if I knew that Vitality was a full 4-man strong, considering what we saw from them yesterday as well. Levante dropping a 20 bomb in just a set of 5 games is obviously huge.
Yeah. If you're following the match log here as these teams, you should have a good lay of the land, right? So for them, should be okay. Now still digging themselves in here, Xiaowu and Wembois. E-Arena down on that southeast side, I should say. I think you're right. I think that eventually these teams might be corralled into one another. Vitality will be the main one to benefit. It's not the biggest win if they're able to get it here, Vitality, but a win is a win. They've been sat in the middle of this circle for a long, long time, and I think that one very important thing was them, again, dealing with Glaz, as Crazy Raccoon was south of them, trying to dig in on the central spot as well. And if they'd have been 4-man, it could have been a completely different story, but they weren't. They were 3, they were wounded, and definitely teams took exploiting of that. Zopons, who's already got 4, to start things off against 17.
A lot of nades on both sides. Here.
이 도구정.
And then straight onto Nurens. Shots around. Swings around. Opons gets another one. And Xiaowu finds Opons at 17. He's just going to run out and deny. Xiaowu, though, 6 kills. Great effort from 17 and a perfect third party onto the Falcons. But it is going to be Vitality taking this chicken dinner here, James.
でもいいアリーナよくポイント上げたね。
Not the biggest win, but a win indeed. Let's bring Mark and TWIS back in here for this one. A quiet Tego towards the end with some explosive moments here, TWIS, but it will be Vitality with the win.
Xiaowu learned that move from Furia.
Oh,
He
no.
runs out to just
Oh my
god. What a cruel man.
シャウは今の
Exactly.
That is true.
No, but I,
ポイント
okay, for
ポイン
me,
ト
yes,
遮
it
断
was a
相
quiet
手に
game.
対して
I
のポ
want
イ
to
ント
give
遮
shout
断
to
は
Opons, though.
フィーリャ
Like,
から鳴ら
that
した
was
ね
putting in work
冗談交じ
every
りに
chance he had. He refused to let E-Arena get
早すぎ
eliminated.
ネタにするの早すぎる
For sure. Mark?
Yeah, you can't take anything away. Pressure applied. Talk about pressure. I felt Vitality had some opportunities to go get some more kills, especially when we start sort of fighting on the south. But they were key set and focused on getting a win. So not a bad win for them. The mid pack, that's going to launch them up a little bit. It might be the reward they need.
I like that little bit of synchronized walking that they had in that video just then there from Vitality. That was nice. But let's take a look back at some of the highlights from this game because, oh dearie me, did we start off hot, Avenger. Again, going into the later stages of this game, right, with like 4 teams, sorry, mid-game with 4 teams already dead, opened up a lot of space for teams, and that's why it was kind of slow.
Yeah, and it did. And also, it had to, considering the playable space that it had. But yeah, kickstart another big clutch for him here to pull up onto Expendables after their confidence boost in the previous game. But yeah, clutch moments, also really weird moments with obviously Mortars very early. We had so much BDM play, and here you see, of course, it was anyone's Legends that got T1 down, as we didn't catch that on our main screen. But Opons, huge clutch. Xiaowu 6 kills as well. I think it's in between Opons and Xiaowu who gets the man of the match.
Yeah, probably. Lopon's looking great for this one. Again, it baffles me how the longevity of 17 can occur, Mark. When you look at, they were under so much pressure on that west side, and they're like, you know what, we'll just go north, we'll play north, see what we can get done. And then they're also getting extra kills from there as well. 17 Gaming is world class.
Yeah, world class, but they spend half the time looting as well. But was out looting all the crates, but somehow they get away with it, and it does baffle me. But they seem to find space. I think that's what 17 Gaming is really, really good at. They're able to find this sort of location. They're able to fight the teams they need to fight. Yes, it was looting a lot of the crates, but no one's really challenging those positions.
14 points go their way. Arena with 14 as well. And this, actually, looking at how these points are divided, it really does tell the tale of this game, right? Just very, very steady for a lot of teams. 13 points for Team Vitality. It is rare, Toffees, you see a team win the game, but not even be first or second.
Yeah, I mean, there was so much movement by the hustle from 17, who climbs up really, really nice. But for me, it's Arena. Another good game from them, puts them at 27. But who can catch Made in Thailand? Like, it's 11 points down to second place, and even more if you go down from there. Like, these guys started strong and just keep finding kills.
Definitely doing all right here, Made in Thailand. Not bad at all. And again, anytime it's like also stepping on a landmine, Mark, right? Anytime like suddenly like Scappy or Kiss maybe as just a 2-man or even a solo still alive, they're still a big danger in this lobby.
Yeah, you can't let the pawn Kiss, right? I mean, you guys dabbed it the kiss of death, and I think he's got it for a reason. They refuse to go down, but we're seeing teams apply pressure to them. So especially when they kind of hit the kill feed and they're stuck, should we say, on the outside of the zone, more teams are maybe focusing them. So yes, they're in the lead at the moment, guys. Can they hold on? I'll be interested to see. The big thing for me, how did Vitality get the win? They're third on the match leaderboard. They've only gone up 1 place. Like with this amount of kills, jeez.
Yeah, let's call a spade a spade. This is one of the sadder wins that we've seen for a while.
It's one of those wins where you're like, don't show the stats. Like, if you're Team Vitality, you're like, just leave it as a W.
There you go.
Yes.
I love it.
Oh, pardons.
How did Quizzy have a kill with 0 damage done? What did he do? Was it nades only? Is that what?
Theft.
Stealing.
Yeah, stealing. True. Yeah.
Probably stole it from
It doesn't
Opons.
count,
Grand
does it?
Theft Auto.
Yeah.
Oh dear me, that's such a weird scoreline to read there for Vitality. They'll take it. A win is a win, of course, but gosh, it was so slow. So yeah, that's how Otego kind of breaks down here. And Toffee's looking at how all this stands, right? Again, I was saying, oh yeah, maybe this is a fight back from the West, but it didn't feel much like it, to be honest, when we looked at it at the end.
Yeah, I mean, you saw Falcons got into some weird fight in Lord knows where with 3 separate teams on a late rotation. Then they hit Twisted Minds, and essentially both teams just kick themselves in the crotch and fall apart at the end of that match. And that seems to be the problem with the West. We get to these end games, and they're just having a face-kicking contest with each other, while our Eastern teams set up for really good finishes. So I think we got to figure out how to just avoid contact, because that seems to be the problem.
I thought the Falcons move was quite smart on the Twisted Minds location, but again, just didn't quite work out, right? Mark, I think that if they've somehow been able to work that out, maybe they are able to stage a good attack against maybe 17 if they push them, but 17 had a lot of that high ground potential against that position.
It goes back to what you were saying before, right? Falcons, obviously, we're looking to try and make that play to Myth on that south side. As me and Toffees looked at each other's eyes in the green room, we was worried about Destroyer from anyone's legend, causing a back-to-back disruption for Falcons, but able to find him this time, which was good. But you've got to give benefit where Falcons, they did play towards the north. They went for the crash on the compound, but the reaction speed from Twisted Minds, knowing that crash was coming, and they all collapsed onto that compound. Yes, it was kind of ensured destruction, but it was the right play from both the teams.
Yeah, it's funny, right? Because the Falcons' move is cool, Toffees, but Twisted Minds was in that compound for so long, they'd have probably gone through every eventuality in their mind. How are we going to defend this if this comes out? What are we going to do, etc.?
It was a good push, but it's against Twisted Minds, right? Like, if there is a team who's sort of planned for every possible angle, it's going to be them. They did the best they could. The thing that did impress me on the Falcons was that push that they were sharing. Jacob, I think, was coming from the opposite side to take a compound, and you heard Kickstart go, if you spotted that, he goes, if it's Myth, there's 2 max. Like, he knew the dirty count of each team, and they were coming in on a late rotation, so they didn't even have a chance to know what was coming ahead of them. So that, to me, is what's been shocking me with this team, is how well their counts and their communication has been.
Not bad at all. Avenger, thought before we get into the game?
Yeah, obviously, penultimate game here. Gotta put points on the board as MiTH is looking like they want to take it all once again here. Potential repeat winner?
Maybe. Not bad at all for the boys so far. Mark, Toffee's taking away game number 4 here for our circuit final.
Oh, get out of your condos, boys. It's time to rondos. Or if you prefer, are you ready to rondo? As we head into the next map of the day. You heard us give some love to the Falcons, but at the end of the day, they're stuck in the chase pack with only 14 points. Let's talk about those numbers right now, Mark. Twisted Minds, 14. Team Falcons, 14. Defending champs, Petrichor Road, 18. Anyone's Legend, who we thought would win this potentially, 8. Virtus Pro, 7. And then you go to the top with Made in Thailand at 41. And we can already say after 3 games, this is not going the way that we expected.
No, look, let me inject a few more teams in there. NAVI, 4 a.m., also on 7. You wouldn't expect it. I wouldn't expect it. We spoke about NAVI being quite strong coming into this and obviously the ability to I suppose, flex out. I don't think they'll be looking at day number 1 as the day they wanted. But yeah, back to your middle pack, like Falcons, Twisted Minds, Petrichor Road, all really in locations where we wouldn't expect. The only thing I can say, Toff, is for me, MiTH, Made in Thailand, yes, they might have got a win, but they got a win with a run at the end, right? So when you're ahead, it's a completely different mindset of a game. Like, you have to try and defend, you have to keep the average points up. But at what point do you start looking backwards and who tries to catch up? I don't know if they've got that in the tank. If we were talking about Twisted Minds, they're ahead and they're leading the charge. I don't quite see it at the moment.
Hey, I have an important question, though. All of us are clearly casting from, like, our basements, right? Like, are you in a starship or, like, a fancy cigar bar? I have to know, because whenever we go to those segments, I'm like, it is gorgeous back there.
Like, I'm in a room in my house on the top story.
Okay.
But I'm not in the basement. I'm on the 3rd level. Wicked.
You're so much higher than those neckbeards of us. All right, let's talk about Twisted Minds. Speaking of, example here, nice little loot up, great spot for them. They'll be largely uncontested. But here's the thing: we're going north right now potentially, and if it continues as it has today so far, I hope that we get to see a desert finish up on the north side, because it is so rare that we get to see that.
Yeah, flight path though, for those that might have missed it, it was from a north down towards the southwest. It did favour a little bit more that sort of west side, closer towards kind of Jiaotin, then sort of test track. Obviously, for our normal split on test track and in our factory is NAVI and Twisted Minds. But as you said, Toffee, is that kind of north section, that desert area. I really like it, especially where that river sort of curves around, because it's got such high ground and high potential that we are seeing GTE taking that position quite early. So they're looking to try and claim as much terrain as they can, because so many times the zone plays back that way, hold on to the high ground for so long, and then it comes down to who rotated there first.
Absolutely. It's going to be all about quick movements with this one. But again, it's also with that north of display. It means that all of our teams on that southwest side do have plenty of time if they want to shore up their loots, or more importantly, search for those e-pickups, because you know there will be safe drops. If you drop into that grid right in the V shape, never eat, on the east side of the circle between the rivers, you know no one's going to be there. So this is one of the safer locations to sort of grind scout your e-pickups and make late rotations if you need to.
I think rotations are going to be key, right? So many of these teams that are outside of zone, obviously a bigger map, right? So they have to rotate their way around. We saw VP obviously taking a couple of shots, though, at Crazy Raccoons. That's on the south side of zone. Both these teams, 1, have to get looted, but 2, have a huge rotation and arguably lots of entry points into this zone. So I'm intrigued to see where we go. As Hakatori, he's on his bike to get a few shots as he would chase him down. You don't need to give this man a car.
I would say that's so Hakatori, right? Like... I'll just need a bike, boss. I gotta go get some kills. He just grabs the bike. He's got a shotgun hanging off his back. Like, what is this guy even doing? He's got a double barrel, was headed out to do some trap shooting, and decided to stop his bike to go ahead and take some at a man who drives on by. So that's Navi in a nutshell. Hakatori on the world tour. Rondo.
Tour de Paris. Rondo. Tour de EWC. Hakatori, though, has seen our Perfectings, though, leaving, as we do get a little look back at the last round. And again, it was another round that a lot of migrations, a lot of those rotations were key. As you said, Falcons coming in quite late. I think pick up from MiTH was huge.
All right, let's look at that rotation vitality pushing up north. That was a really nice rotation. Look at how they thread that needle. shocking amount of players around them. Perfectly charted if you look at their lines on there, and no issues on that rotation. So that's why they didn't have a lot of kills, Mark, because they were smart.
Smart rotations doesn't equal kills. But I come back to that point I said, that they had opportunities to aggress onto third-party action, but they just didn't quite take that last step, that last sort of...
いいね、それ。チャリトリ。
sort of over the mountain, not too far away. They always ended a bit short, but maybe it was more of a case, well, look, we need a win, we need these 10 points, and we're in a position to get them, so why not?
I just like that the replay was them trying to find highlights of Vitality's win to show us on the replay. And we end up going, you know what, let's just show Opons. Because at the end of the day, that's where the hustle was. Opons put in work over and over again, takes the fight to Myth, then he comes over here and puts the work to Crazy Raccoons. 5 kills, and I think he got 6 knocks to go along with it. So this guy was a non-stop problem for everyone.
Yeah, he just refused to stop, right? He got the free pack, yeah. Really good play. This endgame, we were talking about it, right? It felt like trench warfare.
Wow.
Everyone in this position here had already dug a position. They're early in, they've dug themselves loads of foxholes, and everyone played out the foxholes to perfection.
I mean, he almost pulled off the wipe on 17. Like, he was out of control. We're going to call him the Exterminator. 3-piecing the Raccoons alone sets you up for that title, as now we jump over to the lads making their rotations here on the map. VP, also a team that we thought would be coming out swinging, and to only have 7 points after 3 games is actually pretty shocking for me.
It is pretty shocking. We see a crash now. This is one of these compounds up on this top side, so a key area. Having a quick look, Rex obviously goes past. Grenade just going through the window. Has to be cautious, though, as they are trying to make sure they clear every angle before making the play. But 17 game, we were here first. They just need to try and get the defense on.
Soup trying to slide through the car here as Rex slips around the outside, tosses a flash indoors, then slides to the left. He wants to get past that player who was holding the angle. Door is exploded. They're got another flash to push in. Panzerfaust to follow. They know Lil Ghost is inside, takes the Panzer, wraps around. Oh, nothing here, says Heaven, as they have cleared this one. But shot from the back. Nice try with the Panzerfaust, but nothing to come of it. Heaven does pull out a Molotov for the follow-up, though. Get on the tub.
Catches him on the molly as well. He should be okay.
Nice.
With a grenade to follow up, though. Heaven will put him down. They know people are here. They can hear the footsteps going around. 17 gaming, they've got 1 confirmed, but they've got a kill on the board themselves. 2 remain. So again, this is a key compound.
Yeah, the 2 players you don't want alive are Tian Tian and Xiao Wu, as they are holding strong here, trying to stop Soup as much as they can. But now Tian Tian falls, and I don't know if there's anything left. Xiao Wu up on this hill is going to be alone. I think he's cooked. He's cooked.
He's gone. He's gone. Again, this is one of these sort of key locations you have to fight for. Na'Vi and sort of Twisted Minds, they never engage here. But for VP, they love coming in late and trying to find out who's remaining. Ferris not finds the first one. Gets the opening. Nixie goes down, though. And the IGL steps up and backs himself 2 kills.
Mirror on the wall. Who beats VP? It's fairest of them all, as he makes a beautiful double by himself. Doesn't even need to call in backup. Ooh, that's the Na'Vi we've been waiting for.
Yeah, this is the drop spot, isn't it? So they were here. They're here to stay. Ferris now on 3. They'll get the opportunity now to reloot. T1, well, they look in and they move on. They want nothing to do with it. As Boostic, though, will keep the car safe for now. It is phase number 1, but a key decision for Na'Vi to hold on the south side.
From Ferris, incredible gunplay to Boostic's driving skills. I parked it. Oops. Clonk. Clonk. I saw this scene in Austin Powers.
He's just stopping people going in the door. That's it. And it's some kind of tactic, maybe.
All right, here comes that Falcons. They have had a tough start. Some big moments, some really epic moments, from that incredible mortar attack in the first game that got backstabbed to, I think it was the second game actually, into the last one where they had to made all the way to Twisted Minds after surviving some third parties. To only have 14 points, they have to be frustrated. They need a big game, because if you go home today with, say, sub 8th place after how hard these guys have worked on these team fights, it's going to be a really tough one to mentally bounce back from.
Comes back into that point we spoke about in the pre-show, right? A lot out of all of our PGSs, only one of them has won it outside of obviously going through the survival stage. Funny enough, Petrichor Road, that's on the screen now. Is there something to be said? It's not the survival stage, it's kind of the warm-up stage for the final, but actually those 5 additional games like kind of dials people in, if a part of it, right? DNS, all in it. Oh my days, what
What a shot!
That kill was so sexy, it delayed our knowing it happened. Like, he shot and then the man died because he didn't even know he was dead. But you're right, and I think when I've talked to players in the past, coaches especially, their response is, if I could guarantee that I wouldn't get eliminated, I would try to go as many days as I can, right? My player's hot is always better than my player's cold. The risk, however, is not worth allowing yourself to end up in there. So they're not happy they're there, but the results often speak for themselves.
They speak for themselves. The blue chips will be speaking to Nick to try and regain that, but the zone shifts across towards the west. I expected, definitely not from myself, expected to go towards that northeast corner, and I think a lot of these teams were the same. So here comes the mass migration. Navi's going to take those blue chips with them. There's not time to kind of delete them at the moment, but this is going to be chaotic for a lot of teams.
All right, Navi, you have 10 points. 3 of those have come in this game so far. So what I need from you is to be better. Send Boostic forward, make some big moves. This is what worries me about Navi. How often, Mark, have we seen them have just a slow day one and then almost win it on the final day, right? Like, this is just Navi doing Navi, and that worked back in the day for FaZe because FaZe Sunday was a legitimate reality, and no one was this good. Everyone is so good now that I don't think you can survive on this hope for Sunday kind of energy anymore.
No, we see him miss by a couple of points, and that's not what you need, because you always then will question, well, what happened if you performed on day number 1? So Navi do need a big game. They're rotation on that south side and relying on a lot of these teams moving up towards that northeast, finds them a nice compound to try and hold. All eyes, I feel like, will be on Bamboo, as all eyes are for Nixie. He's trying to find those blue chips, but he might find they've already migrated on the map.
Nice little spray there as they go on by. So Lolzing loses a player once again. Gen.G trying to set ambushes. Jacob takes out Destroy, and anyone's legend who we thought maybe this was their time, once again gets left without legs.
Let's get left without legs. Destroyer confirmed out. Still more shots though. This world will try and hold out Bamboo. Difficult area to hold. Have to keep people at arm's length for now. Falcons finding themselves in towards zone. I felt like Toffee's so far, especially today. Falcons have been chasing zone quite a lot. Lucky enough for them, they have a stronghold now in the southeast corner, and they are actually going to fixate themselves to make sure no one else is coming out of test track and Inox Factory.
Yeah, traditionally Liquid is the lightning rod that takes the circle hate for Americas. The fact that they're out right now means that the Falcons get to have the circle Teflon for the entire day today as they continue to find this chase. Now that said, I think it works well for them. I think they're a team that thrives when they're sort of on the move and their synapses are firing. So we'll see if that pays off. The problem is they keep bopping up on some of the best teams in the league, right? Navi is who they're investigating. It was Twisted Minds last time around. Where's CTG? We need one. We need a CTG crash. I know they're gone, but Falcons needs it for confidence.
Need it for numbers, you mean? So having a scout can hear the cars on the other side. They refuse to move, but they have gone for a 2-2 split. Big 2-2 hold for them, and it might pay off, but you have to keep an eye on it because they have exposed themselves to a potential crash if someone finds out the comms. Twisted Minds on the other hand, well, they're climbing for the higher ground, and the higher ground's already claimed by the Raccoons.
Twisted Minds not afraid, though. They throw that nade up there, put it right on top of their cars. They say, we may not kill you, but we'll kill your mode of transportation. Perfectus jumps back in, and it looks like Twisted Minds is calling a departure as they reset and leave. I like that. And they left in a line, so they make sure worst case scenario, you only lose the back guy.
Sacrifice, you mean?
Sacrifice.
Twisted Minds, good disengage.
You know, it's not example in the back.
まあそれは発表されてからじゃないかな。
The big thing for Twisted Minds that disengage, historically, without the ability to kind of change the terrain to your advantage, you'd crash that. You'd know where they are. But because they can make these foxholes, you don't know where those players are. Here comes another shift back towards Bamboo. We leave test track now. Falcons applying pressure. Twisted Minds have to go back the way they came, but they see Crazy Raccoons already leaving, so they can take that position nicely.
Yeah, as they try to make this transition, I know there's a fight going on, but I kind of want to hear their mindset as Twisted Minds is surrounded on 3 separate sides.
追い出されたね。
Мы смотрим пока что.
Парня, спина, да. Агрессивный.
Надо откопать сразу агрессивно, гайд. Ставь камень, камень.
Камень можешь раскопать, но у меня раскопано.
У меня раскопано.
Я не чем копать.
А у тебя есть чем копать?
Да, давай配信してんのかなこの人たちも。
Тачка, гайд.
そのプライベートサーバー。でそれを映してるっていう感じ。
Вот тут один занимается вперед, а вы спину.
Тогда дай копался мне.
It's not lost on me. Example is like when I play with a pro and they always shoot first and then alert you to having seen someone. I'm gonna try to pick this guy, and then once he misses, he goes, "Hey guys, there's someone over here." But that was awesome. They get a good spot. I like their communication. It's probably the most frantic we've heard them talk on any of our listen-ins. But again, it's a quick statement. They repeat what they said once, and then they shut up and let their IGL work with the information. It's very, very clean. I love their system.
Yeah. I agree. Well, we looked at Tiggleton and then we swapped straight over towards Genji, both launching mortars forwards. He has a scout forward as Gustav, though, a little bit closer, just underneath the line of sight of Twisted Minds and Perfecting, so has to disengage. Bean does fine, though, the Crazy Raccoons, as they have the connection and now have the opportunity to follow this through.
So we got Bean throwing the Molotovs, we got Falcons throwing them up here. I like that they're setting it to hit the bottom of the mountain. My assumption is they're trying not to give additional defense capability to Twisted Minds up here. So they're doing a little bit of damage, making sure that they try to keep their heads down, but also not giving them a deeper hole to work out of.
Yeah, I like this.
Or maybe Tiggleton was just aiming bad, but I'm gonna default.
No, it doesn't happen. Trigonometry came from thing. All right, say I'm not taking any of that toffees. Not today, mate. Falcons making a push. Grenades come over the top here. Quizzy does find Lou on the other side, so Falcons have an understanding of who they're fighting. They know they are bleeding, but for them, they have to stay on this side of the mountain, but continue to apply pressure.
For the second game in a row, Falcons take it to Twisted Minds. Last time, Twisted Minds got the best of them. Who comes out on top this time? They go to the high ground, kickstart from the off angle, uses that blue zone, gets blue down. Shrimsy's playing the tip of the spear, comes up to the top. Looks like he's getting a couple of peak angles. Right now, Twisted Minds is locked into their hole, held behind their mountain, waiting for the push.
They are waiting for the push, but they know they got the confirmation, so they've now got Vitality towards the north. They know Twisted Minds now are down bodies, but they are in the foxholes. So there goes the jump, looking for the scout. Grenade will go forward, but it has to land perfectly. It's not far away. Oh my god, the second one perfect! The third, the charm from Gustav. An example go. Twisted Minds, bleeding numbers, but not bleeding on the charge.
これのカバーは欲しかった2枚取った。
Batula gets a double kick, and Gustav goes down, and now Batula has to try to make a stand. He's on both sides. The fight comes in. Tiggleton gets perfected. Is now October. He tries to pull it off, but he can't. Shrimsy finishes the job, and they turn around to try to get those reses up. But here comes Vitality. The Cavalry has arrived.
He's charged over the top. Quizzy annihilates not just one, but spins, and the Falcons clutch onto victory for moments. They were looking to the north, though, and they saw the kill feed light up like a Christmas tree, and they knew they had to deny Falcons the opportunity.
Falcons is getting Charlie Brown over and over and over again. They see the ball. Lucy's holding it. They think they're going to get the kick, and yet again, it's pulled out from under them, and they land on their backs. They got those 4 kills, but that's it as they continue to sit in 9th place.
Ah, it's mental. I feel for them. I do feel for them, because you can see from the map feed, Vitality, they were going, they were gone, they left the fight, but as soon as that kill feed lit up, they got sending. Vitality is now sending away forward, right beneath them. Jedrox, though, has to spin,
Winda takes the out of their sails as Levante and Vitality tries to make the push in, but they get cooked. They went after Falcons, and all it did was give away the information that 4AM said, I know where you're going next. And Winda does pull this one off. He will have time to get HSM will get time to get Winda and Spaceman back up, I think, before the Raccoons can come in.
まあ、ツイストマインズの場所の取り方が、TP 向きなのかもしれないけど、別に悪くないんだろうな、やってることは。囲まれる前に、囲まれる前になんかしないといけないは、なんか1個2個足りない気がするんだよね。
They can't really get crashed because of the way the water is organized, and they're going to be in a nice hold. Meanwhile, anyone's legend needs points desperately. They're going to try to get them off of GAM the Expendables.
1個前の試合とかはめっちゃ得意なんよ。やり方。
Here comes a grenade. That should be a confirmation. Delwyn will
TPP は。
That should be another confirmation done. Yeah, and anyone's legend though. You think the Pandas will make it to the safety of the bamboo, but they fall just short.
AL changing to already lost as they seem to be unable to find points. 4 games in, 8 in the docket, and then we jump to Virtus Pro, who's in the same boat. They've been playing blue tactics what feels like all day today.
Yeah, and the result is there on that sort of bottom side of that leaderboard. Confirmation is nearly done.
だいぶむずいな、戦い方。
Obviously have to try and make the play
TPP になっ
forward.
て。
Norman's though looking to try and
マジで
come
難
out the
しいと思う。
safety of the forest. As I said, you got to remember, Navi's been chasing this. They've been applying pressure on that south side. What point did they kind of strike as the zone goes back their way?
You can see that shield falling apart as the fight comes out of the bamboo. Jacob tries to get the
だっ
grenade.
ていいアリーナも
He's
見ないといけない
gonna
でしょ、こ
pull it
れ。
back at the last second as he saw the expendables get
TPP
knocked
視点だ
out
とあれ
there.
だからね。左見てて、左見ながら右見ないといけないか
Inside
ら。
of the bamboo forest almost gets him, but runs out of bullets to finish the job.
Yeah, the Myth still standing strong here. They've got a bit of high grounds. The arena, they have to disengage slightly. Norman's going to be back here. Just kind of leave GTG in the middle. Navi obviously also now taking shots though on that south side. For Petrichor Road, they're in a good spot. They're just trying to stop the snoopers coming in, and also potentially the Myth sort of playing into their position as well.
Yeah, really more of a Petrichor mode right now as they do a good job, and that shift actually works in their favor. It makes them a non-focused crash site. Maybe one top two teams pushing in on them, and they can still frag out on everyone rotating past. They can make that hold. They get heaven on the knock. Expendables is eliminated by Scappy. Myth continues to find ways to put points on the board. Meanwhile, Nixie in the blue.
31 first aids. Let's go. He's learned from the best.
誰だっけ
Boomy's there.
ビーミーだよね。
That's
確
where
か
he's gonna survive. He's been
ビー
chasing
ミーだよ
those
ね、や
blue
って
chips
た
for a
の。
while, but he's chasing potential placements for replacement points. As he'll
ビ
come
ー
in
ミー
behind
が教えたか、こ
T1,
れ。
phone shifts away. Yet again.
I like to believe as Nixie does this, Scooms at home with his hands folded going, yes, yes, the strategy still works. As Hackatory and the Na'Vi boys take a very different tack. Ferris with 4 kills off of the back of some of those early fights and feeling like they're in a decent spot, a 2-2 spread. They hold the
ト
south
フィーめっちゃ好
comfortably in
き
this circle.
Navi scans some information.
実況の仕
4
方
kills.
が
Again, a big
お
game
も
from
ろい。
them could skyrocket them on that leaderboard, but it's going to be needed and it's going to have to
いや、いいグレー。
control. And there's no control though in the middle of zone. Pio finds time with a grenade.
Crazy Raccoons goes against their countrymen. The fight is on as Glass takes shots from the side.
通るのそれ。
Hackatory happy to try to put some extra points on the board, but the grenades keep falling up and over.
あ、ちょっ
Glass
と
is
見える。
knocked. Hackatory angry that he's not going to be able to finish this in time. Meanwhile, Petrichor does hold the push against Myth as they get Barrett and Scappy.
Where's Onyx going? He's gone behind T1. He's doing a complete lap of them. Now he comes into the south side by boosting though, as he has to try and get the defense. And Mink will find the confirmation on one and then find the opening on the other. And for main inside iron, it was too much to run through the bamboo field.
He stops them, but Boostigger heard that wrap route. I mean, it was a noble effort by Inonix. I got to give it props, but the fact that the Na'Vi trailer was out there on the 2-2 split stops them. Crazy Raccoons then falls apart because you release the one player. Once Inonix gets knocked, T1 knows that it's an easy push over the top for them. Clever play. That's the Crazy Raccoon way. Risk equals reward. No judgment.
Love that. The crazy plays the Crazy Raccoon way. 25 meds. 1 clip remains for Nixie as he has to now sacrifice 5.56 in order to find entry into the zone.
That's because he dropped every bullet he had for more.
弾
He
全部
only
捨て
has
て
one extended
応
magazine,
急
and that
と
is
取りました
hilarious to
ね
me. But that's what he's done. He's actually made it into the placement points, and will
Yep.
continue to grind it out with 22 meds. So he's just going to keep spamming it. No more movement. Just jamming it into your thigh.
32以上持ってただろうけど、もう20個しかないよ。
T1 have to try and get in as well. Where do they go? Do they go down? Does he have another opportunity? Because one more team goes. He's starting to double up though, Nixie.
Every time we cut back to Nixie, you're just going to get a, I'm not quite dead yet.
I'm alive! Keep me going.
We've made it to 7, down to 21.
We can't give it to him. He's been running the zone for quite some time. He might have enjoyed maybe Hackatory's bike. He might have found him a little bit more of an entry in a bit quicker. As Hackatory on look towards Gen G, now defending the push from T1.
Yeah, I don't care if it's on a bike, in a car, with a gun. This guy is lethal. And then
多い
Ian
ね。もう
puts a
この
stop
ダウンの
to
仕方しかない
Gen
やん、
G.
今のところ。
Had a spot, but now they're getting disintegrated. T1 has to push in. They're doing a very good job of it.
高いとこがないと、やっぱこういうファイトが多い。でもそろそろスモーク切れるよ。みんな。おー、2人ともノックするのは良くない。
The
Oh
T1
my
card pays off.
god.
Gen G goes down and Nixie gets another point.
フリーに切る。
He's climbing, and he's getting closer towards the zone. Na'Vi looking to try and, I suppose, capitalize up on some of these kills. They completely stack 3-1 as 3 will come across towards this east side.
これあれだよ、VP の義務教育。
down in the south,
大きい
maybe
負け負
trying
け
to
は。
zero this in.
しょうがな
I
い。
love that Navi's playing this aggressive. They'd love to take this chance to go up against 4AM while T1
VP に
licks
入っ
their
たら
wounds. Meanwhile,
最初
I'm
みんな
not
やらさ
quite
れる。
dead yet.
It's got an opening. Here comes the mortar fire, but it's going down to 4AM. Hakatori makes that charge forward. Grenades come through, but it bounces out.
The bounce outs have been huge today. The counter grenade almost gets Hakatori, but there we go. We're playing golf with lead, baby. As Hakatori makes the double on Winda and HSM. The push continues as they try to erase 4AM from the map. And they do!
They do. They do. It's another point for Nixie. The blue god still remains, and he has an opening as the rest of the team move in. Na'Vi up towards 7 points now. They need to get a res, but there's no pressure. It's going to come down to T1. Do they start to migrate to the south?
Look at that. Hakatori doesn't even stop down. He's like, I'm moving on to the next spot. You get the reses. And off he goes as Na'Vi tucks in and prepares for battle. Hakatori goes straight at Pathampong.
プライベート先生って呼んでるからみんな。
Pathampong has to be pushed back. Hakatori immediately relocates, knowing a grenade is going to be coming out. Drops low, barely dodges the bullets, and it's Hakatori taking on Pathampong going to 1, but it was all 4MP that helps him out.
Yeah, and Hakatori looking for that. Oh, Rain tells him he's got the mind games. There's another kill on the other side of the ridge as we get confirmation that Nixie has found in the blue.
確かにね。
And another point to go along with it. 5 teams left in the game, and then Nixie doing Nixie things. Narns with the spray as Petrichor crashes
なんだっけ、応急じゃなくて包帯だけで早く負けるやつ。
crazy as they fight for the spot.
拾ったことないから覚えてないんだよね。あれもあったら強いよ。
The deforestation at the finest bamboo is gonna fall. Petrichor Road leaves E Arena in the rabbit hole, literally themselves. Grenades will come through.
そうそうそう、EMT ギア。
The end of the line for VP.
EMT ギアとか持つんかな。
Back. Top 3 teams up and running. E Arena is bamboozled as they get knocked out, trying to make it out of that forest. T1 at 3, Petrichor at 1, and Navi looking like powerhouse, the only feet in the circle, as well as 4 alive.
Well, we needed Na'Vi to wake up. They came into this in 14th place on 7 kills. They've got 4 bodies up, and they've got the control to apply pressure to what team they want as they charge on forward.
Boostic with the sprays, got that 3x point and some work. He's moving forward. He's buying Spyro space. Spyro with the cook, with the chuck. They try to duck. Oh, it's a little bit too far. T1 dodges and has to hide behind the smoke. Ferris with the spray down. Spyro tries to join him. Navi full force right now.
Yeah, grenades get the confirmation done. Another one will fall down, and for T1, there's only 1 remains as Hakatori sets targets now as he'll find Petrichor Road.
That has allowed Petrichor to get back up to 3. They were down to just 1 plus 2 knocks a minute ago, and now they're going to join the fray. Hakatori once again runs out of bullets to the last possible second, but that won't slow him down. Whether it be a bike or an AUG, he's ready to fight.
He's ready to fight. There's a player right underneath him. Boostic, though, does find T1 end as he gets the re-knock. They go back down towards 1. Blue zone will go forward. Boostic, though, he's going to continue to apply the pressures. The IGL.
うわ、惜しい。あ、これ、落ちるか？落ちたね。
Navi's like, you didn't want to use that wrong, did ya? As Ferris gets another 2 in the hopper, putting 5
おい、これ、全部飲まれる。ナビに飲まれる。
This guy's playing out of his mind. Ferris
キルポイントが。
forward as those 2 flushes end out. 1 Petrichor, 2
でっかこの試合、ナビ。
climbing the board with their teeth and their claws out.
Oh my god, it's serious now. Arain is standing there looking for the conversion. Remember, 7 points they entered in here. They are launching everything at the victory they can. Here comes the put up though, as Navi still on hold. It's a 4 versus 1 but now as Petrichor up against the wall, and Navi refused to let him to escape.
Petrichor stole 1 of the kills, and Navi took that personally as they spin all 4 to look at Petrichor. Ming Ming says, maybe I can deny. They send blues. They send mollies, they send cars, and they send the chicken dinner to Allrain, who you saw standing in the coach's room. He sensed it, he smelled it. These guys dealt death upon the entire map and came out with a massive and well-earned win.
いいよね。いい褒め言葉よね。キモい強さって。GG 大爆発したね、ナビ。
Fairest, man. He went nuts in this game, Avenger. Looking amazing here for Navi.
Yeah, he did it in the last game, and he's done it now once again here.
えぐいね、ナビ。だいぶ上がったんじゃない？
All the way to the end for Navi here. All the teams we've seen prevail before are able to do it once again, and what a game for Navi to push themselves up. We were talking about it before this game here. They actually had a rough day so far, but this is going to push them so far up the leaderboard.
Yeah, very important stuff. Yeah, toughies.
Okay, listen, I want to go back to the start of the year, okay? You talk about my Navi bingo card. They add Boostic, one of the best young fraggers in history. They add Spyro from a historical Twisted Minds roster. This guy knows how to play. He's a consummate veteran. Hakatori, probably the best player in the region, if not the world right now. Fairest as MVP was not on that bingo card. I was like, oh, he'll be a great fourth. That has not been the case at this event, man. This guy is nuts. Look at this.
See him knocking people out of the sky as well. 4am gets dismantled. And then, of course, as we take a look further into this game as well, for some of our Western teams just happen to go up against one another, right? Falcons and Twisted Minds name a more iconic duo here, Mark, as they do end up decimating one another.
But it was a play from Team Vitality, I think you called it, right? Vitality were kind of looking on towards that Twisted Minds location. They got the knock. But they were like, this is not my fight, let's just play away. They were leaving, they were going north. But as soon as Falcons got involved in that fight, and arguments say Falcons done really well, but Turin stepped up, but it wasn't enough. But Vitality, during that fight, they hit the brakes, they've done a 180, and they went straight back to when, I suppose, the hopes the Falcons had.
Yeah, rare we get Bamboo actually being such a focal point of a circle here on Rondo, because of that little bit of war that does exist. But the thing is that it creates a bit of a weird scenario here, Avenger, right? Like actually being able to throw nades into here and using some of this bamboo forest as cover. It's not a common thing we see on Rondo.
No, it's actually the first time we see it at the very highest level to be done like this here. I really like I kind of like the terrain, how it works out with the bamboo and how it works out with the destruction here. But 24 points for Navi, that is absolutely massive to repel them up the leaderboard. They had 7 points before this game, I believe, so 31.
I mean, 14th place with 7 points going into this, and they pulled 24. We're literally starting that last match, and I look at Mark and I say, Mark, this is my problem with Navi, is they don't have good day ones. They always leave it for Sunday. And then Navi's like, hold on a second, let's climb into 5th place, and I'm excited about it.
Yeah, as we take a look at the overall leaderboard, and you know what I said at the beginning of the day here, Mark? I said, Arena, they're not a podium team.
Look what they got us. Look what they got us.
Look, they've still got more games to go, all right? We've got, as I said, look, we've got 10 still remain next 2 days. We've got one more, which is today. It's 11 in total. Arena, can they hold on with a Navi force like that? Maybe not, but most kills Ferris GG's.
7 go his way. That's brilliant stuff here. I-26 did a lot of damage here as Petrichor Road was able to make a really good meal of this game, Avenger, all things considered, right? It's like you take that spot in the middle of bamboo and you hold it down because nobody's really coming into there and having a bit of a weird time about moving around it, and then able to play into the later stages of this game.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you see here for Navi, remember last time Fairest had the tournament of his life where he was like somewhat top fragging or almost top fragging Navi, and now he does it again? What happened last time? They won PGS2, guys. Is it a repeat winner? We might see it happening with this one.
They take turns, right? Because Spiro, of course, was the man of the match, or sorry, the MVP of the previous tournament as well. But of course, Ferris will take man of the match for this game, as he almost does an 800 damage alongside this as well. It's not just the kind of these late game moments where he's able to hold it down as well, Toffees. It's the fact that, you know, early on when he's able to get that 4-piece at the beginning of this game, or 3-piece into then getting a 4th, it's just, it's really lights out stuff over in Neox.
Yeah, I think what we've seen, though, is Ferris' confidence has truly emerged, right? This idea that he's confident enough to go for those 1v4s, and he's not pulling back, he's not waiting for backup, he's throwing everything he's got at it. And when we talk about Navi maybe supplanting Twisted Minds in terms of mastery of the region, one of the things we've always talked about with Twisted Minds is how good they are because all 4 players can step up in clutch moments and pull 1v4s. I don't feel that I could have said that about Navi until Ferris truly started to become one of those offensive legends, and having done it multiple times now, maybe that's it. The full package is there. These guys are staring PGC in the face, if you ask me.
He's gaming. They are gaming, that's for sure. All right, we're going to go to a break. When we return, we have one more game here for day number 1 of our circuit final. It's exciting. We'll see you in a few.
No, we have to go back. If you get it wrong, we have to restart. Hi guys, it's Bella here, sitting here with Twisted Minds to play a Guess Who. Hi guys, hello.
Hello,
everybody.
안녕하세요.
안녕하세요. Now we're gonna show you pictures of the PUBG players that are actually here, and you have to guess 7 of their names in a row. Are you ready?
No.
No? Are you confident?
No.
Shall we start? I'll time it. Go!
Kraken. Lagza?
No, we have to go back. If you get it wrong, we have to restart.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We need to guess?
Yes.
Baron?
Oh,
Batulin.
oh, who's that?
Хуёпта.
What did you say?
Хуёпта.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Люк. Прав.
Yeah.
Леванта.
Uh-huh.
Easy example.
Oh, 40 seconds. Yeah, well, good job, example. You got 2 correct.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, Batulins and example. Easy. That was fun. We learned a new game or 2. All right, thank you for joining me, guys.
Thank you
See you
for inviting us.
Yeah, bye.
A new heist mode with some familiar perpetrators. A new way to finish off your foes. And a collaboration with the legendary Harley-Davidson motorcycles. All this and more as we dive into the Update 41.2 patch report. First up, we've teamed up with the ultimate heist game, Payday, for a new game mode filled with crime and cash. In Payday mode, you and your squad will choose your class, pick a target, don an iconic Payday mask, and try to get out with as much loot as possible. But be careful not to trigger any alarms unless you're itching for a hefty fight. Completing objectives will award money that can be used to unlock more weapons and equipment. So complete as many as you can to up your arsenal. There's also a special Payday event pass for you to unlock even more cool Payday themed items. Next, finishing off your enemies just got a little more stylish. When you approach a downed enemy with a melee weapon out, you'll now have the option to perform a finishing move with a special animation. For now, executions can be performed using the crowbar, sickle, machete, and of course the pan. But other melee weapons and additional execution animations will be added as time goes on. Motorcycle enthusiasts rejoice. The Great American Ride is coming to the battlegrounds. For a limited time, you can pick up the Harley-Davidson CVO Road Glide ST motorcycle skin from step-up packs in the workshop. There's also a custom lobby skin to grab, and plenty more, so be sure to keep an eye out for the official announcement. PUBG and Harley-Davidson. Live to ride, ride to live. We've also got a limited time weekend tournament called the Rumble Royale, a new secret room on Miramar, and more. So be sure to check out the patch notes for full details. Update 41.2 is here. So rev up that Harley, grab yourself a melee weapon, and get ready to execute the heist of a lifetime. We'll see you on the battlegrounds.
All right, one more match and plenty of shake-up on the leaderboards here for the circuit final. We have got 4 games down. We're almost 33% of the way through here for our 3-day final. And it is a crazy time up at the top. Made in Thailand still looking pretty good up there. And again, Mr. Kalaris might have to eat his words very, very soon. If the arena continues on Avenger 1.
There's something called the reverse Kramer. This is also the reverse Kalaris, I think. So every time you say they're not gonna finish podium, then they suddenly they're in there, they're sneaking into that podium, trying to step up, you know.
Yeah, of course. Let's still listen in on an interview though, as we have our winning team joining us from after the break.
Hi guys, it's Well standing with Navi's coach Alrain. Hi Alrain, good to see you. You knew that interview was coming for you. Well, you guys were playing full force, out of your mind, especially Fairest. What is he doing? He's calling all the shots and taking all those kills. Like, is he on something special today?
We had a talk after previous finals. I know Fairest is capable of being a top fragger to kill anyone, so yeah, I told him to focus more on his playstyle. Spyro can take like the game in his hands. So, yeah, so right now Fairest is looting benefits from that.
Is Spyro the one that's doing like the second calls then?
Yeah, I can say right now we're in some kind of transformation a little bit, and definitely Spyro took more calling, and it might even shift more in the future.
All right, thanks for sharing that, and best of luck to you, Alrain. 감사합니다.
감사합니다, Bella.
네, 안녕.
All right, interesting insights there from Alrain. It looks like, wow, our plane is already in the sky. As now Toffees and Mark, bye. Farewell, friends. Bye. It is time to get to our last game here of the day. Match number 5 for the grand finals. Let's do it, Avenger.
Yeah, straight into the clefts of the muted discords for Mark and Toffees, and what great games they've had today. I hope we're gonna have a banger here in Erangel, because we've had some special set of games on that take on Erangel. But we're starting over to Milta Power. Going northwest here is very difficult to get. Southwest, very difficult to get. Even to Gatka here, it's very, very rare we see that happen. Primorsk is not possible. Ferb here is super far, so teams are gonna have to go to their alt drops or get into vehicles and drive into their loot spots here. But for this one so far, it's been pretty close. And at the very top here, from Navi in 5th all the way up to mid in 1st, only 13 point separation. So anyone could really put themselves in the lead in this last game here from that top.
Yeah, for sure. The disparity between quieter times and loud times throughout this day number 1 has been stark. Sometimes we have had heavy silence, even towards late game. But other times it's been explosive. It's been quite the varied day, to say the least, as now for NAVI here back on the road again. 31 points after having a bit of a terrible start. Oh my god. Okay, so that's not the circle I was expecting. And actually, you know what? This throws us into an interesting situation where we haven't had many circles up here. We had quite a lot of Everest, but if we go north of the river, I'm excited for that. I really want north of the river. We haven't seen too many of those recently, Avenger.
Yeah, IEM 2018 Katowice calls back. It might be an avant-garde circle for that rich north of North George. As we did see Fairest lay the hammer down on VP in that last game. And he did so in the previous one. Sure, VP did come out on top, but he managed to get 2 guys down, and it got really close with Nixie having to backfill that. Really good game here for Navi. Close to Bamboo. I really like this circle. Sure, it is close to test track, and we do have a little bit of a curse with that, but that Bamboo area is actually kind of spicy with how the destruction on the terrain is working out.
I think the field south of Bamboo, actually destructible terrain, has kind of revolutionized that area. Because if you look at it here, it's so open. Yeah, you've got a few rocks. You've got the big rock in the middle, right? But like beyond that, as long as you've got some little bits to hide in and stuff, look how open it is. Actually, nobody even used the no man's land in the middle of it. It was almost untouched during all of this. So it really does show the kind of scariness of an end in this location.
Oh, yeah, I know that everything lined up for them perfectly. No, Navi early drive here, getting into and involved onto the southern side of this circle here, as we do have 17 obviously locking down Pachinki. We do have Expendables locking down Godka. T1 is inside South George and the crates. Vitality into North George. So those are the teams that's really gonna have a focal point onto that. VP with the alt drop into Sarki might pay off if we do get an alt kind of alternative ending going north here. We'll see what happens. 7 kills in the man of the match, and that's QV once again here, destroying the toes of VP.
Not his little feetsies, yeah, but that's actually kind of wild, right? As much as, you know, we're watching him dismantle Virtus Pro here, who'd have thought that Virtus Pro, arguably a contender for PGC, has to alt drop Zarki? Oh, that's awful. Great shots coming in though for Fairest to be able to bring him. baseline down in the air as well. So it's not common that you see teams having to go up all the way to Zaki here for a game like this, and yeah, we'll see if Virtus Pro can make something of it.
Yeah, they do need it as well, considering that they're looking really dire down towards the bottom of that leaderboard there. I think they're 10 points right now in 15 plays. Sure, a good game. They're up to 6th place with 15 points, getting across potentially expendables if they have a bad game. But yeah, 800 damage almost. Yeah, they don't when you do 800 damage and 7 kills. That's going to continue for the entirety here. But yeah, it's good to hear from Alvarin as well that Spur is stepping a little bit into the cold calling and gelling. He's obviously such a veteran player that he does have a lot of info from so many teams, having played with Aduzi, having played with Batulins, having played with so many legendary rosters coming in from CIS.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. And also I like to think at the back of my mind, like, my headcanon for Na'Vi is like, okay, right, he got his MVP. It's time for somebody else to get a chance. You know, like, you can call things for a little bit. You got MVP at PGS fight, that's fine. But no, Na'Vi, I'd love to see them continue things on. They are kind of grinding into the circle alongside some other teams as well. Gamma Expendables on the east side. As Juice was just waiting just in case somebody was to come along down near towards his compound. Not going to be the case though. Na'Vi, this is, I mean, the thing is that they're going to a location which chances are, I was thinking to myself there for a second, are they going to try and go for maybe a boat if this does for some reason go north? Because that would be an insane play, something we rarely ever see. Because you're abandoning cars and stuff, but I don't think that's the case. I just think they want to use it as a staging point. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the west staging point. What do you think?
Unless you're able to lock down that western bridge, and that is your focal point. They obviously don't have the info that potentially Expendables is setting up for somewhat of a trap, then I'm not too much of a fan of it. 28% of the votes for the winner prediction for match 5 for VP and 24 for Twisted Minds. That's kind of insane considering what we've seen from them so far today.
It really is, considering that normally whenever we flick to the pundit predictions, it's like, it's 16% for this team, it's 14% for this team, 28% for Virtus Pro, considering it has been a rough day for them. That said though, I mean, I think that any pundits of this game at the moment will know that Virtus Pro is a threat regardless of previous results on the day, as well as previous results in a final. That's therefore, there's all the world that Virtus Pro could just turn up tomorrow and just bang it out with like 60 points, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And that's also what happens in the last one they won. They showed up day 2. They got a 2nd place with 7 kills. They got a 1st place with 11 kills. They got a 2nd again with 6 kills. They got a 4th and a 4th. So very consistent day 2. Basically, it was 1 in day 2. The last day, they only got 1 podium as well. So they can do that and show that up again. And that only because there are so many other teams that is very, very stale. Remember, they had a 35-point lead. It wasn't 1 because they were doing amazing. It was one of the lower average total points that we've seen for them from best of 15, but still very possible here. If you can bang out 50 points per day on an average, you're looking good. And MiTH is the closest to it right now with those 44 points.
Well, before the day began, NAVI across these PGSs in 2026 had 11 chicken dinners to their name, closely followed by DN Supers as well as 17 Gaming with 10 apiece. But NAVI, of course, playing another one on the board. It'll still be closely contested, though, towards the end of PGS 6, I do feel, as both DN Supers and 17 Gaming can quite easily put up some more chicken dinners, I think.
Yeah, I could see that happening. And as you've blessed us with the inverse Kylaris blessing onto the arena, right now looking good in that 3rd place.
They win 10 chicken dinners on this tournament. I'm like, what's happening?
Yeah, and they did extremely well at the last PGS, obviously, too. Having gotten that 2nd place, 101 points. The only other team to break the triple digits alongside Virtus Pro, and they won. So yeah, the arena looking good in that best of 15 set series. Petrica Road also up there. We actually do have a very, very stacked top 5 currently, with only 13 points in between, as I mentioned earlier. Falcons here being that last team alongside Twisted Minds, E-Arena. Those three teams currently trying to move into the circle and having an entry point. It's very split out already, James. It's not that high of a prior to get dead center in this circle, because obviously we do have the river in play. And once we get to circle 3, the teams are going to see, okay, is it going to swap north or is it going to swap south? So definitely we're waiting for that. I like the bridge place where teams are setting up shop to be able to cross on both sides, though.
Yeah, definitely. jokes aside on my inverse Calaris, whatever you want to call it. I do think that if they do continue to pop off, I think Opons has really been a standout for the team. It has been really good watching Opons here for the arena so far. And anytime you flick over to them, suddenly it's him getting 3 kills, him getting 4 kills. Love watching that.
He's just 3 kills behind our leaders. Today's leader is
まあ自分
Chewy, actually, on
の
11
周り
kills. Opons on
近い
8,
チ
a
ー
lot
ム
of players
折れて
on
る
8,
チームの
Kiss
傾
on
向と
9,
か
Evan on
見る
10.
チームもいるかもだ
Chewy
し
is up there. For me,
とりあえず
secretly
その時その
snuck
時
in there,
の
getting good averages, getting some steals, getting some flushes there. And that.
その時その時
I'm
の
driving here, you're not driving here anymore.
行動自分たちのチームの動きだけ分析するチームもいるし
Okay.
まあ基本あんまり考えてないと思う
Okay. Well, I've been on the beach multiple times, and if he digs that much deeper, the water is going to come in soon, James. I know that's a fact.
He's going to build a sandcastle for us. Oh, I'm so excited. Let's go.
その時その時の最適
One of those big majestic
の動
ones
きができれ
stands
ば
on the beaches for months
正
and
直いい
long
から
summers. Let's just seen on the vacation. Let's see
情
this
報
circle,
を
though,
持
James.
っ
It's going to
て
be a
き
huge
た
pop.
ってか Oh my lord
Northeast even.
Yeah, okay, so, well, I'll tell you something. You ain't taking a boat on this one. If you try and go down the river, you are going to get
小さいレンズ
lit
東側に回っ
Very
て
awful. Probably the
山の
worst
端から
possible
スタート
circle
した
for
り
Navi, by the way, as we're talking
Yeah.
about,
Agreed.
right? They are gonna have to be that last team to go in, swing from the southern side. They get in behind
でかいこと
Falcons.
外れたか
They get in
外れた
behind
ね
the arena.
だいぶ
They
大
are
きく
driving alongside or behind Myth. And there's going to be teams
見に来たら
already in
あの
those
俺らが
locations
男だ
here,
よ
so
な
I could foresee a very dire
男
fate for
か
Navi as they try to move in. Twisted
はて
Minds
な
also driving along. There's so many teams trying to get into this high prior
よく
positions. 4AM is
あの
already in there. And anyone's legends always trying to get involved in here too. And as we talk about them, such a big surprise to see them in last today, considering they had 2 second places and a 4th in our PGS series so far.
This is definitely a tough one. Definitely a tough one. Oh no, E-Arena already taking 1 casualty this. Yeah, if my curse is anything to be believed, suddenly in the back of my head I'm going, oh no, what a shame. But for E-Arena, of course, that is an annoying loss here to begin things. For Made in Thailand, they get the recovery off as well. MG3 in the hands of Direxy could do some damage here. Are we on full auto? Yes, we really are on the full. As now a few shots go in. Doesn't quite get the connection he wants, though. Here comes the reinforcements, though. Oh, no, they're right next to him. Ooh, careful. They're stopping next to him. What are they
Corexy
doing?
finds 2. That's huge knocks here for Corexy to find both Clarice and Tanvu. No, we'll see. Can he find 1 more? He's down to just 25. Sure, he has 3 gear, but 25 HP is nothing, even though we have 3 gear equipped.
They know he's run away, but they don't know exactly where he
big
stopped. But now they do. Hwang F is able to connect with 1 just over the hillside. The rest of Virtus Pro now converging on this location from the east. I understand it, right? Get there as fast as possible. Whilst those knocks are gone. He's going to run them over. Tanfu goes down. Here comes more cars forwards here. Trying to get the laser on this left-hand side here. Nixie does go down to Glorious here from the org. Can Lucarux do something about it? Yes, he can. As he does take down Juice completely.
うわいいグレ
Great nade from Hwang F though. Trade for trade, blow for blow here. Gambi Expendables trying to hold on.
俺は行かないといけないねビーミ
Actually doesn't want to get involved.
またか
HP and
また巻き巻きか
great effort for him, but him being
先
alone
生本人
and being away so far away
自
from the
ら
teams here, that's so unfortunate for him.
実現させるんやなこれ多
Yeah,
分
now Beamy's gonna have to go for a big clutch here. This VP's got only 12 points so far. Sure, they got the 2 kills here, but still, yeah, it's
で
just
もない
neutral
ちある
destruction for
かもね
both.
でもここら辺は
Expendables
山
and for
と
VP.
か丘とか多いから
So the res
丘のファイト
angle?
とかも
Recall
あるか
angle
も
potentially?
You reckon he can get the blue chips?
I don't know if they stole all of them. I would
もう
have.
教授って言っちゃう教授やね
I would
確か
definitely
に
have taken them all.
先生自ら
Definitely.
いやはや
But yeah. Meanwhile, now on the south side, still Navi, still wide rotating, understandably so. And it is triple blue chip explosion. Oh, the agony. Avert your eyes. Oh, painful.
Yep. That does delay them
先
quite
生
a bit.
やっ
It's
ちゃってく
gonna
だ
be
さ
a
い
difficult game for them to get in here. Now we see Navi back to this one. Big rotation. Last team to
先
get
生は
in.
いくつ持つんですか
Potentially
50ですか
across the Russia
わかりました
Bogarde Bridge here. E-Arena ahead of them. Anyone's Legends ahead of them. This circle is going to pop here shortly.
ちょうどねゲオ北っていう場所があるんですけどそこだったら50個集まるかもしれないちょっと行ってもらって
But James, the next one does shift north. So right now, Petka Road looking really good. DN Super is looking good. And 4AM looking to be in a strong position here too.
And Petrichor, if they keep this going, man, as you say, they've kind of been quietly just constantly progressing up these leaderboards throughout the day. If they keep this going, this is a good spot for them to be able to jump into number one, with MiTH obviously having 2 casualties already in this game. So we'll see, though. Crazy Raccoon is moving in alongside them, and Vitality does actually see that. So this might ward away Crazy Raccoon a little bit, which opens up a bit more room here for Petrichor Road. MiTH getting the reses off. So is the Expendables. So some big names coming back in to help these teams.
Yep, for sure. Chan on this other side here has been a name to be reckoned with so far today here, but 17. Alright, kind of middling performance so far, 23 points. One big game, sure, they're closing to that top 5. Beamy. Oh, he actually gets the Tambu in. Great shots here from Beamy. And the VP gets another point here on the board.
Lovely stuff. He was hanging around for a little while here. I think he knew exactly what was going to happen when it came to these reses. So trying to get one at least. Nicely done there by Beamy. Some consolation points here for the Polar Bears, who have only got 13 points on the board on the day. As we said, it's not the normal Virtus Pro game and Virtus Pro day, but they will be back with a vengeance, no doubt. Scan the Expendables. At least gets Doug Jews back on board and takes him probably to some loot to keep him going.
All right, now Genji tries to take some shots at Falcons, and I'm thinking we might be able to jump in to see what Falcon does as they are rotating into the circle on the side. Genji's trying to keep them out. So let's hear what Falcons and their comms have to say.
Let's kill the edge player. There's a guy in front of the shack. There's cars in front of the shack, I think. To the right of Gustav.
You need to kill the barrel spray, guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's group up. Gustav, you're
He's
early.
leaving.
He's leaving.
Leaving
What
on
do we
me.
want to do? He's leaving. Just go south then. Or kill the northwest guys. I still think we can do.
Northwest. Vitality ですね。
I fuck with that. I fuck with that. I fuck with that. We have to go around planes. He stopped in the bunker, by the way. We have to convoy this perfectly.
じゃあ俺思ったんだよね。グスターブが前に出て情報を与えきれんのかなっていう。
Go ride him. Okay. He's gonna spray the buggy.
There's gonna be people in planes, no?
We just need to hug it in between planes. Let's just take planes. Like planes then.
There's the Falcons there, razzing it around, looking for an opportunity here on that north side near plane crash at the moment. Realizing that the team could potentially come forward, but now it's going to be anyone's legend taking quite a bit of damage, reversing off. I'm surprised he didn't get knocked by that, as Himas is now going to have to reposition.
これは届くんじゃない今のくらい。わあ、ダメージだけか。
Also more nades to be coming in. Yuon taking a lot of damage with that blue zone. Anonix trying to make the most out of it. Crazy Raccoons have really put themselves in a rough position with that anyone's legends push from the eastern side. Next circle does go north.
今の届きそうだけどどうだ。あ、届くよね。
Very congested toward that northern side though, as him as with the
あと9発残ってるから
tries
ね。
to have more of an impact. But Thumpong does find boost.
4M も下見れない。
Emergency pickup, almost certainly a denial emergency pickup there on the timing to make sure that nobody's going to be coming in late to try and hit their location, because they know that they will probably be certain of a circle like that prior. Technically, you could have tried to send one up.
大きい5個しかない。先生。
Everybody apart from them is playing edge.
見つかんなかったか。
A strong position on this circle, but the problem is with this many teams alive, you might get collapsed on from multiple sides here from Petrichor Road. It might be a blessing. It might be a curse actually to be that central that early on in this game. We'll see though. It really depends.
先生、見つけに行かないとやはり。 下にいるけどね、先生今。
Twisted Minds, Genji, big fight here in this northern side. Could get third-partied by either 4AM or Falcons. Hello, my bad does find Duck Juice on Expendables. Flourish does find Hello, my bad here with that MG3. Perfectix finds Bean, as this is the fight we're looking at currently. Example confirms him. Him is down as well from 4AM. Big fights in this eastern and northern side here, James.
This is an important one for Genji, I feel. You got to get some points on the board here. 12 points at the moment, right down towards the bottom. Not go down from that one. It must be the damage negation once again. That is crazy close on the money there. Close with the MG3 he stole though. Here from Virtus Pro, also lighting up more EMEA. Vitality goes down here too. A little bit of it. Chlorine has been traded off by Quizzy here. Now he does have a little bit of an angle here to try and do some damage towards Gambia Expendables. But Vitality only down to Quizzy. He's not had the best of times so far. Now Falcons is lighting him up. He's gone. That's Vitality down here. 7th place for them so far, but they could be leapfrogged.
They could, and 24 points, considering they had a win, is very low. They've had low performance on the day here. Shrimpsy finds D from Genji, and more damage has been done from this one.
ちょっと TPP でやるとあれだね。グレが強すぎるな、圧倒的に。ある程度分かっちゃうから、 投げないといけないポジション。先生がアンチ内入りました。こうやってくるとやられそう。正直。先生
There's another team on the other side. Beamy though does not Tigleton. Oh no, for Falcons a bit divided here and conquered by multiple of these teams trying to put in damage, and they're gone as quickly as that. That was unexpected.
先生また負けますよこれ。そこにありますよ王宮が。ティグルトンの。
Genji also out in 13th place. Spiro goes down to Pathompong. Irina actually having really big fight here on the southern side. Hakatori finds Pathompong here. He did have a Panzerfaust in hand, so this is a little bit of a rough one. As Navi's down to just a 2-man.
I mean, Beamy is such the sultan of salvage, isn't he? Like, if you want one person alive on Virtus Pro, it's absolutely Beamy. Somehow, some way, be it Bloomy, be it coming in to be able to kill off people that are coming in for the res, or backfill a position on Falcons. Beamy's really making a meal despite not having the easiest of times there against Gamma Expendables earlier on. That's great stuff from him. Things are pretty good.
うわこれ GT ファルコンズ GT 抜いたね。VP、ビミだけで。多分 GT これ難しいでしょ、この後。T1 も来てるし。
Does steal Pathompong? How did they not get their finish on him? Actually, a little bit surprised with that. And the arena's out in 11th place here. Our second place team stopped, but just one more point for DN Supers, 2 more for Pero, and they're leapfrogging that position quite quickly.
I mean, this might end up being our closest day one of all time for PGSs here in this year. This is really, really close down to the wire, especially if Myth goes down soon, as now they have 2 reses off, but Kiss is gone. And now they're down to a 2-man yet down on the south side here. Can Navi
4ポイントとkills
it before the nade even lands.
3ポイントか。
As Hakatori starts
この後 G ポイント入れば
usual.
もっとポイント入る。
Shen does take down
ほら今
Ferris
9チー
though.
ム
It's
残ってる
all
か
on
らポイント入る。
Hakatori here to be able to shut down Jacob. If he can somehow shut down the Myth position here, that will be big for him. But he's just going to be spraying straight on in. Jacob, good stuff. Straight into the smokes.
Jacob もこれ入る。
気落とした。Blinders here.
Yeah, they are, but this is
先生いい生徒が見つかりました。スキャッピーか今。キスかどっちだっけ。どっちか見てなかった。
Foreseeable future. 48 though, great performance. As I said here, if you can average 50 per day here, they've done it on day 1-ish. Then it's going to be big performance. As remember, it was 136 points for Virtus Pro to win the last one. They're just going to have to replicate that performance on day 2 and day 3. As Ionix finds Guman, his fellow countryman in Seoul. And Beamy has clutched once again here for VP, found himself a little bit of a dip, and 5 kills for him. Gotten himself into top 8 placement points too. Huge, huge game. And it might end up being the best game today so far for VP, and that's a big, big story to follow as VP was our lobby leaders going into that last day.
And one of the teams still 4 alive here, Twisted Minds. Let's check in on some of their comms coming in from that northeast side to try and wrangle this circle.
Можно просто будет закатиться в двойку скоро. Окей, на тачках. Если сейчас зона прыгает, то конечно,
типа, надо ничего делать. Хорошо? 見せられても
Я с Дипом поеду.
わかんないんだよ。
У нас где-то ГТЕ там.
英語じゃないし。
У нас где-то ГТЕ еще там.
Там неудобно драйвать одному такому.
Он ГТЕ не убил.
Посмотрите ГТЕ вместе со мной, это очень важно.
Я посмотрел.
こういうログ見れるの。
Я на своей тачке своей стоит.
Он нокнул Хуанфа, блядь, он убил Дахеда.
ГТЕ 2.
すごいログ読んでる。試合中に。
A potentially important game here for Twisted Minds to be able to try and catch up.
そうだよ、先生ちゃんと生き残ってんだよ。えぐいよ。
The lobby leaders almost 30, well, points ahead of them.
ほら、ワーター上がった。
lobby leaders down.
何ポイント稼ぐんですか、先生。
Looking for the big catch up as well. Just about 10 points here.
でも次、外れてますから。ちょっと移動しないといけないかもしれないですね、先生。CR はちょっとむずいね。まあ、とりあえずこのファイトは勝たないといけないかもしれないし、4M も東側から来るから、それに対してもやんないといけないし、ちょっといろいろ大変かも。この後戦った後、ペロの方行こうとしたらもうとんでもないことになるから、まあ、ペロの西側に張り付ければワンチャンか張り付く。
as Deal does deal with Iononyx. Going to be charging up a Panzerfaust as well, heading that over against one of the trees. Doesn't quite connect at all, but they know exactly where he is, so they will be able to shut him down eventually, especially by burning him alive in a pit.
He's burning.
Did he? I don't know what happened just there. I think maybe he was trying to flash them and stop them, but obviously he was just going to take enough damage to die anyway.
He got dealt with, that's for sure, and Deal did most of that damage. Type finds Beamy here, but great effort for him to get into the top 6 for Bro. And that's going to be a 9-point game for them, considering they only had 10 points prior to this. That's their best game so far today.
8ポイント稼いでるね、一人で。
Maybe they're giving everyone else a chance. We'll see tomorrow if they're going to be able to replicate what they did on our first
8ポイント稼いでるよ。
final. Yeah, it's crazy to have insane performance there.
なんか VP この一人残ったとしても少しずつポイント稼げるからすごいんだけど、もうそろそろね4人でドンカツ大量ポイントっていうのが欲しいよね。
Oh, that's lots of damage with Spaceman getting heaven down, sending him straight to the skies. Oh, Deal trying to back up. That's so good. We got that nerf.
お願いしないといけないもんこれ。
So strong, slowing down that damage.
DNS の視点からすると 4M に対してプッシュしてくるチームいないかなって願うしかないから、まあいないんだけど。
on the south side. I feel like they should probably be the next victim of this lobby at the moment. The Lou does open up against Type. Now moving on that north side here to try and wrap around on the Twisted Minds position, but I think maybe T1 might have bit off more they can chew. That's not bad shots coming into suppressing fire there against Twisted Minds, but as soon as they crest this hill, I feel like they're going straight into the line of Twisted Minds. Where does the circle go? That's the big question. Oh, it goes their way. Oh my god.
That's massive.
独自の
pulling up on T1 here.
プレイの仕方とかがあるから独創的ですよねプレイが。おもろいんだけどね。おー、すぐに2枚落とされた。だから人数的にはイコール。場所は悪いよ。
The drive on with exam with the car, and Raining finds Petulance now just disengaging just a little bit. Perfectix down to 52 HP. Lou is half HP as well. Such an impact with that. Panzerfaust immediately.
起こせるこれ。
Crazy damage.
これ
Some
生きてない
crazy
と
damage coming up against Twisted Minds. It felt like their potential to win this game went from like, oh yeah, okay, like a good 50-50 or maybe against Petrichor Riddler and down the line to almost non-existent now. That is critical here now as Perfectix laying low. Look at the tab.
がダウンしてるのも分かってるからねこれ。
Yeah, I mean, if you're not winning games, I'm sorry. If you're not winning games, it's a rough ride. Lou's obviously knocked here. Perfectix.
2枚は
rougher time with the 4AM Petrichor Road. It's a lot of Chinese representation in this one here.
うわ、1枚だけで十分か?
Oh, he's got an 8 in hand here. He's gonna swap to it. Raining finds Perfectix. That's Twisted Minds out.
いや、無理。
Good game for them as well, but could have been better. 4AM pulling up on this. I really like that.
ああ、でもダメージ受けてなかったら。あり。ぐれ。広がれ。1枚はいい。あ、いいね。 でもペロも上がってくるから早めに終わらせないと。うわー、ペロかな、ドンカツ。こうなるとマジでできる限りのポイント取んないといけない。
That's actually perfect for them. MiTH finds Spaceman here. They might be able to find some of the knocks too.
1ポイントしか取れてないよね。
But there's 2 knocks that's on the side of T1. Maybe they're waiting for him. No, they're gonna take him down and gonna give the 2 knocks to T1. They didn't want to get it cleaned on. And it's Petrichor Road.
かわいそうだよな。プッシュしてリターンが1ポイントだけっていうのは GG。
Match 5 of day 1 for circuit finals too.
Oh, they played out the center position perfectly. They were in the center for so long with it. Be it the E pickup, denial timings, be it all of these teams focusing on the
場所取りマジで重要だな。
The only one in the center is able to capitalize, move up to number 1. Let's talk to Mark as well as Toffees about this one. Toffees, that is Petrichor Road, setting themselves up once again for another run at a championship.
マジで楽々ドンカツやなこれ。
Of course, they did win PGS1.
Right. I mean, it's the Petra lore, right? The idea that they get a win on the first day and that sets them on the path to go forward. They have to do that. Every time that they've come out on top, there's a win on day one that goes along with it. They had one chance left to make it happen, and they come out and they get the victory. You saw them, hungry dogs, at the end of that game, making the big push.
Yeah, we talked about the beginning of it as well, that Chewy was so high up on the kill leaderboard, and I think this will continue on here for Petrichor Road, Mark. They're looking good.
Yeah, they're a team that will build on momentum, and that winning this final game will set things up potentially for the final 10 games. So a lot of teams will be looking at that actually as they don't want to end that way. Interested to see if they potentially can go back to back and look to try and take a win early tomorrow.
あれ起こされるタイミングもうちょい早かったら当たってたのかなあれ立って判定が
That run over
縦に
almost
なっ
there
て
by Nixie Avenger, when you look at it back, Expendables got very lucky about not losing more on that run over, and therefore Virtus Pro might have been able to recover a little bit more because he jumped over 2 of the members from Expendables there. Oh.
Yeah, I think if he slowed down, he would actually gotten a knock and a flush or even more from it, and it would have been a completely different game. Would they have gotten more points than the Beamy Clutch getting 5 kills and a 6th place for 2 plate points? I'm not sure, but still huge impact for them here. Really bad day for them, obviously, still, but they're going to have to do big things tomorrow. 2nd places, 1st places. But what an effort for Beamy to get 6th here. That was huge. Big clutch.
Yeah. I have my criticisms of Gen G and their current iteration here, but Salute, you can't beat the class of Salute sometimes when he comes around that corner mark and shuts down Falcons. That was clean.
What, 2 out of 2?
Right,
we can't deny, right? It's not just happened once, and it's consistently happening at the moment. So the Falcons has a lot to look, especially when it comes out to the outside of the Blues. But for Salute, back to back, baby.
Not the biggest of games here for Petrichor Road. 15 points go their way, but they don't need a big game because they've been super consistent throughout the day here. Toffees push them up to now that number 1 spot.
Yep, consistency breeds success. They push up, they get that 15. But the story for this game for me is the terrible performance of so many of our top teams down there on the right side. NAVI gets 3, Falcons 1, Vitality 1.
配信自体はハイライトが終わるまでは続くんで
That was rough, man. As Petrichor Road does take that surge to the top, they love wrapping it up. So they could be the big bookend on this one. They start and they finish the PGS series in the first half of the year. Would be a pretty cool storyline.
Yep, very, very consistent indeed. And even without Ikes left, of course, as we got a little trickle of Ikes left, just an hors d'oeuvre of Ikes left throughout this circuit.
C1 Twisted Minds VP ファルコンズが右側で
as well as the new boys on the block here for that team. But it's 4 a.m. taking away the lion's share of a lot of the numbers here, Mark. Looking pretty good with some really cool raps. It's just a shame for them that Petrichor was like, yeah, we can do that too. I'm probably better.
Yeah, that 4 a.m. were constantly on the outside edge, right? We were Petrichor Road, they were pretty much banging the centre for quite a majority, and they were quite happy. 4 a.m. had a bit more of a mountain to climb those rotations. Round that clown car, as you said at the end, very, very difficult. And I think that
ドンカツ取るチームキル数が少なくなっちゃうのは仕方ないかもな。本当にさっきのナビが異常だった
2 kills might be the most effective kill to damage ratio I've ever seen.
It's efficient.
You can tell by the look on their faces, like, you know that they're like, I don't really deserve this, but okay. That big picture. Now you got Shed steps in. He did deserve it. 5, 677.
マウザマッチがそのドンカツチームからではなくなったのは
Sometimes you get a good spot, you defend what you need to defend, and the circle gives you the space you need to come out with a victory.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you'd have given any other team that kind of spot in the middle, that would have probably lent themselves a really good situation, but look at this. This is interesting because in the back of my mind, I feel like Heaven hasn't done as much as that, but that's a stark contrast from him on 1st place to 2nd place.
左上にエバリエーションクライテリア、その評価基準、キル40ポイント、ダメージ30、サバイバルタイム20、ノックアウト 10% だったっけな。
The survival time has been better, but for tomorrow's matches, look at that double Tego, guys.
I like Mark's reaction. Let's just leave it at that.
ダブルテーゴマジ
Tomorrow.
Mark's reaction was like, I gotta do 2 Tagos? Anyway.
Yes! Hell yes!
Hell yeah.
He loves that. Get him on Tego.
Of course, we've got PUBG Nations Cup coming up as well here, as all of our teams are, well, a lot of the players are kind of already there, and they'll be sticking around for a few days after this is all concluded.
割と強だったけどな、今日の試合。場所が悪かったのか。
That's kind of crazy. But let's listen down on the stage.
勉強するか、一緒に。まあ、とりあえず僕はここで退散です。天の声、河原ジョンマイケル。でした。ありがとうございました。また明日よろしくお願いします。
Finals here at PGS1 on top of that leaderboard. That last match was what made that happen for you. Well, today was a pretty rough day or a breezy day. Let's hear how it was on your end. 이제 오늘 그랜드 파이널 1일차 답게 마지막까지 상당히 순위 싸움이 치열했는데 오늘 패트리커 로드 선수 이제 추이 선수가 느끼기에는 오늘 경기 좀 어땠는지 소감부터 들어보도록 하겠습니다.
今天是决赛的第一天，然后咱们的这个排位顺序呢，到最后一刻都是非常激烈的。那么我想先听一下你今天的感想。
首先今天运气比较好，然后玩的也还行吧，然后就状态比较好吧。
네, 일단 오늘 운도 좀 좋았고요. 그리고 컨디션도 좋아서 이렇게 잘 된 것 같습니다.
Seems like today with the luck was definitely on our side and we were feeling pretty good and excited for the games and it definitely translated onto the server. Well, as you mentioned, it seems like the majority of the matches today you managed to put yourself in the top 4 consistently. I wanted to ask if winning the previous PGS circuit one, the first one, if that has had any influence on how you manage your mentality or, you know, how you keep your form during this marathon of the series. 이제 오늘 대부분 경기들이 탑4 안에 자리하시기 성공했던 것 같은데 서킷 1에서 PGS1 우승한 게 그래도 멘탈이나 뭐 체력적인 관리하는 데 좀 도움이 된 게 있었을까요?
今天的比赛中，一直是在前4，所以之前 PGS1 的时候也是获得过冠军。那么之前的冠军和一直到现在的这个状态，是不是有什么帮助呢？
其实我觉得 PGS1 夺冠以后，心理压力负担更大了，然后导致我们每一届比每一届打得差，然后我觉得对我们没有带来什么帮助，更多的是负担吧，跟压力。然后今天第6届打完第1天有点释怀了，然后心态也都调整好了。
네, 일단 PGS1 때는 우승하고 나서 부담이 좀 더 컸던 것 같아요. 그래서 그 부담을 가지고 계속 경기를 진행하니까 약간 순위가 조금 떨어지고 네 그렇게 됐는데 그래도 이번에 PGS6 때는 그래도 우승을 한번 해가지고 이제 컨디션을 다시 되찾은 것 같습니다.
I mean, after winning PGS1 back in March, it definitely added more pressure because it felt like we had to prove ourselves each match, and then it actually accumulated over the matches and resulted in our kind of like shooting ourselves in the foot. But you know, maybe it's a time to win again, right? 다시 한번 우승할 때가 됐나 봐요, 그렇죠? Well, Chewy, I know you're bilingual, and I know that your fans would love to hear you give your thanks in 2 languages. So if I may ask you to do it in both Mandarin and Korean as well. 팬분들께 감사 메시지를 좀 부탁드리고 싶은데 워낙 한국어랑 중국어를 잘 하시니까 2개 언어로 부탁드려봐도 될까요?
부담 없이 더 잘하겠습니다. 我们会扛住压，心态放好，会打得越来越好的。
Without any pressure, we'll do our best to take the trophy. All right, thank you, Chewy. And that was all for our interview with Chewy on the stage. But the PGS6 Grand Finals Twitch Drops event is still happening, as you can see on the banner that will pop up in a minute. So keep your eyes locked on the stream and earn your exclusive tier-based rewards depending on your watch time. The rewards are limited once per account, so make sure that your Crafton ID is linked with your streaming platform ahead of time. So if you missed today, don't worry, we'll be back with tomorrow's event as well. All right, thank you, Chewy. 공시 감사합니다.
再见.
네, 再见. Bye bye.
Well, for a moment there, I did feel like I was in the Twilight Zone. I was so confused. I'm like, Bella is asking Chewy questions, and then we're getting the Chinese translation. I understand it, though, right, for the audience over in China, as my little dog is going crazy as well. Shut up, you. And we're not translating it to dog as well, you crazy dog. This is obviously, though, that Chewy here, a great answer from him, Avenger, to be able to get this going.
Yeah, my dog is going wild as well in the background, as you can hear. And I'll say this, guys. So far, with Petrichor Road, how they're looking, I'm saying 50 points average per day here. You're winning. If they are able to replicate that once again here, that would be insane. Also, considering what we've seen from Petrichor Road so far, and we talked a little bit about it, James, it's been a little bit of a downfall for them throughout these last 6 now PGSs.
Definitely. Toughies, your thoughts?
I was just trying to figure out a way to spend channel points because Sparrow asked. I think that when we talk about this day in particular, Petrichor Road is the shocking standout to me because as we talked about, and you can hear him in chat, they're like, "Where's Ice left? Where's Ice left?" But at the end of the day, like, who cares at this point, right? Like, these guys are incredible. I don't understand Chewy's tattoo, but I don't need to because this guy knows how to play and lead this team when everyone else isn't there. So he steps up, 51 points on Petrichor for a day one, sets him on a run. But for me, Made in Thailand and then Soup. Soup was quiet, bros. Like, we didn't even talk about them today. They got a second, a fourth, a sixth, an eighth, and a fifth. So, like, under the radar play that has put them in a really good position.
Yeah, and Heaven, of course, we're leading that MVP charge right here, Mark. So I think I understand the tattoo a little bit, right? He's blacking out the vision for the rest of his opponents here as Chewy, because that is, it's not easy for them to deal with this team that, as Toppy says, can hold their own without Ike's left and showed it in PGS1.
Yeah, look, they are all eyes on them now, right? 50 points in day number one. Can they do it again? I think that a lot of teams will go back on VOD really just understand how they got there. I want to go back to Soup again, as Toppy says. I think they have gone underneath the radar, right? They're up in third place. They've done well. If they can keep that level of points, I think they're going to be in a real big topic of conversation tomorrow because tomorrow is about transition. This is where we might see a gap divide up on the leaderboard, and it's teams like that that might be able to be the ones that put on.
All right, final thoughts before we wrap things up. I'll start with Toffees first.
Falcons, Twisted Minds, just go in opposite directions. No, but like Twisted Mind, like what are you guys doing? These are good teams. They need to fight each other. They've got to stop fighting each other. They need to get some points up on the board. I'm not really happy. 12th and 13th place to finish the day from two teams that are consistently for years now talked about the pride to win PGC. And here we sit yet again at the end of day one where they flounder because their systems are too static, too stale, too consistent. They got to open the doors to get a little bit crazy. That's my thoughts.
And they love fighting each other apparently as well. Avenger.
Yeah, I'm just very satisfied and happy with the arena not being on the podium finish, because then we can't manifest that inverse Kylaris. Maybe tomorrow, maybe the third die. We're gonna continue to talk about it, but yeah, I'll say this though: what we've seen from MiTH, from Petrichor Road today so far has been great. MiTH, a little bit of a turnaround. Maybe it's that finals performance that they're able to bump up here. I've been happy to see what we've seen from Kiss. I hope he's able to step it up and continue this performance. And I'm also not sure how many stays or flies home, or if that's going to be a buff or a nerf to the guys that's playing PNC. That's my worry or curiosity for tomorrow.
Good question. All right, Mark, you?
Double Tago. I can't wait. Just feed me Double Tago. Forget about the teams. Just Double Tago one day. I'm happy.
But even if we just wipe the slate clean and just bring in complete noob teams, you're like, I'll do it. Yeah.
Double Tago.
Double Tago. And with that, that's the end of day one, weirdly. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in around the world. That has been day number one here of our circuit finals here. And at the moment, Petrichor Road leads the charge similarly to how they were able to win out PGS1. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place for day number 2 of the grand final.
See me in a shiny flash. Who got this hella pretty face? Got us something dope, but you mad? I don't really wanna understand. Got a missile aim, got a pretty face. I don't partake with them fakes. I don't like that, you heard me say. Repeat again. I've been bugging, sat him down and raised a bar. I'm in the nauseous, all in this room, my homie never auction. Run up, I'm breaking necks with the 뛰어봐 난 안에 놈이 구며박지 앞에서 해줄게 반응도 못해 나 쓰러져 다음에 너 원해 난 fair game 힘써 비상 패기로 힘써 긴장 슈리로 비상 상승 우리를 티 탐이 판에 쏘 보이네 할 만한 피사
Locked and loaded, gun loaded. Take me to the battle, my crew loaded. Sky's pitch black till we pull up and glow it. I'm all dedicated, no I never get off it. All the boys I get to try my diamonds, spoon stir up the pot. Pretty face and let it fool. They say I paid, making me really wanna. Now gotta pave the way, they'll never walk.
Got a missile aim, got a pretty face. I don't partake with them face. I don't like that, you heard me say. Why you got no sense that's common? Tough the beef get cooked like ramen. I just make dollar and I dress her up with diamonds. I know I don't bargain. You can price me, look at all my garments. 나는 놈 위에 있는 놈이 난데 채널 고정해 5번으로 내 양이 남네. 난 got a missile aim, got a pretty face. I don't partake with them fakes. I don't like that, you heard me say. Repeat again, I don't partake.